Brian, I haven't heard you make a word of noise. Is your mic working? Okay.
Hey.
I just want to like, is there like, want to make sure everything was set up.
I'm practicing for the podcast.
Oh God, these dogs are ripping me apart.
Your grandma Poggers set of goth GF titties.
Porn.
I was like, that's wild, dude.
Oh, cut it from
Freddie. These guys got
cut it out of Freddie's head. Not buy that before. You can't type comment.
But I will do it.
Anyway, don't do it, man. Don't do it. Okay, you probably should do it.
Yeah, I'm looking at like a cock right now.
That's commitment, dude.
Oh, that's the hottest thing I've ever heard.
Why can't I just express myself?
Yeah.
I just want to express myself, you know? Yeah.
Just walk away from me. Stay on your side of the table.
Not
For
what
the
I
clicks,
would've-
Sam. It's for the fucking clicks.
It's natural, baby. It's all right.
That profit goes straight to my pocket.
Yeah, we made Hitler rage quit. He rage quit.
Let me out. Let me out.
So, what do you just want to call it? 75.
Yeah, episode 75. That sounds good.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. So you owe me my turtleneck and my watch.
Oh no, we're not quite there yet. Yeah, I forgot about like
episode 74.
episodes. It's gonna be episode 74 for like another 6 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have like some sort of like pact or something like that on like 50 episodes together. We're getting like turtlenecks and like some sort of something or another. And
I remember it starting with a certain Versace watch, but yeah, we can downgrade to turtlenecks.
We can move those goalposts.
yeah, it was something about like a watch or whatever. And like, well, now it seemed like such a great thing to promise at the time.
Oh, shit, we're
and now
live.
it's getting to the point where we're gonna have to pay for it. Yeah, Brian, sit up. You're ready to start.
I didn't
slapping
know
them
that.
gums
I didn't
around.
know. I just because we always just bumble and shit and mumble random garbage.
Bro,
before
just
we
go to
start, so I
AliExpress and just get, Snake Watch.
I want
This guy's name brand. He wants name brand.
As you can tell
Bro,
by
my people are so
description.
good at copying designer shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you drop that name brand, bootleg, they're good bootlegs now. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, you get
True.
good at things if you keep doing it. My people have been doing it for a while. You know what I
Have
mean?
you seen those like BMWs that they just completely deconstruct and they just make like, I don't know what they call them, but it's like BMWs
kit
look at
cars?
it and they're like, this is just our car, but with a different name on it. Like, this is
Yeah,
bullshit.
kit cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are great.
I'm getting a phone call.
Oh.
Get out of here. I think
Is
it's
it
Bizzle.
Bizzle?
I think
Dude,
it's
does he not
Bizzle.
know we're
Does he
fucking
not
working?
know we're working right now?
Minute play here. Come
He's
on.
supposed to be editing something highly secretive thing. Oh wait, that
That'd
actually
be a
brings
great
us.
segue.
That's a segue. Yeah, that's our
That's
slave
a smooth
editor.
segue. We are now smoothly segueing into something.
Yeah.
Note it.
We don't
smooth.
even need to bring it. We don't even keep talking about it. It's just a smooth entrance.
The transition, our conversational transitions are the best in the industry.
ooped you.
Let's
I'm
be honest.
ooping.
Top tier.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Dragons.
I wish I had my other camera on so I could just turn towards
Yeah.
it as if
Oh,
it's a
that'd be great.
transitioning moment.
Oh, that'd be
Anyways, Freddie, you are part of like one of the biggest D&D shows out there, right?
It got there, yeah. So we
Dungeons
did.
and Daddies?
We started this show, Dungeons and Daddies, and God, what year did we start it? This is how you know it's been a while because I'm going to the website.
that's
My
not
own
good.
2019.
It wasn't like an instant like overnight success. 2019, that's not too long.
It's not too long ago. It was one of those things where we were like looking at D&D things, and I was like, we had an idea for a D&D thing that I thought was really solid, and so then I spent like a good 6 months just like listening to all these shows and like doing research and trying to like.
Write that down.
You might want to take notes on this one, but I was just listening to kind of what was out there, and I was like, yeah, we do D&D show. So I got a bunch of people together, and everybody was mildly skeptical at first.
Where's my goddamn pen? Sorry. Keep going. Oh, sorry.
Always
Keep what
come
you were saying.
prepared. Boo.
I love that this camera's tracking his head.
It's such a great piece of technology, but it's making him
I
look
can
like a
write
fool.
on the flyleaf of my D&D player's handbook. Okay,
yeah.
so you
so
said
yeah.
So you said
2019.
listening?
2019, yeah. Started by list. Yeah. I don't know if this
Listening.
Yeah,
Okay, we didn't
listening,
do that.
listening.
We
Yeah,
didn't- 'cause we're making our own D&D show,
What
and
was that again? Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, huh?
we're making our own D&D show, and our first episode was my first time ever
Oh,
playing.
that's cool. Yeah. That's totally
I've
workable.
also never listened to someone play.
So like I would
D&D
say this.
ever.
I would say that there's advantages and disadvantages to that, but the advantage is and this is something that I think that we brought to it, which was by kind of because I in our show I would say we have two other people.
Two other people. Okay.
Two other people who had never played before.
Okay.
One,
we have two.
yeah. Beth had never played before. Matt had played like a little bit, but like one of the benefits of not listening to D&D shows and not knowing anything about that, because Beth went in totally blind, and she's like far and away the star of the show. She doesn't have any, like, she was just like, I don't have any preconceived notions about what you're supposed to do, like how everyone else is doing it. She just came in and like did her thing, and it worked really, really well. So honestly, more than anything else, it's just like, it's just dynamic between all of you folks. At the end of the day, it's just a bunch of people Jack John and making up a thing as they go along. And it really what you're tuning in for is the dynamic between the people playing, and less about
we have no chemistry. That's
not
good.
Shit. Yeah, you know what? You might.
Yeah. Okay, so we have to like each other. Okay, that's not good. All right. And you said that you suggest a woman in the group?
I was about to say we were a little behind on. Yeah. Okay, so diversity.
Okay.
That's so crap.
I don't mean to. God, I don't mean
it's
to.
like an iceberg wandered into the harbor and hit Titanic before they even finished
while they were
building it.
building it, dude.
Fuck.
No,
Okay.
you can basically do anything as long as you are entertaining and funny, which I think you can probably make that work. I think you do, yeah, man. It's a fun genre because it's kind of this hybrid genre. Because for a while, one of the things that we were looking at was doing like audio dramas, like written out. Like we had all these, we have scripts, we have show ideas.
Like War of the Worlds.
Yeah,
like
no
a radio
joke.
show.
Yeah, like a radio show, because we had we have like scripts and movie ideas and stuff, and like it's very hard to get stuff financed, and that's just very expensive. And then we're sitting there one day thinking, we could take this like show idea, and what if we just like paid some people to like write it and then just do it all in audio, So that was something that we were thinking about for a while. But like the world of audio drama and like getting people to pay for that is also like really difficult. But like point is, we were like looking at like fictionalized storytelling, right? So that's like one whole subgenre, like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, right? Like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy started as a BBC radio drama. The book was then him taking those scripts that they wrote and then turning it into a book and like expanding upon it. But right, like it started as a radio drama, and or did it? Now I'm not even sure.
I believe anything you say.
You're the entertainment guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Part
it was
of me
originally
is
a
thinking
here we go. It was originally a radio comedy broadcast, and then so we were looking at Hitchhiker's Guide. We were looking at like kind of that stuff, and there's several things that do improv in this space. Probably the most prominent is this show called Mission to Zix, which is a sci-fi, like it's very much in the vein of Hitchhiker's Guide. But like we were looking at those, and then we were like, oh, but like it's really difficult to write stuff out. Like, what if we can make it up as we go? And then D&D is a way of doing like, and then by the way, on the other end, there's like improv comedy, right? And then the people who do improv, and there's people who they go to classes, they train for this shit. Like, I'm like, I've never taken an acting class. I don't think you need to, because we sure as hell haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, but you seem to be like a natural at this.
I'm not as good as other people in the show,
There's
and
a
they're
couple like writers on it too that are like really talented, right?
So our DM is Anthony Birch, who wrote Borderlands 2. He also did some work on the upcoming God of War, so he's like a video game writer.
Our DM hasn't made any AAA games.
No, fuck.
Our DM's just
played Borderlands 2.
Our
DM fucking just rides around San Diego on a one wheel and picks up chicks. That's all he does and smokes weed. Okay.
Wait, did I ever tell you my one wheel story?
No.
This is like one of the funniest things. So like, we're good buddies with the Corridor Digital guys, and they're just down the road from us, and everybody there like has a one wheel. They love one wheels. And like without fail, every person I have ever met with a one wheel has at some point broken their collarbone. Like the moment you buy a one wheel, you set a clock before like
I was
Sign a
going to
contract.
say the amount of people that have a one wheel and then the amount of people that have a one wheel crash story. I'm sure it looks like the Venn diagram
it's
just
a
a
fucking circle, bro.
At least it's worth it because it looks really cool.
It does.
I remember I was downtown hanging out, and it was just like a motorcycle gang of one wheel riders, and they were like, I can't describe their attitude other than like it was like what you thought skateboarders were in the 80s, like cool rad guys. But like the thing that's funny about it is like they're doing like jumps, like kind of hopping off like ledges and stuff. And the whole time you're just like, that's as much as a new iMac. The thing that you're doing
Yeah.
sick jumps with is an iMac. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's not quite the same like rebellious spirit as a piece of plywood and like some trucks and some like skateboarders back in like Venice
You get
Beach.
pissed off, you can't smash it.
You can't smash it. You can't do cool stuff like that. And then it's like, yeah, you are just like kind of cruising around on something that's like as much as a new laptop.
You know,
One wheel's crack
actually,
me up. One wheel's crack me up. I don't know.
Our DM Bizzle, he I'm gonna start referring to him more as his professional title from here on out. He's no longer my friend Bizzle. He's
our DM.
he's
But
our
it really
DM.
goes
Yeah.
with you.
DM, yeah.
I'm now your co-host.
yeah.
You call me brother. But
Well, not anymore. Your business associate. Yeah, Bizzle, he like came in one night. He's like, yeah, I might not see you guys tonight. I'm gonna go do some little thing. I don't know if I want to do it though. I'm not too excited. And I was like, what is it? He's like, oh, just we're having like some big one wheel meetup. It's like 100 guys. We're gonna
my
go one
God.
wheel together down the road. And give, like they were giving out
Mean
stuff
mug
to
people.
no, they were giving stuff to homeless people on the boardwalk or something. But I was like, there's no other state. You can't just like. You can't be in like Colorado and go like, "Hey, everybody meet up with their one wheels." Or what. Like, there's
Yeah,
no
that's
other
a-
state in the U.S. where you can just be like, impromptu one wheel meetup tonight, 9 p.m.
Dude, the one wheel, it's a whole thing, man. A whole
Yeah.
community, man. It's a
weird.
family. It's a vibe. I'm a little weirded out by it, I'll be honest.
I'm more of a two-wheeler, a rip sticker, you know. I think those are cool. I think they're coming back.
Was the rip stick the one where you
wheels,
had
the
to?
better. I like
was it-
stability.
Was the ripstick the one where you had to
Yeah.
like wiggle your?
I could never do
hips?
those, and I always thought they were so cool. I was
You're the guy breaking a sweat to just go in a straight fucking line
Yeah,
10
like-
feet. You're
I
like,
never really. Yeah,
there's no
looking at them, I'm
coasting.
like,
You're always just like,
it can't be better than my skateboard or something. Like it's so complicated. You have to fucking.
The thing that
skateboarders,
really
you can at least coast.
that's true.
You
yeah.
can enjoy downhill.
You can sit
Yeah.
on your belly. You can do anything.
The thing that I never thought would continue were razor scooters, and yet somehow the thing that I never got was there's like guys who are pro razor scooter tricks, and I was like, how do you like you fuck your shins up once? That's a career-ending move. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you jump up and you're whipping it around. It's like that goes into your shins. It's done.
I know a
Go,
guy
you're
that
done.
cut both his legs off because he hit his shin so hard. It just got both his legs off.
Those UFC videos, you see where the guy kicks the dude too hard and the whole leg like wraps around, and you're like,
And
oh
they
my
always have
god.
to show it in slow mo. They're always like, "This is when the slow mo
Did you
comes in."
miss that? Did you win?
Yeah.
Look at it.
Just in case you didn't see the linguini leg, here it is. It's like when Anderson Silva got hit, and he goes to step
Oh,
back
God,
on
Oh
it, and
god,
his leg
yeah,
just
that one is so
Yeah.
bad.
I'm not a fan of that kind of.
and they did fucking like 8 different. It was like an action movie where they like did a second play from this angle
Oh,
Drone
God.
flyby. Yeah.
between his
I can't
legs.
He
even-
hit his leg. Oh my God.
You guys have those? You guys have those motorized scooters, like the scooter app,
Oh.
like around where you are at?
Oh fuck yeah, those are awesome.
I have eaten shit so hard off of one of them that like I still have my ankle's still fucked up from it.
Oh,
I've told this story like 15 times on this podcast now. I think maybe even like a week ago. But yeah, when those came to my town, I like couldn't afford Ubers. So when those showed up, I'm like, oh my God, like holy fuck. Even then, so like the most embarrassing thing in the world is running out of fare on a fucking scooter and stopping like in the middle of nowhere. It's like, it's would
I
have
don't know
cost
if
They
they
time
$3.
you like they.
It's like $1 to start it, like 10 cents a minute, and like
Why don't
sometimes like a 20-minute ride. And but anyway,
Why don't they just charge you once you like dock it? Why do they?
they do, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
like I think if you
They're just running credit. They're doing
Got some
soft
sort of
credit
system,
pulls
yeah.
on you
This
the
guy's
whole
maxed
time.
out
I'm
his
using,
credit.
like,
He has
a
$5 of
I
credit.
wasn't using a credit card on it, so it's like they know, and I'm like, this guy's
Dude,
fucking getting
So,
close.
two stories about that. One is one of my buddies, every time he gets off, he just goes on the app and he just goes, how was your ride? And he rates it 1 star. And he goes, and then the reason he's like, it was too expensive. And he's like, dude, 90% of the time they just refund my money. Like I haven't
my
paid
God.
for one of these in weeks. And then the other thing is I met this dude, this like scraggly homeless guy once on the streets of LA. And he was like, here's the trick. You just start it and stop it. And he's like, as long as you keep the throttle at 100,
Oh.
it won't stop. Like if you start it, like put it off the curb so the back wheel is spinning freely, crank the throttle, and then cancel the ride, you're good.
Oh.
And then as
Oh
long
my
as you
God.
don't let go of the throttle, you can ride that thing as long as you want until the battery dies, but you can't break.
Yeah.
But you can't break. I was like, that's wild, dude.
Lane intersection, Jesus Christ.
Dude, homeless people are so much more resourceful than like normal.
Almost
People.
like that.
They don't even pay for rent or
they're
anything.
like-
They live off land.
They found
The
out a
ground's
life
free,
hack to
buddy.
everything. They're mortgage free, credit free. They're not shackled like
What's
us.
that fire?
Yeah.
What is it like? Financial independence, retire early, dude.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I remember one time I parked, and this was like a while ago, and I think this trick doesn't work. But there was this dude like walking up and down the street, and he was like, "You parking here?" I'm like, yeah." Like, I was kind of like wigged out a little bit, and he's like, "I was like, yeah." How long is this gonna be? I'm like, "This is really specific," so I wasn't sure. I was like, I'm, because I don't know what he was doing. I was like, quick, I'm gonna be right back. And he's like, all
I'm
right.
gonna just walk across the street and stare at my car for 30 minutes.
And then he goes like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I was like, and then before I could say anything, he took this like paper clip that he had bent into a really weird and clearly specific shape, stuck it in the coin slot, jiggled it around, and then I got like 30 minutes of like time. And he was like, all right, there you go. And then he stood there. I'm like, well, I guess I'll pay you. Like, I'm not gonna. Yeah, you are giving me free time. I was like, yeah, sure. And I just gave him like the change. He's like, all right. And this is like his thing. He would just walk around the block and give people free parking. And then they would
work on his. He needs to
his
work on his
approach,
sales
his opening.
pitch.
Yeah, his opening
Are
was
you
like
gonna be away
off-putting.
for a while? Is
Yeah.
this car gonna be abandoned for like 30
Are you
minutes?
gonna remember what I look like?
Yeah. But then the thing I fucked up was like, I was like, this is like a day later. I was like, what the fuck was I doing? I was like, I should have just paid him $20 to be like, teach me how you're doing this.
Give me
Like,
that.
I want this method. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, teach a man to fish. You know.
yeah, exactly.
Dude.
Free
He's
parking forever.
He can, he can
Yeah.
You could
Anyway.
finally quit this stupid film business and get into
Put the podcast
wandering
behind
the
you.
streets
And the
with a
car
paper
park
clip.
With a paperclip, dude. That profit goes straight to my pocket.
It's instant too. It's like that's like
Tax-free.
going back to a high school job where you get a paycheck every Friday. You know, it's much more instant. Whereas the filming visit, you got to spend all this time making the movie, and then you don't know if it's going to pay off.
You'll know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's foolish. Don't get into movies if you want to make money. I'm gonna tell you that
Fucking
right
meters
now.
everywhere,
Don't do
though.
that.
Oh, shit. What about D&D podcasts? Is that like something you want to get into?
Yo,
Yo,
Free
D&D podcast is like the
free
best.
money.
I love it. It was the
I've heard
best.
it's
I
pretty
love D&D
lucrative.
podcast.
I will say that we've had so many guests come on here, peddle their little product, hold on, it's going a nice way.
No, I get it.
Tolden Stone comes on here. I buy 2 of his books. I haven't even opened the first page.
Right, dude. I did. Same here.
I know.
Same fucking
But
thing.
I'm going to. I'm going to get there.
Not a single crease in this fucking thing.
know,
Not a
but
goddamn
I
single
think
crease.
it's a page turner. I
Oh,
finished it
dude,
and
I
read the
I will
epilogue
read
again.
Once I started, I'll be on a page turner. But yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm just like fuck. I don't want to read this
I
right
have
now.
to start. Yeah, you got to
And
start, right?
last time you came on here, you're like, "Yeah, I'm doing this little podcast, Dungeons and Daddies." I am completely caught up. Like I've
Oh,
listened.
awesome. Thank you,
I've
man.
listened to every fucking
Oh,
episode.
thank you, man. I appreciate that. Well, so there
He
you go.
told
You've done your
me-
market research. There you
He
go.
did tell me one
Yeah.
little caveat here. He said, "Not out of joy, but I'm just studying the future competition. I gotta
that's
I gotta
fair.
see their
It was,
structure and everything."
6 months before I even had the idea. It genuinely though, listening to it, I had a couple of friends that were like, "Yeah, we're like maybe thinking about starting a D&D sesh on the side." I'm like, "Oh my god, like I've got to." So they've already been sick of me and being like, "Hey, have you heard of this? Like, you should really check it out." Dungeons and Daddies. And then like listening to that made me want to play it so much more. And then now, like when we record these, it's like a couple times I've probably just like I'm like, "Oh god, don't say like, Daryl Wilson, nice to meet you." So it's like it's like hard not to take some of the like most iconic things and just completely say them. Like it's because it's like
I mean, so honestly, that is the benefit of like not listening to things, right? Because I think that, like, in all seriousness, I think that types of humor tend to I don't know a better word for this, but like coagulate on the internet, right? Like there's like a TikTok brand of humor. There's like an Instagram story brand of humor. There's also like a YouTuber kind of brand of humor. There's a Twitch streamer brand of humor. And like, I think a lot of times, and the same is true as like podcasts and Dungeons and Dragons podcast. And honestly, I think a lot of the reason why I think our show is done well is that we weren't following kind of what everyone was expecting from a D&D podcast. Like one of the things that was really the reason why I really wanted to do it, and the reason why, like, Anthony's our DM is like I've just heard stories of the ridiculous shit that he would do as DM, like for not even for a show. Like it was just him, DMing friends, and he had this whole thing that he did. And I remember hearing this and being like, "This guy's got to be our DM," which was he had this whole long fantasy quest, and like it culminated in like they had to get this orange orb, right? And then he was like, and he brought to the final session like a bag. He's like, "All right, if you guys choose to pick up this orb, I'm gonna open this bag, and if you don't, I'm gonna go in the backyard. I'm gonna burn it. You're never gonna see what's in this bag." And of course, everyone's like, "Oh, I want to see what's in the bag." And the entire thing was a Space Jam joke. The orange orb was a basketball. They got all their powers lost because the Monstars took it, and they just literally played out the plot of the movie Space Jam for the final session. I was like, that's hilarious. Like, troll your friends. Yeah.
It's really.
It was all jerseys, Toon Squad jerseys for his friends.
That's awesome.
It really is impressive. And like, oh God, Bizzle, don't listen to this. Okay, I'm not cheating. You know, I'm not more impressed with another DM because he's doing like he's making his own story and stuff. But like, I'm sure there's a little editing magic in there too. But how quickly you guys can be like, I want it to be like this, and he'll like form a system that's never been done in Dungeons and Dragons, and like the football game. It's like, all right, here's the rules. I'm like, this guy just fucking come up with these or what? Like,
he definitely has like, so he does his homework, and also, you know, he's also a big board game nerd too. So a lot of these mechanics are things that you'll see in like board games. But like, yeah, but I would say this, like, whatever like thing that you're bringing to it, like another great one in terms of just like a different comedic take as a Rude Tales of Magic is another one that these guys do. And again, it's like it's a different approach, it's a different humor style, and like, yeah, I mean, just don't do the exact same things as everyone else. That's all.
Ours is just this podcast button D&D basically.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds hilarious. It can be hilarious.
It's
our DM is kind of frustrated because we haven't left the starting building yet, and we're like 5 episodes.
He's like the most interesting man in the world. Walks through the bar. Waiter, I want another beer. You know, yeah. It's a little like we're definitely. He keeps being like, guys, it's not me versus you. That's not the role of the DM. He takes his job very seriously. He's like, I am here to give you a better experience. And we're like, you're trying to trick us. Like you're trying to get our fucking head and twist up our words and stuff.
But he doesn't get it's like we want it that way. He's like, guys, it's not that way. And I'm like, no, I want to be in a cage and I want you to be the jailer. Like that's what you. Yeah, I'm a
mad dog.
And
yeah. He
tried to lure us out. He was like, oh, interesting man walks out of the bar. And I'm like, okay, run out in the street, look left and right. Do I see him? He's like, no, you don't see him. I went right back inside.
There's all these posters like, there's trouble at the farm. And we're like, well, it sounds like a big fucking problem for those farmers. Like, oh, man. And then, like,
we're
so
just
different.
three dipshits. Like, what are we going to
That sounds
I
great.
just met these guys.
Great.
I'm not going on a fucking adventure with these guys.
That sounds great. That sounds hilarious. I love it.
Already been so much tension between us three too. Is a part. It's like there's no camaraderie or anything.
Are you having fun? Are you having fun?
Oh, yeah.
It's great.
Us out of character? Yes, our characters. Oh man, they're not. It's not. No, not going well. No.
I really.
That's hilarious.
Brian's character keeps getting his fucking neck snapped on the ground. Like it looks like Tigger's tail because he's been suplexed straight into the dirt.
I do like how all of our characters have ended up so far, and I just know there's like so much mystery to pull out of them. At least with my guy, I would hope you guys have some sort of backstory.
Here's the problem: is you've played before, right?
Well, and like I played for like 4 months once.
4 months is a lot better than like none at all. Yeah,
no, that's true.
And so there's like this whole.
You played in California.
You know what I mean?
That was like the fucking idiots that made the game.
That was like every time.
Version.
Yeah. You're going down into a sewer to fight a big rat. It was like a pre-done. I was sitting at the table with like a 7-year-old, so I couldn't like do all the shit I wanted. The dirtiest thing I could do is take an arrow and dip it in some poop on the floor, and I got a poop arrow. And this is new to me, and so like. I kind of just made me with a green cloak as my character, and I really wish I would have.
Nothing wrong with that, baby.
I really wish I would have made myself like a snake or something. I don't know, like just anything else. I can't. What? It's a role playing game. I can't like it's fantasy world. I can't be a snake in a coat with like prosthetic arms.
You're gonna make Bizzle do some work,
bro. That's the reveal. Yeah. That's the reveal.
No,
that's
the big reveal. This whole time I'm a snake.
You're retcon.
Retcon to fucking your character.
Oh yeah.
No, it doesn't even be retcon. You're 10 snakes in a trench coat.
Well, now we know the mystery.
Now I'll change it. I'll be something else.
Two guys in a trench coat. That's novel. That's never been done.
My character's gonna be like later seasons of Scooby-Doo where they like pull off the mask and I'm a person and then there's another mask like under it.
Can you wait, Sam? Can you? I think you're the only one that can like whoop a picture up here. You should put the. Don't we have like a group photo?
Oh,
you could
we
show
do.
because this is gonna come out after it's released, so it's not really a surprise for the listeners.
Yeah. Hold on, let me find my awesome picture.
Well, is it my picture or is it your picture? Okay, which one are you?
I don't know. Which one are you talking about?
I don't know.
I don't either.
The one in Kurt's or.
By the way, Freddie, while I pull this up, you have been incredibly open about. I thought we were gonna have to pull teeth to get you to spill some D&D industry secrets. So I had like, you were talking about AI image generators, and we had been using it to like create all this blackmail. You know, if you wouldn't open
you
it
were
up.
actually much more forthcoming than expected.
I was like, you fucking tell us that this is going right to the Chicago Tribune or whatever. It's you eating a cockroach.
Holy shit! Wow! Oh my god! No! You have to send me those.
Wait,
wow!
There's a million of them, dude.
What was the prompt that you used? What was the prompt that you used?
Let's see. Freddie Wong destroys a children's hospital. Freddie Wong destroys a city. Look at your giant cock. You got jeans for going up your dick.
Third leg here.
Yeah.
What's wild about that one is
denim, man.
That's pretty wild. How that's like.
What's that one?
What the fuck is this one?
Freddie Wong. If you throw a dry martini at him.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah, he's like dodging it.
These are cool. This is cooler than I've ever. Oh my god,
that's your new profile picture. That's what you need to.
That's like.
You need to make a horror movie about Tinder dating, and then that's like your profile picture in the movie. In your Tinder profile. Why aren't you swiping? I noticed you swiped left on me.
I'm a little bit honored that I'm enough of an internet presence for whatever the image is that they're like, right? Like they're that's kind of me, right? More. Yeah. Oh my god,
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh, whoa! Where'd you get this photo of me?
Yeah. Some of these, here's Super Saiyan. Your hair's still black,
bro. You have to send me these.
I got a bunch of them.
Holy shit!
You're an alcoholic in this one, by the way. I got one. It's Freddie Wong with an eye full of cum. Your eyes, you got pink eye.
Oh my god! You can't type cum in the AI bot. It wouldn't let me type fart. Dude, no way you can type cum. Oh, spunk.
Yeah. You gotta find the euphemisms that the computers won't get you for. Yeah.
There is also just a funny one that's like more innocuous. It's just you in an action stance.
Yeah, that's kind of sweet.
That's funny.
That's like
cameras or something.
That's an incredible character. That's incredible.
I noticed how if you put like Freddie Wong gun, like what they put in your hand is just all the pictures of you online are you with a camera.
Yeah.
And so the gun is like very obviously
gun.
Yeah, it's a camera-esque gun. Yeah.
I'm like mildly disturbed by how fucking fat I am in these. Like, what is with this AI? I'm like,
the AI adds 25 pounds. It's way worse than the camera.
It's like quite a bit of weight here.
Yeah.
That is what they say.
Oh my god!
And that whole time I was supposed to be pulling up a picture.
Well, no, those are
incredible.
Those are awesome.
Fucking ridiculous. It was like a really weird one.
Okay, wait. Did you want the AI generated trio of our characters, or did you want the drawn one?
I'd say like the
actual.
Maybe just both. Just show them both.
Okay.
You know the weird trick in AI image generators where if you add like the phrase like rendered in Unreal Engine or like photoreal or 4K,
hyper realistic,
like hyper real, like there's certain words that like push it in
art house.
Yeah. It's really wild.
It is cool. The difference.
If you just put 8K on it, all of a sudden it's just like a better looking render.
Yeah.
I've been doing like in the style of Sid Mead, or like as styled by Wes Anderson or something,
like
and it'll
Mobius
just
ones. Really cool.
Just Frank Frazetta, just like.
That's a really good job, actually.
This is a Frank Frazetta one for Poob's character right here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, hold on. Let me share this thing.
Pull that up.
I'm pulling it up. I'm figuring it out.
Jeez, I still haven't taken a fucking bite of my euro. Okay,
yeah, his middle character that's supposed to be a giant goblin is like, that's the Frank Frazetta.
That's the Frazetta thighs, dude. You got them Frazetta thighs.
Actually, hold on a second. I also have another one.
That's hilarious.
That is the actual. No, wait, this isn't the actual. Oh, yeah, this is the one. Is this the one you were talking about?
Oh yeah, that's pretty high
In the
detail.
bar. I like how Brian's character is so in the background that your little weird goblin guy next to you is almost more. He seems like a more central character.
The bar had to feel alive. Yeah, it's Sam and Brian are basically just Sam and Brian. Well, Brian's guy's got really long arms.
God, this rules. This is so
What
good.
the one of Jerry surrounded by goblins. Oh, and then my guy, it's like I'm really living a fantasy in this world. I'm 6'5", jacked as hell.
What is this?
It's gonna be gross.
What is
It's gonna be
this?
something disgusting.
What, me?
What are you? What is this? What do you have here?
Oh, no, you brought up Frank Frazetta. I have a piece of his.
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that
You're
rules.
seeing my
I can
monitor.
see my say, hey.
Oh, that
Yeah,
rules.
I saw that and I was like, that is so trashy. I'm hanging that up. So like my in-laws come in here sometimes to grab a drink out of my mini fridge. And I have this, and then like above my toilet, I have like Duke Nukem that's like sick boner, like keep it up, king, or something. And it's like above my toilet, and they come in and just go like, what the fuck?
What's going on?
What the hell?
That's a really good way to get art for your.
It's actually been super because we were like, oh my god, we're all gonna get back into drawing a little. Sam's gonna learn like it's like I do like little freaks on paint. So I'm like, oh, I'll start doing like backgrounds in paint.
Yeah.
And then we got access to this AI, and it's like, oh we can make every background we'll ever need. Just like I even looked up Dungeons and Dragons like drawn on paper party, and they're like, it's just great filler images for time and stuff.
That's very clever. It's very good. And again, it gives you
kind of lazy.
But it gives you a different visual style, right? Like that's how you can never say anything about laziness and art, because sometimes the best, like, the story about the James Bond dots, right? Did I tell you? Did I say this last time? So in the beginning of the James Bond movies, there's those like the dots go right, and then they do the dot like goes across, and then then it's the gun barrel, and it comes in. Yeah. The story of that was literally the dude who was in charge of the first like Goldfinger, the title sequence, right? He came into work on Monday, and they're like, "Hey, so you ready for the presentation on the title sequence?" And he was like, "What?" And he literally sat at his desk, and he's like, "Fuck, I have a meeting in 10 minutes. I was supposed to be working on this. I totally forgot." And he looked, and he had like a hole puncher. So he had a bunch of like paper dots from the hole puncher. And he walked in the meeting. He was like, "All right, it starts and the dots go across, and then it's like the barrel of the gun, and then it looks at James Bond, and he shoots it." And I was like, "Yo, that's pretty good. That's it." And like literally, he came up with that in like 10 minutes before the meeting to just be like, shit. And that's like like the most iconic. They're still doing that shit to this day. They got the dots going across. Yeah, you never know. You can always just be lazy.
I need more pressure though, because it's like I need pressure to function. And now that I'm a streamer and a podcaster, I don't have deadlines really, except for like show up today, make joke up on the fly. Huge like pressure. if I had like a big presentation, man, I'd make something beautiful.
I think what he's saying is I need to be a more iron-fisted boss.
I need more structure.
I need to yell at him more.
I don't have enough
why are we taking advice from Freddie? Last time he was here, like a year ago, he was in this like pimped out flat. Now he's like in a prison cell. Where the fuck are you? Your life has gone downhill. Do not give us any advice. Do the opposite of what he said.
What? Wait. I think I saw a bit of a guitar over his shoulder. Don't speak too fast.
Oh, okay.
Okay, he's got
Are you under an overpass?
Are you?
Where's your little paper clip to give me minutes in my car? Oh, that's pretty cool.
He embraced life fully after seeing that guy.
Welcome.
You in like a warehouse or something?
No, this is just a wall. I have like concrete walls.
That's concrete. Awesome.
Yeah.
Probably like fucking 50 feet tall. I just can't. The framing.
Really, I was doing this thing for a while where I was going onto Airbnbs, like just the listings, and just sorting by like the most expensive Airbnbs in the world, and then finding a picture to use as my Zoom backgrounds. And like, so it's just like some like fucking infinity pool in like Thailand for overlooking like just expensive mansions. And it got to the point where I would go show up and zoom in, and people were like, what the fuck? Where are you getting these? I'm like,
you've gone down the list so far. This is what you're pulling now.
I was doing a thing at the beginning of the pandemic where I was like finding photos and then like matching the lighting based on like what time of day, so that it would be like a photorealistic, like ridiculous background. I mean, I was so stupid.
That's you know,
Dude, Zoom
commitment to
humor,
a bit
dude?
though. Yeah, commitment to a
Commitment
bit.
to a bit is, I think, the most important quality a person can have, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah, not being like a murderer or rapist is mine, but
Yeah.
your commitment to like
Yeah.
lighting for Zoom meetings.
That's a close second, though,
That's
right?
a close
That's-
second.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's worse.
yeah. I have a much lower bar than you apparently, but not everybody can just cinematically light a Zoom call. My dad used to do the same thing during the pandemic, but I think it's because he was embarrassed about his house. He was like, he's like, yeah, I put up like a regular room behind me because my house is fucking all nasty and shit. And he's got like shit piled up behind him.
Wasn't there like a
Yeah.
YouTube video of like that guy who's getting like boxed in the middle of a Zoom call?
there's
using
like a
an
guy's
unboxing
whole-
match. And he
Oh
gets
yeah,
knocked
yeah,
out.
the whole
whole
thing with
thing.
the
Like,
rig
oh.
and the green screen. That was
Yeah.
God,
Like him riding a bike and
that's commitment, dude.
yeah. Well, if you commit too far, there's a line. Okay. Commitment to a bit
That's
to
a
a
line.
certain point. Yeah. I'm okay with taking a joke into the dirt though and making it funny again, full circle.
Again, yeah,
Just-
once
yeah, bashing it. Now that's
You
the most
also
important
have
thing.
to have like a deep understanding that it is kind of funny, because there's that guy JFJ he's another YouTuber, and he was hanging out with some other people and he told him that he was in a wheelchair, and that went on for like 2 years, and then they found out that he like wasn't in a wheelchair, so they stopped
Well,
talking
that's
to
just
him.
lying, I
my
think.
God.
Yeah, that's just where's
And I was like, I mean, that's kind of funny for you, but I can also see why they would be pissed about it.
You read the stories of those guys who like start with like I'm just gonna do a British accent, and then it's like enough
Oh,
people
God.
are like, oh, you must be from Britain, and we're just like, I guess I'm
Yeah,
British
like,
accent
where are
from
you
now
from
on.
there?
on my
Yeah,
Tinder date
well-
when I go, hello, my love, and she goes, oh, that's the hottest thing I've ever heard. I love your accent. And I go, fuck. And I act like Mrs. Featherbottom or whatever.
That's why you gotta like pretend you got hit in the fucking head or something. You just talk like American now.
Yeah.
I could do math, and also I talk like an American now.
Yeah, that's it.
I do have a D&D related question going backwards.
Okay.
Taking this conversation back.
Uh-huh.
When you have to, okay, so this has been a little bit of contention with me and the DM.
Oh boy. Okay.
You know, in spells and shit where,
Oh no.
because I'm a bard of sorts, okay?
Nice.
It's
nice.
like, here are the components you need.
yeah,
Here are these things. You guys seem to just,
yeah. We
like,
don't play with that shit.
as you shouldn't. And now
Yeah.
I'm like, honestly, like a lot of my D&D knowledge is completely based off your guys' podcast, where it already is like a pretty tenuous.
We
grasp of
are
the
we are
rules.
barely
Yeah.
barely playing D&D in our
So I'm
podcast.
like even less than that. So when the DM was like, okay, and what does that say? You have to have a somatic. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, you have to have a vocal component and you need a feather and a bit of fleece. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where do I get that stuff? And so now it's gone down to my guy was wearing fleece pants. I have to rip a little piece of my fucking pants off every time, which is
He's
funny.
wearing a goddamn thong. Like,
Yeah,
it is
yeah, I mean, I'm down to- I'm
dangerously
getting down to-
small.
So, like, I think for all of those things, all the rules, right, are frameworks and they're suggestions. And if they lead to funny things and if it's entertaining, then do it. But if it leads to something like, because one thing that you really got to remember, and I think that this is something that's true for all D&D podcasts, is that in general, right, when people play D&D, D&D is not a spectator sport. D&D is meant to be played and experienced, right? And a lot of people who play D&D will have little miniatures, they'll have like a map and all that stuff. You won't have any of that, right, in an audio medium, or if you do have it in a visual medium, right, like it's not going to be exactly quite the same. You have to just play to the medium that you're doing. So we're audio only, so it's like, yeah, there's certain things that we're like, yeah, if there's no visual component to it, it's just like, whatever, we'll just skip it. Like, so a lot of the fights, right, aren't as complicated as like real D&D fights because you can't spatially tell where everyone is. Everything kind of has to take place in a room, right? Those are just like the limitations of whether it's audio or visual or whatever. But
That
like,
doesn't really matter because we usually assemble ourselves into like a Gundam, like a mech
Yeah.
type thing. And, yeah.
yes.
And so we're just in one place and breaking
Well,
people's
also,
heads
we
off and
haven't
stuff.
gotten into combat in like 5 fucking sessions.
There's
So
been
it's just-
4
This
sessions.
fucking starting tavern, he made it into Disney World. Like, I don't want to leave. It's so great in there.
Yeah, it's got
Yeah,
everything.
true.
There's
you
no,
need.
yeah.
Why would you leave those scary walls?
But then also,
man?
it's like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there
Those
is a D&D
fucking walls.
podcast out there where the whole joke is that they don't leave the starting tavern. So it's like we can't lean too heavily into that.
No,
But I'm pretty sure that idea is already taken. So,
Fuck.
oh, should we say our? Speaking of like
The
it's
title?
better- it's better to maybe we could say the title now, but the original title was just a complete like rip off of another maybe the biggest D&D. It was originally going to be tentatively Critical Troll, but troll spelled TROLE to make it exactly like how they spell roll.
Yeah.
And that was pretty funny until
Dude, that's hilarious.
We're
man.
like, okay, then what? We're just like, what happens when you try to Google us, or like, what happens when they send a cease and desist or something? Like, oh, that gets a little. So now we're Dungeons and Fatties. So it feels weird saying the name out loud. I guess we can though, right? Sam, I'll leave it to you.
I don't. What's the name of it? We're really committed. As you can tell, we did 6 months of prep work for this.
A lot of A/B testing, a lot of.
We all decided on untitled D&D project.
We hired.
It's just stuff. We were so used to calling it that we just kept it.
Yeah,
I was really set on like Aqua, like one of our friends. He happened to have made a fucking D&D podcast at the exact same time. And I was like, if his isn't called the official Aqua FPS podcast, then ours is going to be called that. Like the official Aqua FPS D&D show.
He would probably never speak to you again.
He would. We have already pissed him off enough that he is like talking to me almost never. So I didn't want that to be the final.
Oh no,
the final thing.
Straw that broke the camel's back. That just a complete.
the official
name. Also, I can't remember what is theirs called. You're not gonna know.
No, it's like the gamer roll.
That would be a good one. Gamer roll. No, it's not gamer roll. I think it's I don't know.
Dang.
Ours is called Die of Laughter. But
there
it's like because it's like I feel like it seems every good D&D podcast got some sort of D&D pun.
Gotta do pun titles.
Listen,
there's only one thing. There's only one thing I know about the internet. You must have pun titles. This is like when we were doing YouTube videos. Every time we would do a video with a pun title, it would do better. Pun titles are I remember very specifically, like there was one that we did that was like a golfing one that was called the Golf War, GOLF, and like bro, my uncle who doesn't even watch any of our shit was just like, I saw this golf one you guys did. This shit was hilarious. I was like, pun titles, dude.
That's like a smart version. It's like a smart version of what I do, where I just if I put an emoji in the title, it just does well. So I'll just put something and then put a little emoji. Like for a while in 2020, 2019, I would just put the fingernail painting emoji, at the end of titles. I'm just saying the titles just said snarky with little fingernail look at the end, and they would just do well every time. I don't know if the algorithm just liked me, but now my videos do shit because I got a fucking community guideline strike.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So you can't put the little emojis now?
No, they took away all my shit. I can't do the chapters or nothing because I got a sponsorship from Adam and Eve, and they were like, "That's a sex shop," and I'm like, I found documentation where they had previously said whoa, we shouldn't be striking Adam and Eve sponsors because that's they sell contraceptives and stuff there. It's technically a healthy thing, and so they have said that they're not gonna do community guideline strikes for those. And then they tweeted at me on Twitter. They're like, "Oh yeah, we're taking off the strike right now." It's still on there. That was a month ago. That was so long ago.
Just at them and be like, "Hey, checking in on this."
Okay, so here's the problem, right?
Yeah.
I have too many eyes on his channel. That's what it is.
No, not. Oh yeah, maybe a little bit of that. But I have on Twitter, I'm sitting there constantly annoying people and stuff and doing things. I don't want there to people look at my Twitter and go "Oh, here's Sam begging for the past 3 months to get his fucking," because I tweeted at them 4 times already in a thread where I'm just you said you're gonna fix this guy. Hello, is anybody there?
You gotta take it to the DMs at a certain point, my man.
There is no DMs. There's no. It's this insane company where there is no. They act like there's outreach. There is no. I can't get a hold of anybody.
Bro, just cold call them. Just cold call Google, dude.
Really? Can I get that far?
I don't know.
By just calling. I can't even get a hold of Comcast. How the hell am I supposed to get a hold of Google?
This is a trick that I got back when I was working at 20th Century Fox. when we needed to cold call or like figure out a thing, just figure out what the naming convention is at Google for their internal email addresses, right? It's either going to be first name, last initial, first initial, last name, whatever, right? Like every company just does it the same way. Find one example of a person who has that email. And then once you have that, then just troll LinkedIn until you find a Google engineer or someone, and then just cold email their name, figure out what their email address is, email them,
find their house.
It just and then if they can't help you, just be like, hey, sorry, can you put me to someone who can? And usually they'll say, whatever. Because they figure you got their name somehow. They figure you got their name through some legitimate source, right?
Yeah.
And then just and just email them. You'd be surprised
a whole lot
how many
easier than the other way
celebrities-
I saw on Reddit. There was a lady that her Instagram, she's a OnlyFans lady, and her Instagram got banned like twice. And so she went to LinkedIn and through her friend that is like a software developer, found that he was friends with some people that worked at Instagram, and she just fucked a bunch of them until they unbanned her. And I was like, I really like. I'm married. I got 2 kids. Like, I don't want to have to go raw dog all these Google employees until they unban me.
But your channel.
But I will do it.
Yeah.
If you don't. I will hunt you down and find a way.
I mean, it's your livelihood, Sam. You can't just give up on that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, honey. I'm gonna have to do this for my career.
You like me buying you nice things?
You like this goddamn roof under your goddamn head?
This one-way
deal with
ticket.
sexual predator, Sam.
This one-way ticket to Palo Alto, California. Going to all the I don't know what Google engineers do, rock climbing gyms out there. Just showing little legs.
The problem is
one
like,
wheeling
everything
around.
that they do recreationally it's on the compound. Like, their rock wall is like the Google rock wall inside the. They probably have everything.
I think you have no choice but to
They never
become an
leave.
intern at Google.
Oh, yeah. Like that movie.
A square job? Get this guy out of here. Dumbest fucking suggestion I've ever
Guy
heard.
doesn't even have a fucking high school degree.
I refuse. I refuse to
not let him
update my
intern
life
there.
in any way. I stopped listening to him when he said back when I worked at 20th Century Fox. I was like, this guy's a fucking square.
Fucking square.
Yeah.
You got an AI image generator of a fucking nerd.
Dude, that's all I've been doing is this Mid-Journey
It's really
thing.
addicting.
It's incredible, right?
It's awesome. I have made art that's going in my house with this.
No
Wait,
shit.
really?
Yeah. Like, people thought AI, the first thing that was going to get taken out was truck drivers. Nope. Artists out the window. They're gone. Concept artists gone.
No,
All I
we need
to do
them
is-
to develop new styles so we can plug it into the AI.
A new style comes out once every 15 years. You guys
True.
stop making art and just think up something new.
Think it's new shit.
Let the AI people take care of this. And
Well,
then
we
when
need
you-
more reference images also.
Okay,
Maybe
all
more
the stock
photographers out
photographers.
there.
Yeah. Start taking
Definitely
stock photos.
Definitely stock photos, and definitely like logos, and like like if you had like a coffee shop somewhere and you're like, oh, I want to do a cute little logo that's like a coffee cup and like all that is gone, right? Like all of those Fiverr jobs, like forget it, right? Like all of that
Computer
level.
gets your money. Yeah, robot does art better than you.
I mean, what everybody's chasing right now is everybody's chasing essentially like natural language Photoshop, right? Like what everyone wants is like the thing that will make the most money out of this is like a thing that your parents can like load up an image and be like, oh, delete that tree in the background, and it just does it, right? Like that whatever that is for like the
Delete
average.
that ugly grandkid. Get him out of here.
Make that more like
Photoshop
make
me some
everyone
friends in
smile
my room.
more, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like stuff like that. It's like stuff that like
my
the kinds
cock
of
bigger.
things that you want. Yeah. Take this fucking dick pic.
Take my camel toe out of this picture and fucking
Huge
Put it on my
schlong.
mom. So we can be fucking-
give my mom, a
Mom,
camel
your fat
toe.
pussy ruined another photo.
Damn it, mom. Yeah.
It's just like, oh my God, I've never seen this before. Why is it in every photo? Just suck it in like me, Mom. Look, I have one right here, but when you take the picture, it's gone,
Your end goal with that ruse.
Just so
Make her think
you're
she's
not the
insane.
one with the camel toe and
Oh.
she is. Yeah,
Okay.
just
I lost
shift
the
your...
script there. I thought you were just
Blame.
adding a camel toe
No,
to her
you're
with
just taking
nothing
your
else.
camel toe and moving
translate.
it over to your
It's
mom.
called
Okay.
a style. It's a style transfer, is what that is.
Yeah.
They need to actually, no joke. If someone came up with like a web app that used this stuff, and it was like you're like Photoshop has like remove red eye, make people smile, change their head position, just useless ones, like add more camel toe, like
hell yeah,
bigger feet,
slider for it.
big head mode, just a slider for like head scale.
Like, I want Photoshop to be like Spore. I want to be able to like turn people into monsters very easily. I want to be able to change all their limbs and everything. Have you guys ever, like on your little thing, gotten minifigs from Hero Forge?
We have, yeah. That's one of the things that we do even for our Patreon, which is at the top level. Matt, who one of the people on the podcast is like really into painting minis.
Patreon,
like,
you say?
Oh, I know, Matt. Yeah.
So he paints minis. He gets really into it. He's very good at this point because he's been doing it for so long. So like, so one of the things that we did early on was that we'd like generated little minis of our dudes, and then we actually I still have them on my shelf here. Hold on, let me go grab them for you real quick.
Yeah, he doesn't realize I'm in a parasocial relationship with everyone on that podcast.
Yeah.
I know where they live. I know where they...
Yeah, you know everybody.
Sam, can you put this picture up? I just put in Sacred Grounds.
Just share your screens.
Yeah, so like this is like a little mini Henry Oak
that's
that
sweet.
he painted. He's
What's
doing
that
like
in his hand? Is that like a dragon dildo with those? I think.
Just a giant, huge. There was like a spell I think in Hero Forge. So he like based it and he like put like like
cool.
little grass and
down there. Nice.
Little fake lighting from the green, so the shirt gets highlighted by it. Like
that's pretty good. But dude, I made Pooba Gandalf. That's pretty detailed.
Yeah,
do you have a picture of that? No.
I guess I can literally. The easiest way I can do it is.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Hot Toys, Freddie?
No, I handmade that.
Sam made that shit
Freddie,
with his own blood, sweat, and tears.
Hot Toys? What the fuck is Hot Toys?
It's a fucking new thing to spend money on. You're welcome. It's like foot tall action figures that are highly detailed, and they cost like $300 each.
Oh wow!
I swear he has like a stake in the company, dude. He always talks about Hot Toys.
I do talk about them a lot because I want them. I'm sorry. I've got like 1 million in my wish list. Also, this is kind of like a hot toy. One of the best things ever to happen to me occurred on stream the other day. I order a lot of GoPuff, guilty. And even though I'm sponsored by, there's the Hero Forge I'm working on for Pobgoblin, my guy. You're a D&D guy. What do you think about the name Pobgoblin? Got a nice ring to it? Or?
Pretty good.
Okay, yeah. He's got like hair horns. It's it's a work in progress. But I ordered a pack of Coronas, and with no little note, no understanding, I got this also. It's a Snoop Dogg bobblehead where he's got a little thing of Coronas, and he's got like I don't know. I just love little knickknacks and shit already. And for my GoPuff order, it had a little box. I'm like, sometimes they send you a sample drink, and it'll be like, here, try this sample drink. I opened up a little box, and it's like just inexplicable. Like I don't
like you just got a customer for life.
Got a little
that shit.
It's kind of like Snoop Dogg and like
it didn't.
I gotta say,
I didn't know it was Snoop Dogg until
Whoopi
it said
Goldberg
Snoop.
kind of had
totally accurate.
It's like
I think if the sunglasses were off, I might be able to tell
Sister
more.
Act era Whoopi Goldberg as well.
Yeah.
Like,
wait, let me take a look at it.
But I googled it, and people are like trying to sell these on eBay for like $100. Like, what the fuck is? Who's gonna buy that?
That doesn't look anything like Snoop Dogg.
Well, yeah, it's right. Well, he just opened it head first. I'm like, what the
like,
fuck is this? And then I got to the bottom. I'm like, is this supposed to be Snoop Dogg? And he's like the spokesperson for Corona right now. So, I mean, I'd imagine it's him. It also says Snoop. I didn't know if maybe they were just labeling him as some sort of, Snoop or something.
So there were some clues to key you in that it was Snoop
there was
Dogg
some context clues. It took me about 30 minutes of investigating.
On stream, he was just sitting there.
What do you think they mean by that?
Like a spy, and then like a spy, some sort of spy character that they're
Why is
promoting.
Whoopi Goldberg drinking a Corona on this right now? Oh my god. Yeah, but anyway, knickknacks, they rock.
Pretty good. That's a pretty. You're gonna. I mean, do you have? Are you just like a hoarder? Do you have like a bunch of shit?
I'm not a hoarder.
I'm a bit of a hoarder.
I'm hoarder. I'm a blossoming a hoarder. Hoarder adjacent, definitely. I bought this the other day. for like
Okay, you're a
10
hoarder.
bucks. Yeah,
he's not a hoarder, dude.
Here's
A
what I am.
hoarder is someone that like collects needless stuff. Poob likes to cycle in his.
Yeah, I like to change them out.
That place is a fucking it morphs every time he comes in. There's different shit on the walls. He's got new knickknacks.
Have you ever been? Pooh, have you ever been to a House on the Rock in Wisconsin?
Writing that down.
Wait,
is that cool ass building with all the? Sorry, go on.
It's a tourist attraction. It's in Wisconsin. It's. I feel like you would dig it because
It's like a house of oddities.
it is a house of oddities.
Yes, I have heard of this.
To a level that like, so originally what happened was this guy was like wanting to build this crazy house. And he showed his plans to Frank Lloyd Wright, and Frank Lloyd Wright was like, "This sucks, dude." And he got so pissed by that he was like, "Well, I'm gonna show him." And so he built this house, but then he continued to just collect shit. So as you go through it, you just are confronted by room after room of just shit that he has collected, and like it's bizarre stuff. It's like naval ship models. It's like doll houses. It's like antique guns, and by the end of it, like. I had a full-on headache. There was so much stuff in there.
That guy is a true purveyor of oddities, which is what
100%.
I'm trying to become.
Well, I think you need to visit House on the Rock because this may be a source of inspiration.
It's not that far from Indiana and Wisconsin. Fuck yeah, I'll go there. Maybe make a little podcast trip. We can all go. Maybe
it is an awesome. I
love pointless trips. We should definitely do some more.
This will be House Under the Rock one day. I'm going to turn this place into a complete freak show. I'm going to bring girls down here and they're going to be like, "Where are we?" I'm going to charge them $5 admission before they come in.
Give me the Buffalo Bill transition from like when you're main floor down into the basement. You see that swastika quilt on the bed, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
But on mine, you see a little Snoop Dogg drinking a Corona.
Dude, I'm just saying, like, I would be more comforted by Buffalo Bill's basement than like you have all this weird taxidermy and shit that he didn't have.
This is not like. I will say though,
he's got the warhead.
I have some like I've been buying a lot of weird shit because I found a good estate sale website and it's just it's inherent in me. Like, my mom's really into like antique furniture and shit. I was
that
telling her
shit's
the other
cursed,
day.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've got the cursed mask upstairs.
What's the most cursed item you own? You think?
I'll show you next time I go up. It's when you look at it, you hear a whisper in your head. It is not good. This is a very uncursed item I have. It's a little pipe holder with a dog. With a little pipe. Cool.
Yeah.
But
do you smoke a pipe?
No. I sucked on
purely
this.
cosmetic.
Well, I was going, okay, so when I got it, I'm like, that'd be funny to smoke weed out of. And I sucked on it one time. It smells like 100-year-old man died sucking on this. Like, it really.
Dude, look at the tip. Is it all corroded and shit?
Yeah, it's like fucking. It was used for a little bit of crack. So
it's not like dude, it's not like teeth marks and like these are wooden teeth.
I smoked a little bit of weed and it had a little residual crack in it, so I got a little more high than intended.
Saw into the future, dude.
I know everything, but yeah, I'm not to the point yet where it's like hoarder. I'm to the point where it's like this guy might be eclectic or something.
Okay,
but I need to because it's like, wow, look at the mug I fucking have been drinking out of lately.
What
and
the
shit.
fuck, dude?
I just love shit like this, though.
What old person would have that, though?
Project.
No, that's not an old person. That's just from like when I bought it, it had a little bit of literature in it. It's like, this is from a studio in Kentucky. This guy makes little fucking goblin mugs.
That has to be the coolest person in Kentucky for sure.
No, my grandpa.
Your grandpa's okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I don't think I've ever heard of anybody in my circle of ever.
You're not
being
from around
Kentucky.
here. I know a lot of people from Kentucky, and it's not all bad. It's the same as anywhere. There's shitty little. Don't go to Hazard. Probably Louisville's nice.
Is it?
Louisville's nice.
I had a baseball bat from there.
Yeah, it's like Indianapolis.
That's all I know about them.
And Indianapolis isn't that great. So what am I saying? I mean, not everyone can live in beautiful Tallahassee, Sam.
I didn't say my place is great. My place fucking sucks. By the way, I got this email from this lady that was the funniest shit in the world. She runs some website or something like that, and she told me, she's like, I had to plug my website, but it was she's like, did you know that Tallahassee just got I went through all these statistics. It's the 5th sweatiest city in the U.S. based off of like public park access to like they have misters and fans, like average humidity, average
so
heat, average
wild.
wind thing, and like how like shaded
live there.
areas are. And I was like, and she's like,
How hard they try at video games.
of course I
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah, that's what I was saying first.
I didn't
Most
even respond
esports
to it
athletes-
because why would I respond to that?
Yeah.
And then she like did a follow up. She was like, "So are you going to talk about that on the podcast?"
and you have now.
And you have
And,
now.
and I was like, I will be shouting this information from the rooftops. I assure you, this is the most exciting thing I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Oh my God, what was
What's the
number
number
one?
one?
Number one.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
problem with all those
Jacksonville.
lists.
I
You
don't
always ask
fucking care. I'm more concerned about her. Like, what is her job? What's her angle? Like, what is
What do you want from me?
Why would you cold call someone and go like, the city you're in is the 5th sweatiest? You need to talk about that.
I bet you she sells air conditioners.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah, right.
shit.
That's
Honestly,
that's what
it's
my bet is.
The only
It's like a
profession.
weird roundabout way to be like, yeah.
Carol'sCoolers.com. There it is.
Yeah.
Plugged it.
Maybe shout out this little AC repair company or something. You know? How could you not ask what number one was? How does that not
I know,
beg it
like,
to be
dude.
like, what's number one? Is it like in Georgia or something? Is it?
I was gonna Google it. That's
It wouldn't be like Arizona, you know. It'd be like a.
Wait, hold
dry
on. This
heat.
is a thing. Wait. This is a thing.
Jacksonville.
Because, like, look, Montgomery, 7th sweatiest city.
Corpus Christi is the. Oh wait, no.
Orlando is
Orlando's
named
number
the
one.
sweatiest city in the U.S.
Yeah.
Orlando is a big fucking shitty swamp.
Oh, this
It's
is what
a
it was. Oh, this is
parking
what it
lot.
was. Listen to this. The study was conducted by matchmaking platform MyDatingAdvisor.com.
What?
That's what it was.
Censor that whole fucking thing.
That was
it's
my
Oh yeah, yeah. She says.
Oh, yeah.
If
Sorry.
can you cover this topic on Forehead Fables? It would be great to hear your thoughts. Link our website. Yeah, it's mydatingadvisor.com.
No,
Yeah.
don't go.
Okay.
Don't go.
Yeah, that place
Yeah,
is, they
don't.
stole my credit card info.
Yeah.
Don't go there.
It's a crypto rug pull scam. The whole site.
They made me date a girl
It's
from
all-
Tallahassee. Don't go there.
I matched
pussy was
with
sweaty.
someone.
Oh.
I matched with someone, and it was a bored ape. And then I got stolen. It's fucking bullshit.
Ugh,
Why is this even on a dating website? Like, why is it?
I don't know. Yeah,
The
that's
sweaty
not
For
what
the
I would
clicks,
have.
Sam. It's for the fucking clicks. That's all it is. We're
I
fucking
guess
hell.
so, right?
You
Yeah.
realize
It's
this?
just strange,
We're
like
just in
to
fucking hell.
attract
Everything,
people.
everything is just
thinking-
bullshit. Everything is just bullshit to get you to click on it and be like, oh, I wonder what. That's
I'm
it.
there
That's all
now.
it
I'm
is. That's the
sorry.
entire
I'm making an account
Damn,
on my dating
all that
advisor
matters
right
for
now.
how many things you own. Okay, that's all that matters anymore. The most insane things you can own.
It's all bullshit, dude.
Yeah.
It's all just trying to get clicks. It's all just trying to piss you off. That's just all websites are. Every article, every movie article is just like, hey, this thing you liked, it fucking sucked. And you just go, and then you just gave them a click.
And we
all
fall
they
for it.
want.
We always fall for it.
We
Every
always
day.
fall
every
for
time.
it.
I swear
Like
the worst
sheep.
purveyor, like
Yeah.
Snapchat news, like when you look at someone's story, it's like the most unregulated, hellish, like Brad Pitt just died. What? How is this a main fucking like that? Clearly did not happen.
The tabloid headline strategy in the supermarkets in the 90s is now become
Oh,
it's just
God.
become media. It's all it is.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrible.
Even like people making fake bad ads so that you talk about how bad the ad is
Oh,
and
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
There's
It's
so
all
many
Mole ad,
layers of
basically.
this.
You mean just every mole
yeah.
ad?
It's just a snake eating its own
Dude,
tail.
I was
Yeah.
watching one the other day and I screen recorded it and then I'm like, this is what they wanted, and I fell for it because it was like
Yeah.
I've been seeing these Top War ads nonstop.
Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah.
Oh, they're the worst. Like the guy's like, okay, you think Top War's fake? I'll play it. Okay, I just collected all my guys. Boom, it's like so fake. And then they had a follow up one where a girl's like, I heard you guys thought Top War's fake. Look, I'm playing it. It's my real thumbs, and their thumbs are moving. But when you're watching her, she's just holding up a phone case, and you
Yeah.
can see her face through the fucking camera where a camera would normally be. Like, it's clearly only a phone
There's
case.
no
I'm like,
phone in the
I
case.
was like,
Awesome.
these idiots. And then I recorded it. I'm all like, no, like that's what they
I'm
want. That. Like, they
yeah.
It's
want to-
ingenious, dude.
they
Their
want me to
marketing
talk about it,
capabilities are like way
they're
above.
so
So what
intentional. They
game
have
was
to be
that again?
intentionally-
Yeah.
Or download today. It's not fake.
I love how
honest-
like the same game can reinvent itself. There's one called like Evony online.
Every piece of gameplay looks
EVONY.
so different.
Yeah, they used to have like medieval lady busty with like the beer garden
My
dress
lord.
on.
Yeah.
like my lord. And then they turned into like tower defense shit. And now there's like even online, like their ads are like that, where they have like green screen people in front of it.
If Top War ads were accurate, this would be the greatest goddamn game in the world, because they're like, look, you can fight land, air, or sea, and it's like POV, like in a fucking ship, like in an
Star
airplane.
Citizen. Just
Go-
like,
yeah.
well, that's what Star Citizen should
allowed?
do. So okay, here's what. Okay, this is the project. Just start making terrible TikTok ads for Star Citizen, like fake, like totally fake ass ones.
I'm
Like we're getting this
playing right
uptick. I'm gonna pay $40,000.
I'm playing on my
gym.
phone right now. Look, I'm doing it. It's real. Yeah. And people would be like, "You're not playing it? Oh my god!" Oh, it honestly is disgusting. Like a lot of that shit is like you just look at it and you're like, "Oh."
I never
gross.
thought, like, I grew up,
laugh at it and
I
move
was
on, man.
I was an internet troll. I was like going into fucking I was to be a little shitty internet troll my whole life, right?
Ugh.
And like I never thought that all the lessons of being an internet troll and like provoking people would be just how the internet is at this point.
But now you've got a good defense system because you know all the tricks.
You
and
see
stuff.
it. Oh,
All the tricks
what
of the trade,
what
yeah.
is more disappointing is you see the most fucking rookie shit. And you see I see everybody
Lisa.
fall for like the most rookie shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, he's
We have
saying
a- you gotta-
There's
yeah,
a
you gotta
friend
tell
of
them about
ours
our
that I was
friends,
just
yeah.
thinking of that. We know this girl, which by the way,
Oh.
I'm sorry, I have a great update on her. Okay, so
God, what
for those of you that don't know, Lisa, a friend of ours, she's a YouTuber, Italian Ninja. She does like source filmmaker stuff. She is so sheltered and like she's just
Oh, no.
innocent, doesn't like she doesn't. She's Italian little girl from the countryside. She just doesn't
Yeah,
quite. She's
Sam's
not
really
quite
good
in there.
friend.
And
She's
the
like
internet
this little
ain't
girl,
wrong.
this little
Spin her out.
Italian girl, like
Yeah.
10 years old or something.
Anyways, let's age is just a number. Let's move past that.
She's his best friend. Yeah.
She ended up getting called by this person. It's like, yeah, so like sign me, like I'm from your bank. Download TeamViewer and just log
no.
into, and she like got
She said she was so like she was getting anxiety about it. I'm like, were they
No.
fucking yelling at you? Like,
Yeah, all right.
But they needed a test transfer.
Oh
Okay,
no.
wait, just guess, Freddie. Guess what would you believe? Like it was a test transfer to make sure your bank. Is,
I would
working.
guess
It's
like what PayPal would do, which would be like 8 cents and
That's
6
what I
cents,
guessed.
and then you have to
Yeah.
like tell them it was 8 and 6.
a little higher,
just
A little bit.
about $3,400.
Oh no!
3,400? I thought it was just 3,000.
No, she
I
said
mean,
the
it's
other day it was
30
34. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Whole, and that's euros?
And she's already
yeah, euros.
Oh, my.
Oh.
That's
Dude,
so
I
much.
was, but like, okay, here's the thing though. Like, I don't know if I talked about this last time, but like, I think that like growing up on the internet, we have the same sense on the website, like early primeval man when like certain patterns on snakes.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you see a snake, you're like that's a poisonous snake. I don't know why I know that. I feel it. Keep my core.
You know,
We
you're
have
out there
same
at the
thing.
oasis lapping up water, and all of a sudden it's too quiet. You know, like like on the internet, we have that same sixth
We have
sense
this-
of like
like,
I'm about
sometimes
to be
you'll pull up
hoodwinked.
a website and you'll be like, nah, something's wrong.
Dude,
Something
my-
deep in my lizard brain saying that this website's fake. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong here. And you look a little closer and you're like, the URL, there's a little thing, whatever.
There's a second X to the window, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
actually
yeah.
up here.
Yeah. But like the thing that really scared me the other day was I was like, oh, this looks, and like my mouse moved and I was about to click and I was like, wait, this doesn't feel right. But I was close. I was never been
they're getting
as close. I was like,
smarter.
they're getting better.
Yeah.
Either I'm getting worse or they're getting better.
You're
And
losing
there's
your
gonna
touch.
be a day. Because like the problem is you can't teach that, right? Like I have like I have to call. I literally will tell my parents like, hey, be careful of this scam. Be careful of this. Like I keep up on scams so I can tell my parents like, hey, be careful. Like literally, there was a scam that was targeting like people with Chinese last names where it would start and it'd be like a recorded message and it would be in Chinese and it was essentially they were faking that the Chinese embassy was calling you and they're
Oh,
like, hey,
God.
something's wrong with your visa, and they were just guessing that if you spoke Chinese, there's a chance that at some point you were going to travel to China, and they were just targeting those people. And like, my dad got a call, and he was like, oh, weird, because he had like a thing that he was thinking about, So it's like, oh, maybe this has to do with that. And he was like going down the path. And then my mom happened to be in the same room, and she's like, that doesn't seem right, because she had heard about it from like a friend of hers. I was like, so I'm like constantly telling them like, hey, be careful of this. Don't click on this stuff. There's a bank thing going around. But like, there's going to be a day when they're going to be better than us and we're going to fall for it. And that's going to be a dark day in all of our lives.
Like singularity. That's the worst day. My real bank called me yesterday. And because of this Lisa story, I've never been more.
You're so scared.
I knew it was going to be them because I
What's your title?
No,
What's your
dude,
title?
Who's
your boss?
I made a massive Amazon purchase for Prime Day. And I was like, I'm upgrading my PC. And they're like, you only buy oddities. Like, what's going on here? It's like, froze it.
You only buy from specialty ceramic shops. Kentucky.
They were like, call this number, and I called it, and the guy was like, what's your social security, like normal? And I was like, okay, guy, like sure. I give it to him, and he's like, all right, now I'm gonna transfer you to someone else. And I'm like, I just gave you every bit of information. Like, who else is next? Like, and he's like, well, you just kind of need to tell him your full card number. And I'm like, okay. And I get transferred this guy, and I've never I knew he wasn't a scammer because he was like, hello. And I'm like, this guy's not enthusiastic. He was like, all right, give me your card number. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna try to sort it out on the app. And he's like, okay. And I was just like, all right, this guy's not a scam. Like, he's let me off the hook. I'm like, what if he knows I think like that?
Yeah.
And I was like, all right,
call back.
He's like, do you have anything else? I'm like, no, do you? And he's like, no. I'm like, okay. Like, have a good day. And then I just did it all through the app. I was like fucking sweating. I'm just like, Lisa got for 3,400. Like, I can't let that happen.
Hers was hilarious though. They were like, install TeamViewer, and then like her parents were on the phone screaming at them, and like everybody there has like anxiety problems, and so they're all just like, and then they went to the bank, and the bank's like, whoa, you just got. Like they had no recourse.
That's
what's funny is I was talking about not growing up on the internet, but growing up playing Diablo 2. Like that's what got me.
Yeah, that's why we never get
got,
dude.
So many times.
RuneScape and Diablo. Oh my
Lord. I remember the night my brother got scammed on Diablo 2. It was that big of a deal because he was like, yeah, and they got to drop all your items. Like, okay, and then they got gone, and he was like, what? And he like walked in my room. He was like, what? Like his whole
fell
world.
to his knees.
Yeah, that's. Because like I mean, he might have spent like months getting that gear. And at the time, months is like a huge chunk of time.
Huge chunk of time.
Yeah.
RuneScape taught me about crypto pump and dumps, man. Like, I don't pump for that shit, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Damn.
What's funny though is because of that whole D2 experience. Now I think I'm on top of it, but just like you, like I think
I get a little better,
I'm
and then
better.
You think it's legit. Yeah.
No, I think I'm better than I am. Right.
Yeah,
I kept getting these letters in, and I was like, these are fucking scams. Turns out it was like actually the IRS, and they're like actually. And like my CPA is like, you should have given to me these like months ago. Like these are insanely important.
Oh no.
And now we have to hire like a tax attorney, but that, it doesn't matter. So you're not always right. Sometimes when stuff comes with like the presidential seal on it and says like, we're gonna burn down your house if you don't pay us some fucking money.
Yeah, I've got
sometimes
people trying
it's real.
to audit me, and it's like, okay.
Like, who are you? Who's your boss?
Yeah. Dude, they're gonna come in here and seize all my fucking assets, all my little funny guys and my things one day. I'm gonna have to start from scratch. It'll be like when a forest, when all the underbrush catches on fire. It's needed. Yeah, I'm gonna
I have a question. Okay, right now, your smoke alarm goes off. And there's a fire in your house right now. What's the thing you're grabbing in this room?
Okay, don't tell my dog this, but it's gonna probably be.
They got lazy motivated stuff.
Probably my goblin mug. No. Okay. Well, first off, I'm putting the Snoop Dogg in my mouth. Okay, that's an easy one. I can hold that.
Bite down on it.
I'm going for the Miles Davis poster. I got a Goodwill. PS5. No. I'd probably grab my. I'll probably grab my Gandalf. Yeah, sorry,
okay,
Sam.
I was about to say,
Gandalf in one
he
pocket.
saw the tears welling up. He saw me about to cry. And then
lower lip quiver, dude.
Yeah.
You
My mouth, obviously.
Yeah, what about the mallet? The big mallet. You need to break down doors in your way.
Oh, my mallet's back there by the. Because I got.
Grab that on the way out.
I was home alone last night, and I heard I don't live in a great neighborhood. And my best self-defense weapon's a big, comically large mallet. So it's like, this isn't the safest.
Kirby.
And I was home alone yesterday. Maybe blasted or whatever. And I was like, I heard something outside, and that's why Mallet's posted up by the couch. I was gonna squash someone's head if they came in here. I was I was like, maybe a knife would be better. Like maybe a gun would be best.
I've always felt
Mallet.
that if you don't go all the way to a firearm, the second best thing is a good sound system and a high def recording of a shotgun cocking.
Like Home
Because
Alone,
you just play that once, and no one's gonna walk into the room to see if that was a real one. You know what I'm saying? Like you play that, and you're just like, hey, and you're good. No one's sticking around.
True.
Hey, scumbag, get out of my house. Yeah, recording. I've got my. Hey, this is the police. We're already here.
Hold your yak back up to the fucking.
We're inside this guy's room, and we're gonna get you.
I've got the sounds of like 50 different dogs barking, and here I start blaring.
It's like, is that the Baja Men sound? Like that's just the intro to Who Let the Dogs Out.
Yeah, then you hear me like, oh god, these dogs are ripping me apart. They're so vicious.
I forgot to buy dog food. They will eat anything.
They're so hungry.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, I'm letting them out now. Very common. I play it every time I hear the smallest noise. It's like a 20-minute recording. I'm sitting here with my mallet ready to Gallagher smash someone.
Just in case, yeah. Last line of defense, the mount. First line of defense is like the Home Alone. Like you're pulling like little silhouettes, cardboard silhouettes
I've
of
got
dogs.
some cutouts. Yeah, I could just. Oh, we're a big happy family in here. My last resort, the mallet. I take the hat off. I'm like, I'm Gallagher. I'm the Gallagher. You want to see a show? Smash a watermelon for a freebie. Sign a couple things. They're on their merry way.
Yeah, you think that until I saw that video.
I hate Gallagher. Fuck you.
I was gonna say, fucking, what's his name? Rick Moranis getting
I knew you were
punched
gonna bring
in the
that
face.
up. Yeah.
I was like, who would punch that man? He's a sweetheart. They fucking just
like
uppercutted him
to take care of his family. Fuck you, Rick. Bang. I wanted Honey, I Shrunk the Kids 5.
Yeah,
God damn it.
Spaceballs too.
Oh,
Yeah. I have multiple guns
nice.
in my house, and twice I've thought
had to
there's
do the
someone in
recording.
here. No, I end up with a fucking katana because it's like the closest thing near me.
Cooler. It's definitely cooler.
Katana's way cool. You seen that video of that guy?
I don't want to wake the kids too.
That's true. Yeah. You seen the video with the guy who stopped the fight with the katana in Arizona? One of my favorite internet videos of all time. Yo, like one of the greatest internet videos of all time, where it's a local news thing where it's like this man, and there was an altercation on the subway line, and it's this dude who's just like the embodiment of like, while you were busy getting chicks, I was studying the blade. Like he because he goes through like his moves where he's like, I drew it and then I knew that I was ready for a follow-up strike. And you're just like, this dude rules. This dude. Yeah, I'm sold on the katana as a weapon of self-defense immediately from this guy. Like he's got a trench coat, little white kid with a trench coat.
Do you have a fucking like a hat that he pulled down or anything? Or?
Fedora.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a fedora.
A really tall collar that he can kind of hide some of his face on.
He has the Blade Runner jacket with a fucking katana. Yeah, this guy's bad.
He gets into like a pose. It's like so dope. He gets into like a full like crouch.
If someone pulls a gun on you, I feel like I feel like obviously, I think what would really happen is I would cower and run.
I put my hand over it.
Yeah, I would bend the barrel.
Put it back.
I'd catch the bull with my teeth. But what would you do, Sam?
I feel like there's like a sense of panic where it's like I can quickly get to that before it's like ready to go, before like the slide's pulled back and everything.
Dude,
but if someone draws a katana,
what are you gonna do? Yeah, you can't grab that.
I'm like, I don't want, like, if you get shot, it's like a through and through, you know, and obviously your chance of dying is much higher, but like the fact that someone can just lop off your arm really quick scares me way more. Dude, if someone draws a katana, that would stop me in my tracks way faster.
Yeah.
You've got to watch that clip of Sunny in Philadelphia sometime. Like Mac and Charlie have this exact argument.
Yeah,
he's like a gun, like would be way like, what are you gonna do? Like you can shoot it so quickly, and he's like, no, but a katana, like I have time to like, like he was like sidestepping, and every time he's just like following with the gun.
Clearly, the move here is the Final Fantasy VIII gun sword, which I'm surprised has never been. You know what I mean? Like,
God, yeah. I mean, that's just the most versatile weapon out.
Has someone like? There's got to be some like blacksmith YouTuber who's
some guy had to have done it. It's just make a gun with a sharp edge, right? Like.
It's way too long back.
I've seen the one where it's a revolver with a Bowie knife. So like the barrel comes down the spine, and then it's like a bit
hard. You stab yourself.
It looks
guess
like
really
it
you
looks
just
like
need
a
to come with a
Lancer or
band.
something from Gears of War. Like
Oh,
it's like
that's
some
cool. Yeah,
weird.
chainsaw guns would be nice too.
It's so
Or
excessive.
a lightsaber with a gun on the end. I don't know.
Just a
something
chainsaw,
metal.
just you booting up a chainsaw
be so
indoors.
scary.
You're right. Like you're not
That's
sticking
the best home
around.
defense weapon. Just hearing that.
No, I think that the
A
I
weed
think that
whacker,
the-
I think, is safer to use from a distance.
That's
That
true,
would
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
you
Yeah,
up
dude,
so
that
bad,
would-
dude.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yo,
6
if
feet
someone
away
came
with a
at
weed
you-
whacker.
If someone came at you with the weed whacker facing you and the thing's spinning, like you're not sticking around for that. Like,
Fighting
you don't want to
General
get into a
Grievous.
fight with that guy.
Okay, so 4 guys that have never dealt with self-defense situation have determined
That the
The
weed
weed
whacker.
whacker is the best
Better,
weed
word.
whacker
mightier
is
than a
the
gun.
It's like
Yeah,
a
weed
modern day
whacker's
halberd
way-
or some shit.
Yeah. And they kind of have the bend in them, so you can like easily hit the ground. You can go around corners with that. If
That's
someone's
true.
like right outside your door,
Yeah.
If you hear anything in your house, you turn that on, you start just blindly going around corners.
Yeah,
I don't
you
it doesn't matter
pre-fire
if your
each
wife got
corner.
home early. Or,
Axe.
it's actually Saturday. The kids don't have school today. Yeah.
oh fuck, I didn't think about that.
I was just
Sorry.
I don't know why pre-firing around the corner reminded me of this, but I was thinking I was playing like Hell Let Loose the other day, and I was just like,
It's a great game.
imagine it's a good game. I was like, imagine if our like the grandpas, the greatest generation, had video games in World War II. How much more intense? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll put it this way: if I got a time machine, I'm in World War II. I'm camping. I'm using every video game technique like I have, the cheap ass ones. I'm camping. I'm fucking pretending to play dead. Like I'm breaking every rule.
Oh, playing dead
You know what
is
I mean?
timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd always do
I want to
that.
go back further though. I want because World War II, they were starting to fight dirty. You know?
Yeah.
I'm
Revolutionary
talking like
War.
Revolutionary War.
Oh.
Like playing dead was like, oh my, you have no honor, sir.
Cheat code.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
but
The cheat code,
rank
dude.
and file, you just play dead. They march past you. You get up, and of course, I bring
Yeah.
into the past with me
Yeah,
like an
machine
M16
gun.
or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
flamethrower.
I would
in the
I would
1800s.
train my
Weed
unit
whacker.
to use all like gamer
Yeah.
slang. I would train my unit to
Drone.
use all gamer slang. So yeah. I'll just be like,
grenade.
he's cut, he's one.
Yeah.
Oh,
One
guys,
shot,
he's
2
one. I
shot,
swear, one
he's
shot.
down.
He's down. Got him.
Everyone
On
was
me,
one
on me,
shot.
on me. There's like
in
3
the
guys on me.
Revolutionary War, but yeah.
It's just the opening scene from Saving. It's just the opening scene from Saving
They were
Private
half
Ryan.
elf when they came here because of dysentery. Like there's some bad cholera
Guys, he
outbreak.
looks like a one shot. Yeah.
Dude, he's like cut. They're so cut right now, dude.
Yeah.
He's like
Yeah.
a 15-year-old drummer boy. He's one shot. Yeah.
All down.
Oh my God, he's thirsting me.
Oh, these kids suck. These kids suck.
Fucking scrub.
GG.
These kids are trash. Yeah, teabag them. Oh, British love their teabags so much.
I've always wanted to do a movie where it's like you've seen Band of Brothers where it starts and it's like the black background, they're interviewing these old men,
Yeah.
and it's like it starts like that, and it's just like the most gamer weed smoking group of grandpas just sitting there just talking about smoking weed and like fighting the war, and like it's just gamer slang. It's like, this boy was cut. He was cut, and he was one shot, and I got around the corner. Like
It was so trash. I banged his mom, and
I told him I banged his mom, and this German was so agitated by it. He totally revealed himself, and I just sniped his ass.
I made this
Drop
crowd
shot.
rage quit. He killed himself. Yeah, we made Hitler rage quit. He rage quit.
Yeah.
Oh, what a loser!
Me and most of us
Camping and he
had
just
a,
rage quit, dude.
me and most of us had a very similar bit about like an old man on his deathbed. Like our generation, when they're on their deathbed, we're gonna be telling our grandkids like it will just like revert back to slang that they'll have no idea. Like your grandma when she was young had Poggers set of goth GF titties.
had no
What
bun.
the fuck? Those things
grandma-
were so
Your
poggers.
grandma's Dobon hunkeros were out of this world.
I'm like so scared to get my wisdom teeth out because
Wisdom teeth's a scam. I'm saying that right now. Any dentist come at me. I've had this challenge out there. Any dentist come at me. Wisdom teeth is a scam. The amount of times that I've been like, I remember going in and they were like, "Oh, it's coming in sideways," and like I didn't get them out, and I got another extract later in life, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's coming in good." I'm like, earlier you said I needed surgery.
You should
They
not have
see
told me
them
that.
and they see dollar signs.
No,
They
yeah,
just see them in the
you
X-ray.
shouldn't say that to me because right now they look like they're going right into my other teeth. Last time I went to a dentist, they're like, it's about to start cracking your tooth. I don't want to go. Now I'm just going to believe I don't need to.
Yeah.
See, like
Freddie's
told a dentist.
Freddie said it would fix itself.
Freddie said they'll even out.
Well, so like that's so like wisdom teeth are supposed to drift in. Like wisdom, right? Everyone thinks it's like a perfect back. No, they're supposed to drift in.
Okay,
now,
good.
Granted, it might not come in perfect. It might come in
a medical emergency, but if you're telling me I don't need to go, Well, I don't want to take.
I'm septic, but
I don't buy it
up
now.
on goofballs and be like, "Mom, you're a bitch" or something. Like I'm so afraid of like.
if that's the worst thing I said, that would be
No,
so
dude.
nice. Like that would be.
No, I would.
Because I've seen those videos.
I'm going to be like, in 2009, I did a hit and run. And I kept
What's incredible about those is like every time I see a video of those, like, you know, someone coming out of like a dental, you know, like coma, every single time I see one, I'm like, you know that for every one of those, there's 10 where the family's recording them and they're like, we can't post this one.
Yeah.
We can't post that.
This guy
Can't
just
put
the
that on the
N-word.
internet.
Yeah.
Like, my son's the worst. Holy fuck. Yeah. I don't even know this guy. Yeah. I'm just not going to go.
I remember, so I had, again, this is not the same thing, but I had to wear headgear growing up.
Oh,
And
that's
like,
a good
'cause I
look. Yeah.
it was so like, and it was to the point where like at certain, I had to wear it at night, and it was just like a pain in the ass. It hurt and like hard to sleep with them. So after a certain point, I was just like, fuck it, I'm not wearing headgear. So I just stopped. And then like a few years later, I go in for like, you know, to get my braces adjusted, and the dentist is like, the orthodontist is like, hey, good job. Your headgear, good job on keeping up with the headgear. Your bite is corrected. And I was like, in the back of my head, I'm like, you son of a bitch. I haven't worn headgear for 5 years. And you're telling me it corrected itself, huh? And I was doing a good job keeping up with it, huh? And that was the whole time. And then as I was saying, I looked out the window, and he like had like just outside the window, I'm sitting there in the dentist chair. It's like brand new Lexus dealer plates on it. And I was like, all right, I see what's fucking going
That's
on.
my
here.
Lexus now. Yeah. You should take back the night.
Anyway, don't do it, man. Don't do it.
I'm not. You know, well, except for it's like I did have really bad teeth growing up.
Okay,
And
you
then
probably should do it.
I went to an orthodontist, and then they get, you know, they give you a fucking little retainer, and it's like you have to do it or they'll change, and no one does, and it's like, yeah, fuck that, it's not gonna happen.
I have this like
My
little,
bottom teeth are
little bar. Like I have
happened to
a
me.
permanent retainer.
Why
Yeah.
didn't they give me that? I would have
Dude,
loved that.
so-
I'm too lazy.
Wait,
Okay, but,
wait,
like-
it's there forever. You can't take it out.
Yeah, it's like on my bottom teeth. It's like covered. It's like a pain in the ass to floss around. And like I remember, I went to the dentist and I was like, "Hey, what happens if you take this out?" And they're like, "Well, but then your teeth will drift." I'm like, it's not gonna drift like right away though. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna live forever.
Yeah.
So like, what year do I take this out? And it's
Wait,
just fine.
you're-
You know what I'm saying?
Your shit's gonna drift no matter what. You're like 30 something. Like at some point, that shit's set in bone, isn't
Yeah,
it? Like,
right. Like and even if it does drift a little bit, like what? What the fuck do I care?
What's the worst?
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
in 20 years, it's going to be a little misaligned. Well, I mean, fucking, I don't care. Who knows? I'll be in the fucking metaverse, fucking with a VR headset on. I'll be whatever, you know what I mean? Like a big anime. I'll be an
Watching
anime, you know.
porn. Yeah. And I also have like a little bit of an overbite, so it's like no one sees my fucking. They're not that bad, but it's like I would rather just have a little fucked up bottom teeth than wear that little retainer every goddamn night.
I'm the
that's
same
terrible.
way.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, my bottom teeth went fucking haywire because I didn't wear the thing.
At
But
least it
yeah,
wasn't a fucking. My two front teeth look fine, so it's fine.
yeah.
It's whatever until they start turning and like they.
Did you see the guy? Did you see the guy who just like did his own Invisalign?
No.
He literally did a 3D scan of his mouth, and then in the 3D program, he's like, "I'm just gonna reposition my teeth until they look right." And then he's like, and then from point A to point B, I'm gonna keyframe those, and then just 3D print every step of the way from A to B, like 36, incremental steps from A to B. And he's like, I just printed out into like PLA that I could like put in my mouth. I just did a Invisalign like solo. I just did it myself. It didn't cost me shit.
Oh, fuck, I actually turned all my
worked.
teeth backwards.
Oh,
It
really?
worked. Yeah, it worked.
What the fuck?
Because at the
That's
end of the day, it's
awesome.
just holding your teeth in a position, and
yeah.
your body will
Yeah.
just adjust to it.
Big Dental is gonna assassinate that guy.
Oh yeah,
Careful.
he went to
Yeah.
hiding, dude.
Yeah.
That, once you get into the medical sector, that's when all of a sudden, like, everybody's ears perk up. Like, everybody acts like these like 3D printed ghost guns are going to be a big deal, but no, like the second this guy's, hey guys, I figured out how to get braces for free. What
Yeah,
medical
over.
shit?
He's
This
gonna be
guy's
found
gone.
with 2 gunshot wounds to the head, ruled a suicide.
Yeah.
Killed himself by stuffing himself in a suitcase and jumping off a bridge. Yeah. It's the craziest suicide I've ever seen. My God. cut his own head off. And he put himself in a box.
With a samurai sword.
There was,
Yeah.
So no joke though, there was an article in the Atlantic about dentistry and how like it's way less like everyone thinks dentists are like, oh yeah, like doctors is a whole regulated thing. It's like it's way less regulated than you think. And there's like dentists can get away with a lot of shit.
You know, they have a higher suicide rate than any other medical profession. Did you know?
Yeah, from guilt.
Because of all the
Or is
patients
it-
they
is it-
lose.
Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is it quote unquote? You know what I'm saying?
Because how many?
I think it has
A lot
something to
of
do with. Oh wait,
3D
never mind. I might be thinking about a vet. I think vet
Oh,
might be
vet?
the. Yeah.
Oh, because all the dogs they see die and shit.
Yeah, I
Like,
think so.
it's bad,
But
yeah.
they have access to drugs and stuff too that they can.
No, it's, yeah.
fucked
So it
up
looks
on.
like yeah,
all the wars.
dentists
Yeah,
are up
really?
there. They're above. Dentists are above veterinarians.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
Probably
it be
sucks
like
to be a dentist?
Wouldn't it be like a pediatrician for like cancer kids? Like, wouldn't that be like the highest suicide rate? It's the most depressing scenario.
Let's go like those
Yeah,
people
but like you lose
expect to
No, but
99
you, but
kids,
you know,
but
but also
save
like,
one. You
but
feel
also
like
you know,
God.
if you're getting into that, you know what you're getting into,
Yeah.
right? Like you have pre-selected yourself to be like, okay, I wanted to, like I have a friend in medical school and I was like asking him like, hey, what are the ones that people go for? And he's like, obviously the things that people care about is like how much money you make, right? Is part of it. But the other one, like the other major decision is like, do you want to deal with life or death situations? And like some people don't, right? And there's a lot of medicine that you don't have to deal with life or death situations, but the people who do know what they're getting into. So I think that helps a little bit because it's like you have to volunteer for it, you know?
If you're
Yeah.
a dentist and one of your patients dies, you're like, oh fuck, I really fucked up. Yeah, like I'm gonna
Give
kill
too much
myself.
anesthesia or some
Dude,
shit.
Yeah.
when I was at my fattest, I remember I went in there. They took my blood pressure and they said, "Yeah, we can't clean your teeth this time. You're gonna like have a stroke or
Oh my
something."
god.
Oh no.
Oh, shit.
Fuck.
Yeah, that was.
If your dentist is the doctor telling you you're fat, yeah,
Yeah,
you got a
you're too
fucking
fat to
problem.
work on your.
They were
Goddamn.
like, "Damn, dude, you're putting these teeth to work. Holy shit!"
If I
No, it was something about like they were like, we don't want to
100-year-old.
cause like bleeding because you have like your blood pressure is super high. That was back when I had rage problems. Those are all
Oh,
gone now.
yeah.
I'm super level headed. Yeah.
I saw you moved your arm for a second.
Yeah.
It's because the stuff that they put in you might have epinephrine in it. It might be adrenaline, so which then like which
Oh.
might spike your blood pressure even more. Would
Gotcha.
you need like a root canal or something?
No, I think they were just like his
Cleaning?
blood pressure is
It's a
already
regular
gonna
cleaning, right?
No,
spike.
he was so fat, even like.
I think it was just a
Flossing.
cleaning. Yeah, it was
They
just
hold
a
my
cleaning.
God.
an old chicken wing
Yeah.
in between his teeth.
Oh, yeah, they're
No,
saying
it
that
was
they
like
won't do it.
165 over 90 or something.
165 pounds over 90
I've
pounds.
never been. I've never been to a dentist where they took my blood pressure.
Yeah,
I guess
Mine
that's a
don't-
new
yeah,
one.
mine,
Yeah.
mine
Strange.
sleeves me.
I didn't
I've
even
never
think
seen-
about that. I've never had them.
Yeah.
Maybe you
No,
just
mine sleeves
visually-
me every time. Maybe
is
they
even
looked at me
worse.
and
Yeah, they
said,
looked
like,
at
this
you and were
guy's
like-
Get the
fucked up.
sleeve out. We need. I want to go on a
I
lunch
was like,
break. Here.
do you guys have like a soundtrack of like a heart beating? Because I can hear it. When I walked in, I can hear heartbeats right now. Have you ever had super high blood pressure? Like after you eat a bunch of salted ham or something, like you can hear your heart beating in your ears. Your blood pressure's. Yeah, you can hear if your blood pressure gets really high. You can hear
had
it.
that after
What
my
the fuck
life.
is me?
That's horrifying.
Come on, Brian. Come on. You've never had
No.
that? Oh my brother knows
I've felt it.
exactly
I've
what
had,
I'm
like-
talking about. My
I've-
brother's
I've
told
had-
me about that.
Holy
I've had
shit.
palpitations where you could feel it in your chest, but
No,
never
right there in the
hearing it.
ears. Those
Oh
blood
my
vessels in your
God.
ears. are
Fucking
gum,
dead
gum.
body under the
I-
floorboards. Like, I've
If I ate
never.
a chicken and I started hearing that, I'd be like, did I eat the fucking chicken heart too? Like, did I eat a live chicken? What the fuck is going on? That'd be so shocking.
Yeah,
it's
it's
scary.
pretty shocking. That's
I'm
when
gonna
you
try
have
not
those
to get that
moments where
fat.
you're like, I need to turn my life around.
That was, yeah. It wasn't like the kids or anything. It was like, my dentist thinks I'm fat.
My dentist
get
told
paid
me
to
that
tell
me
me that,
hearing
yeah.
my heart is not a good sign, and now he won't. Now he won't floss me.
Yeah.
My own
My
fucking
dentist
dentist,
is
man.
scared to floss my mouth. I need to call the fucking army, dude. I need to go home. I'd be so scared. Oh, my
You know what's funny though is it ended up not being like weight related. I did lose weight, right? But
Yeah.
then when I fucked up my back, I regained it. And the thing that had changed between then and when because when I regained my weight, like my blood pressure was fine. It was I had
Easy
another
co-host.
job, and my other job pissed me off so much that my
No
blood pressure was
shit.
just super high.
Damn.
I used to drive into work like white knuckling the steering wheel.
Jesus
Just like
Christ.
so pissed off about it. I hated it.
I'm
Brian and I joining the podcast saved your life.
I think that's what it is. Yeah. I'm gonna, if I live a long time, let's be honest, it's not gonna happen. But if I live like, people in my family, they lose their mind at like 60. Like that's when it's gone.
That's your new paranoid.
I'm breaking records, dude. I forget shit all the time.
It's the weed. It's the weed. It really is.
You just remember that we've told him it's the weed so many times.
Yeah, you told me this yesterday.
The weed cracks me up so much because like there's so clearly it's contingent of people online who are like hell bent on being like there is nothing wrong with smoking. Literally,
there's a lot wrong.
Literally, there cannot be a single negative side effect. And it's like occasionally, and then like now, like studies come out, they're like, hey, maybe not so good to just do this all the time. And then you just go in the comment section, everyone's like, this study's bullshit. Just like, okay, sure,
weed every day. What would Snoop Dogg say? Okay, this guy tells me everything.
He would say, drink Coronas every day.
Drink Coronas.
The answer to that shit is always like, oh, it's so natural. It's natural, so it's good for you. I'm like, so's like the shit they're breathing in to get black lung in the mines. Like all that shit's natural.
But it's coming out of the earth, bro.
Yeah, anthrax is made from plants and shit, isn't it?
Go have some mold,
cyanide. You eat a peach pit, you'll die because there's cyanide in there.
I remember
it's natural, baby. It's all right.
My neighbors in college having the most ungodly gravity bong in the world. It's called the Moab, the mother of all bongs, and it was like like a fucking 20-gallon thing into another container into like a huge crate held all the water, and they like pulled a tarp off it in their backyard.
Holy shit!
And these are the guys that are like, smoking isn't bad. I'm like, that is the most. Like, they had one of their guys that would be like. Push it down for like a minute, just like pass out and be like, it's natural, baby. I'm like, your body's made of microplastics. You're fucking like, oh my God. And like if it physically knocks you down afterwards, like that is not good.
That sounds like some shit from that Custom Grow 420 guy. Have you seen his channel?
My God.
His channel is great.
No.
I love that guy.
That whole guy's life is a drama now,
it's like
dude.
everyone knows a
great.
person that's like smoked themselves into a stereotype. Where
and
it's like thank God I haven't reached that point. At some point I'll just be like, oh, what's going on? I have a friend, like really sweet guy growing up in college. I saw him do dabs through his nose more than once, and I'm like, okay, well, see you, man. Nice knowing you. and now he's just like longboards with his husky pulling him around, and he's just like not the same person. He's oh God, what if he listens to this someday? He won't.
Yeah. No, he won't.
It's not you. If you think I'm talking about you, it's a different guy.
Totally different guy.
Okay, man. Sure, he's listening to it. If you can tell him anything, he'll fucking believe it. Yeah, dumb as shit. But no, like I really like he's become like a Cheech and Chong fucking character, and it's like holy fuck, like you just need to not smoke in an insane amount, and you will be, for the most part, fine. Like. It's the people abuse the shit out of it in the very creative ways, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's like,
well, it's that and the fact that like the fucking hybridization and the strains and shit. Now it's like that's just nuclear.
Yeah.
Like
gorilla pussy. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, the name, cookie shit. I'm
like we compress this so that it has more weed chemicals per square millimeter, right? Like than anything. It's like I don't know.
All the THC shit, like the oils.
Chong smoked today weed, they'd fucking die.
They have a heart attack.
My dad used to smoke a lot in like the early 80s, and then my dad was like, "Hey, ask my brother if he had any." And my brother's just like, "Yeah, I got like a weed cartridge pin, like a dab pin."
And he gave it
to him. My dad's like, "Yeah," he's like, "I smoke analog." Like, I don't know
weed.
Yeah, what the heck? He's like, "No, I just kind of like. Do you have like a little glass pipe with like a little thing you put in there and smoke it?" And my brother's like, "No, like this is what we have now." And my dad like went home with it. He's like, "This is stupid," and then. He called like a week later and he's like, what the fuck is in this? Like, this is the most insane. He's like, I have been in a stupor for 5 days because this shit, like, smoke, I wake up still hot.
This was apparently, I guess someone's done this, but like my idea was if I was ever to start a weed company, I would call it junk weed. And it's just like, grown on the side of the road in middle America, honest, authentic junk ass weed.
Yeah,
and like
there's a company that does that. It's called like your dad's old weed or some shit, and it's like it's just
highway
like
weed.
It's just garbage weed that's not very strong, and they sell pre-rolls, and they're like it's just enough. Like you're not gonna get
blasted
fucked up.
into
Yeah.
fucking outer space.
One of my friends' dad found a bunch of weed in a film canister from like the 70s.
Oh wow.
And I remember we smoked it, but it was like, this study isn't really conclusive because it's been like 40 years, so it probably lost some potency to it. It looked like fucking little black. It looked like
Dude,
it
you
had been.
probably shorten your lifespan by a lot.
Are you sure?
It's like smoking botula or something. You got something growing
There
in
was
your
like
lungs.
a little drink in there too. There was some liquid in there.
Fucking penicillin, dude. You smoked penicillin, bro.
Yeah, it was like in a pill or so. It's like weed from the 70s. We crushed up this pill and smoked it. It was awesome. Do you smoke, Freddie, or like can you even say that? Or
Yeah, a little bit. I'm in California, man.
I was gonna say you're in California, and
It's everywhere.
all your characters in Dungeons and Daddies are like the most, they're stoners.
I'm definitely not like a stoner. I'm definitely here's something that happened actually. It's really funny because there's so many times over the course of doing YouTube videos where people are like, you guys had to have been fucking high to come up with that one, right? I was like, no, actually, that's just us trying to be, just sober minded and trying to amuse ourselves, but like it's this weird thing where people are like, yeah, you must
slow down a lot
exactly.
when you're like you're creative, like maybe a double shot of espresso and like a hit, and then that's it. Like you put that shit down, put it in a drawer somewhere.
That was like a routine.
Dude,
But
I hate that's like it's such a weird like backhanded like if I do one of my drawings, they're like, dude, what kind of drugs are you on? It's like, how? I just like you.
Why can't I just express myself?
Yeah.
I just want to express myself, Yeah.
They're like, dude, did you do shrooms or something? I'm like, I'm speaking to you right now like a human. No, I did not do shrooms.
Okay, the difference is that with Freddie, they were talking about like a funny bit that was hilarious.
They're like seeing this nightmare.
They're giving you a way out. They're like, surely you weren't of sound mind when you created this, right? And you're like, no. I'm like,
I'm completely in
not
control.
insane.
Yeah.
This is me.
No, I'm just insane. It's not drugs. Yeah, I'm crazy. No, yeah, it's just such a like. I feel bad for people that say that though, because it's like, wow, you really couldn't think of anything creative like soberly, or you just, I guess, don't baseline think of.
Are you calling out 70% of our audience right there?
Yeah.
No.
But at the same time, though, it's like you listen to the Beatles. There's definitely a moment when you're like, that's when they started smoking weed.
Yeah.
It's
Start doing
More like
psychedelics.
access to psychedelics might be a little bit more of an impact there.
Yeah.
In some of them albums. Yeah.
You must have had 2 shots of espresso when you fucking came up with this. You are wired today. Whatever happened to like you? I've never heard someone be like, "Were you on coke?"
Whoa!
You must
have
how many
drank a lot
cups
of
of coffee to write that one?
You were on fucking amphetamines or something. What the hell is this? This is wow, yes. Yeah. I don't think I've ever worked that quickly in my life, though. Maybe
actually, I've said that to my wife. Like, I'm like, dude, I can tell you took your fucking Adderall today and had some coffee. Like, I'll hear the fucking like vacuum cleaner, and then I go upstairs and I'm like, damn, no, that is exactly what happened 2 days ago. I heard her like vacuuming and then stomping. All of a sudden, like I heard like like ladder opening up and everything, and I'm like, what the hell's she doing in there? Must be changing a light bulb or something. And then I'm sitting there working some more, and I'm like, yeah, I go up there and she's like painting the wall. She has like tarps down all over the floor. I'm like, what the fuck are you just on a whim painting the she's like, oh, by the way, I spent $400 on paint. I was like, what the hell? Like,
just like
Jesus
one can
Christ, I didn't know
nowadays.
Paint costs that much. Yeah, it's like liquid gold. It's like, don't spread that on the walls. We need to store that. That's our retirement fund in those buckets.
That's going to send the kids to college. Yeah. You know how much this will be worth in 20 years? Oh, my God.
Oh, shit. I didn't finish my Lisa thing. There was a funnier thing besides her getting scammed. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So she gets scammed. Yeah. And then 2 days later, she's going to, which is today, she's going to the TwitchCon in Amsterdam, right?
Oh, nice.
I should be there.
And and she's like, she's kind of nervous to like leave her hometown and go, and go to Amsterdam.
Yeah. Her little hut.
And so she's bringing her dad, right? And she's like, oh, I got this great like hotel place. It was like cheap. It was one I could find.
Tell me she didn't get fucking scammed, bro.
No, even worse.
No way. It's worse than getting scammed.
Her hotel is in the red light district, and she's sharing a room with her father, and she's like, all you hear is people fucking prostitutes for like 10 minutes and then leaving. Like you just hear it through the walls. Just people fucking and leaving, fucking and leaving. And she's like,
fuck, I'm gonna come.
Just constantly.
just there with her dad. And she's like,
Dude,
I'm sure she's like the only person staying there for like days. Like she's like, yeah, I need to stay there for 5 days. And they're like, are you sure? Like, you don't just want like
your dad?
You do it with an older gentleman.
yeah. There's a coin op room, you got the hour.
Yeah. Bring a bag of quarters for 5 days, whatever.
I just have to keep feeding this meter.
Weird, yeah.
It's really weird.
If you can find a paper clip, yeah, you can make it a lot cheaper. I'm still like, I am just now getting to adult relationship with my parents, and I'd still be like very uncomfortable if a sex scene came on during a movie. I can't imagine
yet alone that shit.
Her sheltered life now in a bang house with her dad. Like, I'd crawl out of my skin.
Yeah, like apparently there's just like prostitutes
There's a
like
glass wall into the
posted up. Like everywhere. Oh yeah, that'd be great if like in the hotel room there was like that curtain that you pull back and then there's a dancer like on the other side of a glass wall.
It's a weird sitting
constantly
area.
Sitting there. Yeah.
It's a weird sitting area.
I gotta.
Got like kind of it's like not a lot of privacy. It just opens out right into the street, which is weird.
Yeah. Yeah, she's great just because of that shit. Like that would never happen to a normal person that's traveled before.
Yeah, could you just do some research? Like, goddamn.
Yeah, just check the TripAdvisor. You know what I'm saying? Like, just do a
like,
cursory glance over it.
I literally saw something today about online of someone getting a hotel in the red light district, and then the person that booked the hotel was like, hey, forewarning, like, you don't want this. This is in the red light district.
They were not that courteous to her.
They were, at least they're just like, all right, shut up, bro. You go in there and bang your dad or whatever. Like, they don't, like, come on. They were.
You're going to spend 5 days with your dad at a fucking
borderline brothel.
It's like
5 days with your dad in this place. Fuck, all right. We already turned one person away today. I've done my good deed of the day. Yeah, okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Sucks though. I really wanted to go to the Amsterdam one.
I did too. I was really
hyped. Finally,
you had no commitment, Sam. Why don't you go?
Yeah, why don't you go?
Get kids and stuff. We just went to
children.
We just came back from Idaho. It feels
like 4 months ago,
dude. Like when you have kids, like leaving.
It's a big
parent
deal.
to take care of two kids alone.
I know what it's like. I got this little guy right here.
Yeah.
Squirt. Yeah.
And I feel bad just
now
abandoning.
Now is not the time. I'm telling you, now is not the time to go conventions. Like I'm finally at the point now where like VidCon doesn't email me anymore. And then I saw everybody went to VidCon this year, like to a T. They're like, "Hey, anyone who hung out with me, I got COVID." Yeah. It's like everybody. Yeah, everybody.
Oh. No, my kids, they fuck with way harder stuff than COVID. They always come home with like croup, fucking scarlet fever and shit, like just weird stuff.
Whatever they had, it kicked Ebola's ass. It like
my kids are constantly getting me sick.
He and his whole pig family are disgusting.
I did see someone on Twitter. They were like voicing like they're like, I hate it when a YouTuber starts a video going like, oh hey guys, I'm really sorry, but I'm kind of sick. That's why I sound funny, and they don't sound any different. And this guy replied to that tweet. He's like, I actually prefer it the other way around, where like this guy Sam. Every like 2 months, he just makes a video where his voice sounds like a completely different person, and he never mentions that he's sick. Like, I'll just make a video where I'm just like, "Hey guys, how you doing?"
It's like a bass notes all of a sudden, dude.
I lose my voice at least twice, 3 times
more
a year.
than you'd expect too. Yeah, it's like it could be any time I talk to you. You could just be like, oh, what's going on? Like, oh, fuck. Oh, I'm so fucking sick. Wow, surprise. Holy shit. Goddamn Cretan families.
and like, what's funny is like, I think like Bizzle thought I was hyping it up. Like it was way, I was acting like it was worse than it was. He came over here for 3 days. after 24 hours, he was puking everywhere all over my house. Like, my kid handed him this disgusting piece of baguette with her hands were covered in like spaghetti sauce and everything. She hands it to him, goes, "Mr. Bizzle, eat this." And he's like, "I don't want to eat that." But it's like a 3-year-old handing you something. She's like, "Go on." And he ate it. And less than fucking like 12 hours later, he was in there just puking all over the place.
That was it.
Yeah.
I would have fucking slapped that
stuff.
shit out of her hand. Gone from me.
Get the
Fuck away from me. Stay on your side of the table.
I will laser you.
Falls off the high chair or whatever.
Turn into Homelander real
Next
quick,
time he's
dude.
going to be a lot less friendly, I feel like. He's going to
Show
be
up
like,
in a fucking hazmat.
Yeah,
suit
hazmat
next
suit,
time,
yeah.
dude, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Look at
Those
that.
fucking
Straight up looking like the
sprayers.
guys at the end of ET, dude.
Oh, well, his wife and kids look like ET itself, so I mean,
Jesus Christ, dude.
Abby's gonna watch this. What the fuck? Oh, she's
Me
not
and
gonna
Bizzle
watch
need to
this,
get
but-
what is Men in Black when they call in the people to like clean up the alien scene, and they
Yeah.
come in
Oh,
with
yeah.
the reflective foil and the flamethrowers and just torch all the cactuses and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you need someone like that on fucking speed dial.
oh, for sure. Burn this shit.
God, are you planning on going to TwitchCon San Diego? Anyone?
Anyone? What about you, Freddie? That's in your
Sam, are you
neighborhood.
going?
Bro.
You
Dude,
need
I'm
a
not
little
allowed
fun.
at TwitchCon. I'm a old YouTuber has been. They ain't having me in there, dude.
What are you talking
You
about?
can just
You
go for fun.
has
Yeah,
been.
just
You
go for
have
funsies.
pivoted into
Yeah,
one of the
there is-
biggest D&D
There
things.
is nothing fun to me about going to these conventions.
I've never been to one, so I want to try. I want to go. This will be my
by all
first
means,
one.
try it. But
Really,
like,
really raining on my parade now.
no,
Yeah.
by all means, go try it. Get your dental work done. But like,
No,
I
I'm
just,
not doing
for
that
me
ever.
personally, I really don't like the conventions.
Okay,
I'm
you
more
stay in
excited
your
for
little
the, like,
concrete
just
hole over there.
seeing-
We will go
Yeah.
see the world at
Well,
TwitchCon.
Yeah,
It's
the
more of an
world at
excuse.
TwitchCon. We're a bunch of fucking sweaty fucking camera sluts sitting around wanting to get attention to every. Yeah, that's
No, what it is, Freddie, is what it's about. You go there
yeah.
and you go like, "Hey, like Brian, Poob, or you? We've met now,
Brian's
but
good.
like,
Yeah.
let's say random people on Discord that you vibe with, you're friends with, you play games with.
Yeah.
Like for example, you know Stalt, the editor of this
Sure, yeah,
podcast. Yeah, he's talked to you, but you haven't met Stalt.
Yeah.
The convention
I can
is
do
the
that
perfect
outside
place.
of convention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. This
It's
is
an
the
excuse to
thing,
meet up with
is
friends.
You meet up with friends, and if it doesn't work, if it doesn't vibe,
I'm no
then
longer
you
a
can
convention guy. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
You know, you can just like split up. You know, you're not there to hang out with each other. You're just like, I'll be at the convention too. We can just hang out, and then if it feels right, you keep hanging out.
See, like,
But
I
if you
get
just-
that. I get that.
Yeah.
To me, the problem is it's the crowds and crowds of people and like just the effort. And it's like, cool, we're all gonna go to some restaurant. There's 12 people here, and the fucking one person's got to pick up the check. And it's gonna be a weird. I just hate it.
It's gonna be
I just hate
you.
it.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously,
I just hate it.
that's why you're invited to
All right,
every
whoever
dinner
has
party
most
I've ever.
patrons. Yeah.
I've seen this guy's Patreon. He will be picking up the tab. I told everybody before.
Every episode, I listen to like a fucking full TV commercial break. I'm like, how much fucking are they? It's got to be $1 million an episode right here. God damn. It's like, I'm like, these ad reads are fucking. You
gotta
you
start
guys
doing
put
ad
little
reads.
jokes in them. Yeah, you guys put funny little.
We do
You
have
guys,
fun.
you
with our
guys
ad
make a little,
We got-
more personal. If
we
we get
got
them, it's
so-
robotic.
We got so like we had this ad read where we just spent like basically the entire time just dunking on the UK, like just making fun of the currency, and they loved it. And we're like, oh, that's great, have fun. So we did the same thing for like a Canadian ad, and we got so many Canadians being like, hey, that was not cool. We're like,
Hey,
what?
bro.
Come on. No, we're just
Nah.
joking.
You crossed the line. You
Yeah,
crossed
crossed the
Brian's
line.
What the hell did you
actually
say?
Canadian.
What
so-
did you say? Yeah, I'll
he's
give you
mad.
that.
What
I'll
did
give
you
you
That was
the pass.
crazy to me. Yeah, like it was like these are not. I mean, these are like podcast jokes. We were like, haha, you gotta. How many toonies is that? You fucking,
Oh my
you
God.
Tim Hortons swigging. You know, like that.
All
was
right,
it.
everybody
That's
punch
so
Freddy square
lame.
at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. we have
Okay,
really
we
like
have joke money. It's cartoon money. I get it. Okay,
Yeah.
it's like,
There's nothing wrong with that.
doesn't
Smells like
stink
maple
like
syrup.
US
It doesn't
dollars,
smell like
though.
maple
True.
syrup. That's just some one guy having a stroke thinking that smells like maple syrup. Now everyone's sniffing the 100 in Canada.
Only gotta put one coin to get a fucking drink. You know, that's a gift itself.
That's kind of
You know
nice.
what's weird is
we have $1 coins.
You know what was? I think
Yeah,
it's
we
I think
do.
it's because we went real hard about how Tim Hortons got bought by Burger King, and we're like, guess what? We're taking all your shit, Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, don't you say that? Yeah, they got this. They got real riled up. Huh?
Yeah.
You guys lost like 90% of your viewers after
I
that,
know,
or
Canadians
what?
definitely.
Yeah, huge. Yeah,
huge
they would all
part of it.
huddle together, eating Timbits, fucking listening to some D&D.
how quiet was that
Yeah.
post-episode meeting where you're like, guys, we cannot make fun of Canada again. That was a huge blow to Dungeons and Daddies.
huge
Inc.
blow.
I can't believe that happened.
I want to apologize to all Canadians. I love Canada. I grew up in Seattle. We go up to Vancouver all the time. I love
nice.
Canada.
Yeah.
And also, fucking Tim Hortons is great. Every time I land in Canada, if I have to travel, the first thing I do, I find that airport Tim Hortons, get myself an ice cap.
It's sacrilegious, but it sucks. You
don't like the ice cap?
No, it's okay, but Tim Hortons itself is a fucking shithole. I fucking
Don't.
Yeah, Brian likes Burger
Right, hey,
King.
real quick,
I hate
careful.
Burger King
I just
even
want to just say
worse.
real careful. Just be careful.
A lot of our
Canadians.
fan base are Canadians.
Yeah,
For the
but
Brian,
too. It's like-
brought
it's
in
like-
a lot of Canadians.
It's like the N word for Canadians. I can talk shit about Tim Hortons because I'm
Oh,
Canadian.
okay.
It's fine.
I don't
It's
even
okay, I have
really
a
know what
pass.
Tim Hortons is, but
It's like a fucking
It's a coffee shop. It's like Dunkin'.
yeah. It's a yeah, exactly.
I'm
It's
not
like
taking
Dunkin'
his
Donuts.
opinion on
or-
shit. Remember, we went to a breakfast place and he was like, "I want a hot chocolate." Like, I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, his opinion
I
on
respect the man
coffee
that can
shit.
get a.
No,
he
no,
does
no,
not
no,
like
no,
coffee.
I
He
don't-
doesn't like coffee.
no,
I
don't
had
get me
like
wrong.
the sweetest vanilla latte, and I was like, "Here, try some." He's like, "Oh, it's better.
No, no,
It's
no,
not as
yeah.
good as my hot chocolate."
Don't get me wrong. I don't like coffee, but whatever. But like their donuts are like meh. They have like breakfast sandwiches that fucking have gotten worse in quality.
I
They
don't
suck.
think there's a
They
lot
suck
Brian
now.
likes.
They've gotten
though,
worse.
so it's
He
okay.
does.
Like,
I listen to this guy.
I've
He's
never
like,
heard Brian
"I'm
say,
ordering
I love
a
this.
20-piece of chicken nuggets or whatever from McDonald's." Like that's his.
What does that mean? Why does that matter? What,
Are you a
who
picky-
cares?
are you a
Because,
picky
someone
eater?
that
If I
orders,
think that
like-
tastes, if I think
Hold
that
on,
tastes
are you a
better
picky eater?
than something
Yes,
else,
he is.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty picky.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
really
Did you grow
picky.
up? Did you grow up
likes
as a picky
chicken
eater?
nuggets and hot chocolate.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, listen. You guys gotta cut some slack. That guy, he's
No
going through some
respect
shit.
for a picky eater.
I
Grow
don't.
Up.
Yeah.
You couldn't be.
I'm-
Asian.
I've
You're
got-
Asian. You're a picky eater. You're dead. You died.
I've
starvation.
gotten a lot better, growing up.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I
just, but I still think fucking, Tim Hortons sucks dick. I'm just saying,
My
if I think nuggets are better than something, then obviously, it's fucking worse than nuggets. It's like,
Nuggets is a pretty solid.
Nuggets is a
food
main
stuff.
food group. Yeah.
Nuggets and French fries is like very
but
hard to
it's
find
so,
people
it's
who
just,
disagree. with
yeah,
each
it's just,
other.
it's just like plain. Like it's just like anything below it. Fucking, I mean, Jesus
Got, like
Christ.
the reverse where like my mom was such a health nut and I would be so shamed if I'd eat and or, like
And one French
I'm
fry,
like
you
now
fucking cry.
conditioned like I don't live with my mommy anymore and it's like I still feel guilty if I get a soda with my shit or like
Oh,
I don't really
really?
eat I don't eat chips, I don't eat french fries, like it's like
What
this
do you wait? Then what do you snack on? Is it like trail mix and shit?
like Cliff
Layers.
bars and
Granola?
LX bars or whatever the RX bars. It's like 4 ingredients. It's a bunch of shit that tastes like nothing.
Yeah.
But I love, I'm not picky with stuff. My biggest one has always been tomatoes.
Mm.
And like 2 weeks ago, I'm like, no, it's probably been like 2 months at this point, but I was like, I need to fucking grow up. So I've been microdosing tomatoes. I've been building up. I've been like experimenting
tomatoes
with
go
tomatoes.
in everything. Like, how do you not eat tomatoes?
Hey, no tomatoes on that sandwich. It's pretty simple,
That's,
but
yeah, it's
What about like
But-
salsa?
No, I mean it's like
no,
cooked
like
into things.
no. It's the have you ever
no,
heard
cold
someone that
tomatoes.
who says I don't like tomatoes and doesn't like pizza and shit? Like I still like
Yeah.
tomato
that's fair.
sauce.
Okay,
I
I
still
see.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
salsa. And
What about like a
it's the
BLT? What about like a
texture thing.
BLT, where it is very front and center, a tomato?
That is what I've been experimenting with lately. This place has a really good BLT near me. And I started off like, all right, take half.
Give
the
me a
tomato
BL.
off. Now I'm to the point where I'm like, yeah, BL, please. Now I'm at the point where like I can eat the whole thing. I'm like, that was pretty good. It's the texture. Something about the texture throws me off, but like I'm almost
That's one
there.
of those. That's interesting. That's one of those things. Texture is one of those things in Chinese food because I grew up eating Chinese food. that texture is a huge thing that actually doesn't get talked about, right? Everyone talks about like, oh, this flavor, sweet, sour, salty, umami, all that stuff. But like specifically in Chinese cuisine, there's like a range of textures that's outside of what is generally, in Western cuisine. And it's like, it's a slimier, gooier kind of thing.
You guys eat wild shit. I've seen like
it's awesome.
Like you can tell if I turn on the Food Network and Anthony Bourdain looks like he's about to puke before he puts something in his mouth, I'm like, he's over there somewhere.
He's in an Asian country. Yeah. It translates to, I think there's a Southern Chinese saying, and I think it's Szechuan, where it translates essentially to like, oh yeah, the Southern Chinese or the Szechuanese, they'll eat anything that crawls, flies, swims, has wings, is underwater. It just basically just lists everything. It's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Can speak.
Can speak sentient. Yeah.
Has a soul. Anything with a soul.
Soul tastes better. Yeah.
My first time having like eel on sushi, like the big ass fucking piece on it. It's like that was such a shock of like slime with like a roughness to it.
Yeah.
It like goes down. Now it's like that's my favorite fucking thing to get on. So it tastes so good, like the little sauce they throw on it.
Yeah.
But it's a big jump. It's a big jump from like, hey, you eat granola bars all the time. Try this little fucking this thing you can't comprehend when you look at it. Or
I remember growing up, my mom would shop at this Vietnamese grocery store in Seattle, and they would do, at the time it was like $1 a banh mi, right? Like a Vietnamese sandwich. So she'd be like, great, I don't have to make lunch. I'll just buy 5 of these for the week and you're set. So I go to school and I have these like Vietnamese sandwiches, it has like a, sort of a pate. It's got like cilantro on it. And I remember like all of my friends who had the Lunchables, they would just be fucking roasting my ass. Just like, what is this weird sandwich? And I was like, well, it's fine. I like it. And then now, right, it's like there's gourmet banh mi places. Everyone's like, yo, Vietnamese sandwich is the best. And I'm like, you fuckers were making fun of my ass. The other thing that happened was sriracha sauce. Like, I grew up with that stuff because, it's an Asian, like, red hot sauce. And I remember one 4th of July, a bunch of friends over, and they were like trying to put stuff on their hot dogs. Like, where's your ketchup? And I was like, oh, you just use this sauce. And they're like, ew, what is this rooster sauce? What? I'm like, and then little did these fuckers know, right? 10 years later, now everyone's talking about sriracha sauce. And I was like, you fucking assholes.
We should have invested early.
Sriracha. And now there's a shortage or something, apparently.
Yeah. Oh, is there?
I don't know if it might be taken care of now, right? But there was like a chili shortage.
Jesus Christ!
There's
a shortage of everything, man.
Yeah.
It's
like a labor shortage or something.
Yeah.
There's not enough D&D podcasts, so we're showing up. We're gonna fill the fucking hole.
How many of these things do you think are gonna fall off? And like we got into the podcast game like a decade late, and we're getting into D&D after everybody else. But do you think we're gonna have lasting power of any sort? Do you think? Who do you think's gonna flake out first?
I think it really just comes down to if you like doing it, man. Like I remember the moment on YouTube when I remember Minecraft came out. I was playing Minecraft in the alpha because I'm a computer nerd and all my friends are computer nerds. And like I remember Minecraft was like getting into the mainstream, and so many YouTube guys that I knew, they were like, we're starting a gaming channel. We're gonna start playing Minecraft. And I was like, okay. And then now when you look back on it, none of the people who got into Minecraft to be like, oh yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna try and get views and stuff like that, none of them are doing it anymore. And the people who did were the people who were like actually wanted to make a Minecraft thing, and they stuck with it and they became Minecraft YouTubers, right? But like I cannot think of a single person who was like doing something else, doing vlogs or whatever, and then be like, oh, I want to do Minecraft now. Because it's like, if you don't actually like doing it, you're never going to do it. And I think that's true for anything online. Like the people who actually can last doing it are the people who actually like doing the thing, whatever the thing is.
So you're saying that like,
is that why it comes so quick?
Oh my God. I just love it too much, baby.
Yeah. No, I just don't love it at all. So I quit so quick. This fucking sucks. I got such low sex
get this over with. Shit.
I'm just like I'm done.
Our D&D show is the equivalent of like starting a Minecraft Let's Play first time you're playing Minecraft. Like, we don't know if we even like it.
That's a good way to start a Let's Play.
Yeah.
I think you can get away with it. I would say just try and find the thing that you like about it. You just have fun doing it. If you don't have fun doing it, you can tell, right? And
the game doesn't matter. The game doesn't matter. These are all people that like we get on, and we like for the past couple nights we've just been sitting there like doing Mid-Journey prompts
Yeah,
together. Like the game is a backdrop to hang out,
no,
basically.
And like at the end of the day, also what we found with D&D is like it's a structured improv that has dice rolls in it, right? It's like it's like improv. You can, but you're guided. You're guided by a random number generator that occasionally tells you, oh, the thing that you want to do, it actually fails spectacularly, or it works out better than you ever think, right? Like it's just guardrails for improv. And you guys are funny guys. You're funny guys, right?
Do you know any manufacturer of weighted dice? Do you know if anybody makes a weighted D20? You've been in the game long enough. I want it weighted for the low end. I want
For the
ones
right?
and twos a lot. That's when the big laughs come, is when somebody gets a 1, and I want a weighted
but
1
also,
die.
I don't want to like give spoilers to the people that will be listening to D&D 1, but there was a moment in our last recording.
Oh my god!
Where a good 20 though can be the funniest fucking thing. Yeah. And I when it happened, it was for a big like performance check, and I remember like in Dungeons and Daddies, the fucking first like big concert.
Yeah, we had it's like episode 8 on it. We had a huge
where Ron got a 20.
Yeah,
and it was like, this is the greatest time it could possibly happen. Something like that happened. Where I was like, oh my, like miracles happen.
That's
like,
the magic of that is to me the magic of Dungeons and Dragons shows, is that sometimes everything just comes together, and it's like it's one of those things where I think there's a survivorship bias, right? Because it's like what's memorable. Of course, the big memorable rolls are memorable, right? Like no one remembers all the times you rolled an 11. And you're like, I guess it kind of didn't work, right? Like, but the times that does line up is like pure magic, because it does feel like a total. One of the things that I remember reading where someone was like, yeah, like if you think about it, a 1 and a 20, that's 5 and 5%. That's 10%. 10% of your rolls, 1 out of 10 rolls is going to be a 1 or a 20, right? Like just statistically, it doesn't feel like that though. It feels way more rare than that. But that I think is where a lot of that getting those huge rolls or getting those like fails are like. That's why it works so well. It's like it's just so much like anticipation around it. It feels so rare. That's like I think the best moments of our show are examples where it's like everything lines up like that, and you get there just by constantly rolling the dice, and 10% of the time something crazy is going to happen, and it just lines up.
We've had like 3 moments where like we go to, because we're just dumb as shit and we're making the most out of a 10 by 10 room that somehow the DM is trying to make smaller and smaller. He's like, get out of there.
There's the fire. We're like,
we keep like moving across rooms, and we do these like insane performances where it's like, I'm going to crowd surf my way across the room and then do a somersault and land in the chair. And he's like, all right, do a performance roll. And like Pooh will always, for some reason, for just frivolous, dumb shit where it doesn't matter, and he just looks like Johnny Bravo, 20s every time. Brian, solid rolls. Every time it's like, all right, Sam, what do you do? I roll like a 1, and DM's like, you snap your legs on the way over, and everybody stomps at you. And
it's the worst when you get a 20 on a like, what's okay, give me a perception check. You roll a 20. It's like, well, it's a pretty good room. It's like, oh, God damn it. Like, can I roll an investigation? You roll a 20. The DM's like, it's the exact same
There's
thing.
a broom.
You're just,
There's a broom. You see a broom this time.
You've been in one room for fucking 4 episodes. Nothing's changed. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
But then, hitting that performance 20, I was like, I felt euphoric.
It's like magic. That's
a moment that they're not only gonna laugh, but they're also gonna clap, maybe cry a little bit.
Maybe all the emotions at once. I'm looking forward to this. When's this come out? It should be out by the time people hear this, right?
Yeah,
tentatively Friday.
Ooh.
Yeah. By the way, the very beginning, like I told them before we started, I was like, hey, don't. Let's make somebody else go first because I've never fucking played. And then the DM immediately goes, all right, now go. And I'm like,
there's such an awkward start to it. Of
like, what do you mean? He's like, you're standing there. Go do it. I'm like, do what?
Brian being like, can I walk over there? I'm like, like you can do it. Yes, walk over. Like, can I? Pick
wasn't told the rules. I watched one episode of Harmon Craft, and that was it.
Oh, like there was this one where like I was supposed to do a deception thing, and Bizzle was like, you should have just kept doing it because you didn't do a roll. I was like, what? I could just keep forcing my way in? Like, I could just keep rolling deception?
There's a learning curve.
I just,
you have to figure out
like,
the
what?
DM because different DMs are like sticklers on certain shit. Or
He tries to guide us away from stuff, and me and Brian are pretty persistent. We have done multiple times where like,
you guys
poop,
are fucking
cause a
annoying,
distraction because we are picking this lock, and like we will fail it 4 times in a row, and we're like, all right, pass me the fucking things. I got hot dice. All right, come on.
or
we'll get in there. We get in there eventually.
Construct what we think is some great plan. I'll be like, all right, guys, like let's go. And we'll get halfway through it, and I'll be like, oh, I'm bored. I want to go to the bar and get a beer. It leads to really funny moments, but yeah, it's like I can't help but be real life frustrated. Where I'm like, oh fuck, that could have gone so differently than it now has, but it normally ends up being funnier.
Yeah, you just always gotta roll with it. I think that the other thing too is, I think that's what to me that's what the fun of it is. It's like it never goes. It's a collaborative thing, right? It's like it's collaborative storytelling at the end of the day, and that's fun. People like listening to that. I like listening to that. And I like being part of it.
Yeah,
awesome. Because we wrote you a character, and we
Yeah,
expect you to be there for like he's like
when you were
100
gonna fucking-
episode.
I was wondering when you were gonna fucking drop the invite onto the.
Taylor Swift's character. We just actually stole like your characters from your show and put them in as NPCs. Oh my god, it's Ron from Dungeons and
Holy
Minis.
shit, it's there.
It's a crossover episode. He's here.
Has there been any crossover episodes anybody's done?
You guys have had people, right?
Not like we've had like guests who've
like,
come in, but not like here's a character from like
another.
Yeah, like
surprised.
NAD pod or
That's
something.
a good idea.
It is.
That is
I'm
good.
gonna
That would
write
be
that
fun.
down.
Yeah, because we already talked about basically getting
Aqua's
all of-
characters and then
all
beat
the
the shit out of them.
Yeah, and we just run into their group and then we murder them in a
Well,
vicious.
you know what you should do,
vicious
and you didn't hear
fashion.
this from me, but you know what you should do is that if you have Aqua's MP3s, right, just take his voice from his Twitch streams, his videos, and just like put it in a thing,
God, that'd be so
transcribe it, pay to get transcribed, get like the 30 minutes or 40 minutes of audio that you need for.
It's just a postcard. I've seen Mission Impossible 3. You just read a little postcard and you can mimic the whole voice.
Descript is a program that allows you to like generate like a thing. Just generate an AI voice for him. Oh, the problem with that one is that you do need to have him say a very specific phrase at the beginning.
I'm a dumb piece of shit. Whoa.
It's like literally, it's like I hereby like allow my voice to be. So like, just try and get him to say those individual words,
and
right?
then run another
Like
program to make it.
Bowfinger, like you remember
yeah.
Bowfinger, like Bowfinger. You get him to say the words, then create an AI voice profile. Now all of a sudden you got Aqua on your.
Okay,
up his voice a
Stall,
little.
That'd be great.
you fucking everything. Every time Freddie opened his mouth, you just insert this.
Oh, you wait. What was the exact phrase he has to say, Freddie? Wait, no. Damn, we're going 2 different routes here. I think we just got everything we needed from Freddie to use his voice. Way bigger than Aqua.
Really quick, just
way
read
better.
this really quick.
We got Glenn. We got all his characters. We got everything. This is sweet. And then we just beat the shit out of him. Your podcast is better.
Oh no! Stop beating the shit out of me.
I'll allow it. You guys are cool.
That's
Rock.
cool. You guys are the best.
Bizzle is better than Anthony.
Yeah, Viz will definitely be doing the editing, so you'd slip that in there, I think, for sure.
Oh man.
Yeah. I really we've recently in a recent episode we've gotten a character that is voiced by our DM, and I think he's really enjoying being a part of the group.
Oh, that's
we're
fun.
gonna
So we're gonna
No,
kill
dude,
that fucking guy.
that's my
first
favorite.
the next episode.
It's my favorite.
You're not one of
character.
us. You're different than us. You're our jailer, you're not in the jail with us. Yeah.
You're locked in here with me.
He was getting too chummy with us,
No.
joining
Well,
Are you
in.
guys doing?
We
Are you guys
can't because-
doing? You guys doing voices? Like little cool
See, that's what I was
voices?
gonna say. It's
No
the
way.
first time he's doing a voice, so like we
Ooh.
can't. Like he's pretty.
Can't take that from him.
Bizzle is just like, hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Bizzle. I'm doing like so. In the
Bizzle's
voices, most of the NPCs are like, hey, what's up? I'm a little girl. and it was, like I asked them beforehand because I was like, I'm kind of down to do a voice. I know it's gonna be a lot of work, and now basically all of our characters are just us. 6'5" ripped goblin.
Yeah.
And
Fucking
so there's no voices. The closest thing to a voice is this NPC who's like, "Hey y'all," and now I don't want Baby Duke to die.
He's part of our group now.
I've like fully
We've
adopted
also
him.
kind of emptied all of our inventories to just pimp this one little guy out. Like he's got double daggers in his like we are defenseless. Me and Brian have no offensive capabilities at all.
My guy literally, I looked at my stat sheet the other day. It's like, thank God we haven't been in combat. I have -1 strength and I'm hand to hand. I don't do damage. I can't. I literally can't cause
You can't even
damage.
do a massage, dude.
No, and none of my spells, all my spells are like joke trick spells for like bard shit. It's like I want to use I've been nonstop using cantrips to be like, you smell poop in your pants. Like, it looks like you
that every time. Yeah.
It's funny every time. Yeah, it's
This
really
sounds great.
It has not failed yet, honestly. It's made me laugh every time.
It took about 3 episodes for us to get in our stride. It took about 9 hours of listening for really.
Yeah.
So
That sounds great, though. I think you guys are gonna do great.
well, one day we're
you
gonna,
crazy kids, you're
we're
gonna do great.
surpass you, and you're gonna
No, there's gonna
regret
be
this. You're gonna rue this day.
yeah, we're gonna
Die of laughter usurps Dungeons and Daddies.
die of laughter that doesn't have an official URL that sounds like it's even ours. Like I think we have
we
like
should have checked that first.
Dialaughter.weebly.com.
we were going for Star Wars Football was the website.
I need to not buy that before someone. I might have already bought it.
Because it's such a stupid URL.
So fucking good.
Because it's like, on Google domains you can look up anything. It's just Star Wars is funny, and we saw like .football. It's like, what? That is the best fucking. That's the best thing to Google I've ever heard. Like,
Oh my god, that's so good.
it's still there.
That's what cracks me. Like
Die of Laughter is like
it's way
$2,000
better
a
than
year. Saying Star Wars football is like $1 a year. Like,
It's so much more memorable.
it is,
really
right?
is.
Like there's that podcast Cumtown. Their merch site was cum.town, which I thought was a great website, right? I didn't realize there was things other than like .org, .gov. I knew like
football is crazy.
.football. I was like, what the hell? That's not real.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you haven't seen a lot of these really like get anywhere. Like, because there's a lot. It's the extended domains, right? Like, so there's like fucking .accountant and .accountants plural.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's insane endings to them. Yeah, where it's like, I mean, .football. Like, that's about as crazy as I can think, but it works. And now I have to buy it because we just mentioned it, and it's been in my cart.
We'll put it on corporate funds.
Yeah, $30 a year. Put it on the fucking.
By the way,
I should probably buy
speaking
it
of
for
like
2 years.
corporate stuff, Freddie, you're using Shiro to edit stuff, right? And I had him edit a
Shiro,
video.
he's fucking lying. He's just been lying to us. He's been fleecing you.
Yeah, you did have a look on your face like, who the fuck's Shiro? But Shiro's editing a video for me, right? And he's like, yeah, it was fucking like a whole different level. Like, you send him like paperwork and like contracts and stuff. And I was like, I should probably have some of that. Like, we have no.
You don't even have a paper with us. Like,
we have nothing going on paperwork wise. We should probably do that stuff.
You should probably look into that, my man.
Yeah, is that important stuff?
Oh shit, really?
Like paperwork or whatever?
It's one of those things where I forgot who I learned this from, but the point was like, oh, because I was telling someone there, oh, just spin up an LLC. Should I do this? And like the legal advice is basically just like, listen, all laws are fake. All everything that we do as human beings to each other, it's all fake. Like, you can do whatever you want. The only time this ever comes into play is if shit hits the fan. You want that paperwork in place. If shit never hits the fan, you don't need any paperwork. You can do whatever the fuck you want, right? You just hang out and just do your shit.
Well, we're friends forever. We said so.
You guys have like that pendant that you all wear, and that has all the 3 different parts, and you put them together.
I've been so fucking adamant that we get somehow, I don't know,
4-way dice.
A four-way dice that when put together, I guess.
Would it be for like ring finger? Do I have to get rid of my wedding band?
Yeah, I
It
mean,
makes
it's
a
better.
D20 when you put them all together, and then somehow you can spin it when it.
No, don't give
Stop
up the
blank that out.
best
Stop
fucking.
blank that out.
Yeah, no,
You know,
not
also cut it
fucking
from
Freddie.
Freddie.
This guy's got
Cut it out of Freddie's head.
He knows a million creatives out there. He's got all his Patreon income. He's probably already. I can see in the reflection of his glasses. He's like 3D printing it right now. He's figured out the geometry. This guy's making the ring right now.
The CIA
Straight
will
up in
kill
my
you
glasses.
if you make that.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
I need to sign some papers before
yeah,
this.
yeah, Freddie. We got a couple papers. We need
Just
you to.
hacks happening in my glasses right now. Just like, oh my gosh, look at that. He's in the mainframe, dude.
Yeah, hopefully, there's no personal information there. We got a lot of freak shows that listen to this podcast. Probably enhance. Yeah.
Social security number.
Don't worry, they've been very vocal about that. The StreamYard quality is so bad that there is no enhancing that can be done. It's a second layer of defense, people. That's why we don't do OBS anymore.
You guys think we'd just be lazy and enough that we just tank the quality?
OPSEC.
Yeah.
No, we're smart. We're smart and we work hard.
Yep.
But we do.
Yeah.
Also, do you have any advice if you were starting a new Patreon?
Yeah.
How to limit old patrons from canceling the one that's just a podcast for the D&D one?
Why do we take people and just fucking squeeze them for every little
How do we make more money?
dollar? Yeah.
I found that, I will say this, I found that at least with Patreon and also with Kickstarter too, to an extent, it's like, it's about what you get out of it, right? I think I found that for the patrons,
we
for the
have to
patrons,
provide stuff.
yeah,
You guys
for the
have
patrons,
you guys have really good Patreon rewards.
for the stuff that we've like done, we found, especially doing like Video Game High School crowdfunded for 3 seasons, what we found was that like the first like $2 is someone being like, all right, yeah, cool, I'll support you guys. But then every dollar after $2 is like, okay, but what am I getting out of this? Like, can I get like some cool merch? Can I get like a cool extra thing? You know, we do an after show. We do,
Get this out of here.
yeah, it's more work.
Describing
I don't know what to tell you.
effort and stuff. This is
Yeah, I
not
don't know what
good.
to tell you. If you listen,
Use
don't
the
get me
AI to
wrong.
be like, we give 1 week early access to video.
Yeah.
Listen, don't get me
And
wrong.
one
Like,
bonus.
I think when I look around the history of YouTube, I'm like, we definitely put in more work on average than was perhaps strictly necessary.
It's like better though than putting in less work. Like that's
I always think
Not only that, but you have to remember that I told you this last time. Like, all those videos, your entire catalog holds up. It's been a decade. Nobody's going back and watching 2012 Markiplier like that shit.
That's true.
Where they don't put in that much effort per like nobody's watching that shit. Your stuff does have lasting power. Like people still go back and watch like was it Flower Power where like the
Flower
flowers
Warfare.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like the aimbot video and stuff, like all that still holds up.
people still watch Video Game High School all the goddamn time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those wild things that's like, I guess effort does give you that at least, but at the same time, it's always funny because I always look around and I was like, damn, like sometimes you see that, right? You sometimes see someone who's like, they're just
it
like
makes you jealous, yeah. Gives you a little envy. You're like, this guy just sat here and played Minecraft for 15 minutes, didn't edit it, put it up on YouTube, it got 4 million views. It's like, what the fuck is
but you
going
can't
on?
ever plan for that. It just depends on who you are as a person too. Because I remember early days of YouTube, the scams people were trying to run. Ever told these stories where it's like there was this one guy who what he would do was, this was like right when YouTube allowed you to change the thumbnail. And so did I tell you this story? Have I told this story? I don't remember.
No.
So like this was right when you could change your thumbnail. So what he would do was he would go and he would like look at what David Letterman was saying that night, like the Letterman monologue. He would take a screen grab from it, and then he would do his own shitty monologue of whatever the topic was. It'd be like airplanes and blah, 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 air travel and this current event. And he would title it monologue, blah, 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 blah. And Letterman monologues, et cetera, et cetera. And then the thumbnail would be a picture from the David Letterman show. But if you click the video, it was just him in front of his webcam, just like talking about the thing for like a few minutes.
Yeah.
And what was happening was that he was uploading that, but he was on purpose trying to get it taken down, because the moment it got taken down, he would then send a letter through his lawyer to Dick Clark, whatever the production company, saying, hey, you guys fraudulently took down my client's original content, and we and basically being like, hey, we're gonna sue you because you guys are misappropriating, misusing this. Settle with us. And then he would just get settlements because it's some intern who's just going through the search and being like, who's re-uploading Letterman and just tagging things without looking at it. And he would just sit there and just get settlements week after week.
He's the reason why now there's like a little fine print that says this thumbnail has to be relevant in some way to what your video is.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
No,
we're good. Like your green hell thumbnail you did is like enough. Like it's a jungle or whatever.
I think I saw some.
Yeah.
But some of my thumbnails are.
It was a wild west. It was a wild west of shit like that. Just like, but like it was. But what was just again like you remember there was like that weird 2 years where it was all the reply videos. Remember the busty reply videos? That was just someone watching it, just kind of like very very chesty.
None of them spoke English. Was there no like? You could tell it wasn't their first language. Like they were all like Ukrainian or something, and then they just barely learned English, and they were like, "I saw this video today that was," and I'm like. There's no busty chicks that want to do this shit that are already in the U.S. Like, why is it always these Eastern European ladies?
My biggest night, I should just get off my chest now so I'm not afraid when I get my wisdom teeth out. I did something pretty immoral on early YouTube. My mom gave me the shittiest video camera in the world, was like, make YouTube. Like, you would like that. I'm like, okay. I recorded an episode of Wipeout on the TV and just was like, like I just was cracking up. It's the most innocent little kid. I was just like, oh. And then I just uploaded that and I got 0 views and I was like, I quit. Like this is
Do you remember Bumbo?
From me fucking refreshing, and it like I remember watching it and just being like, this is like people love Wipeout. Why is this not? This is hilarious. Like season 1 Wipeout. I'm just like,
you remember that video on like Bumbo's old channel? We found Bumbo's original channel from when he was a kid. He's an old friend of ours. And it's him like it's just his point of view. He's like sitting on the bottom shelf of a Joann's fabric. And he's like, my mom brought me to Joann's fabric. I hate it. He's just like sitting, and he's just, it's like 12 seconds. He's like, sucks. Like, I hate being at Joann's fabric. And he's just like kicking, like you see his like feet kicking the linoleum floor.
That's so good.
Yeah. Dude, I was like, why would you upload that? But when you're like 11.
I'm in this whole world right now where like, I'm so picky about YouTube channels now. Like there's a very specific kind of YouTube channel that I like absolutely love. And it has to be like, under 1,000 view average, like has to have like like a few hundred subscribers, and like the people making those videos is like the purest form of entertainment for me, because it's like it's so like, because clearly like they're not maximizing the algorithm to make sure that so it's like there's a certain like trustworthiness and authenticity to it, where it's like I get this person who's uploading these videos loves doing it clearly, because otherwise they're not getting anything out of it. They're
it's
not
not for you, it's for them.
Yeah, and like I love those channels, and like I will never tell anybody what those channels are, because I'm like I don't want to ruin it. Because the one thing, because you sometimes see it on Reddit where it's like, oh, this guy's like singing songs and he puts it on Reddit. Every time Reddit finds one of these and they post it up, it ruins the channel. Like, right? Like there was that guy who was just singing like nice covers of stuff, and like everyone on Reddit was like, wow, he's only getting so many views. Let's all like subscribe to the thing. First of all, everyone subscribing doesn't last. So there's always like a video like 2 months later where they're like, oh, I guess no one likes my stuff anymore. And you see them bummed out, which always just fucking sucks. And all that attention, all of a sudden now they're just getting copyright strikes and stuff. I hate that. So it's like I have all these like channels I watch where it's like I'm just quietly watching. I'm just like, this is pure internet.
You're watching a little kid that thinks Wipeout's way too funny. This kid loves Wipeout. Jesus Christ.
It should be illegal.
I just DM'd you my guilty pleasure YouTube channel, and I want you to say,
okay, I'm not gonna say anything.
You've said it several times on here.
I have, but I don't. It's the same way where like he gets kind of, sometimes there's people that flood in there from outside sources, and they ridicule him, but he's so genuine. It's not an act. This guy is this way.
This is exactly what you have sent me is exactly what I'm talking about.
This guy is so genuine in his life, and the way his life operates day in and day out is completely different than mine. This guy is just, he's in his own little fucking bubble. He's doing his own thing, and it's like looking at somebody, it's like an alien almost.
Yeah, it's almost like the most pure form of documentary because it's just like you get to be a real like fly on the wall and just witness like it's people watching. It's the ultimate distributed people watching, and it's so much. It's like, and it really kills me because it's one of those weird ones where it's like you can't ever link to these guys. You can't do because you don't want the attention because you know that over and over again when attention shows up in these channels, it just ruins the channel.
It's to the negative. Yeah, it doesn't.
One way you can get around that, by the way, to find these is find what the file naming convention is for like consumer cameras. And then search those like file names. You know, it's like how does like some like flip camera name it?
3057.
Yeah, like you find like, but like sometimes you'll find like especially with GoPro. This is one that I use. I've heard people use before. We use GoPro, the GoPro file format, and you'll find like just because the people who have GoPros, they'll just like they are recording something that they think is cool, and like that in and of itself is fascinating. It's like it's seeing someone do like in the forest like doing like a jump that's like not a jump that you would see like on like a GoPro compilation. But like a jump, and you seem like so excited about landing, and you're just like, this is what the internet's for to me. Like this.
I feel like they got rid of it. We used to be able to sort on Twitch from viewers lowest to highest. I don't know why they would have gotten rid of it. Yeah, it's like some of my favorite Twitch streamers I've ever seen have just been on just chatting, sort lowest to highest, and just rolling through. Like I used to just raid. Like I'd be like, all right, chat, let's find like someone that looks like they're want some viewers, and like there's just been some of the highest effort I've ever seen put into Twitch channels.
I have a so I have a friend who does like live switching and stuff like that for their Twitch stream. Kolok, it's a RPG that they do, and I was like, what are the ones that you think are like interesting? And he gave me this list of Twitch channels, and it's like there's so much fucking effort, and it's like they're not tons of views. And I'm like, this guy had this warehouse that he rigged up, like every object would cut the camera or like do an effect. So he would just like touch things and like just everything was interactive in this space. I was like, this must have taken hundreds of hours to set up, and it's so cool.
Are you talking about Sushi Dragon? Is that the guy?
Dragon is the guy.
You know what's funny is for every one stream you see where it looks like a goddamn Kiss concert and he's got like all this shit going on and he has like 5 streams where he's just sifting through like wires, and he's just like, where is the end? And he's just going through it, and I'm like, I get it. Like those performance ones are cool, but I'll look at the highlights. I'll look at the clips.
I love that stuff.
Watching him sift around with no socks and shoes on through all these wires.
The Sushi Dragon was the most popular one on this list, but he was like, he's like a real connoisseur. He's like this guy. I was like, ooh, that's some good shit. I love it.
Like FobTac is like, it was like this era where I'm like, green screen bits are so funny. They're king. Cut out a little mouth on saying I find this guy at the bottom of Just Chatting, and it's like he's got like 50 different characters where he like cuts out their mouths and eyes and like wears them in a green screen, and he has this whole room green screen. It's like you sub, he does a skateboard trick for you, or he gives you a full, like I rated him, he still does it the other day, and he gave me like a full little concert with all his characters together, and his mouth goes behind all of them. And he does like all these impressions, and now he has a full mall built out of scenes where he's like, what store do you want to go to? And he'll take you to different stores if you ask. And I love his little critter impression. So every time
he sounds and looks like Dana Carvey from when he was young, like Wayne's World era.
He really does. I'm like, let me see little critter.
What are you talking about?
Wow, the Papa Poo. Wow, I've got a great impression. It's exactly how he sounds. And now he does like, he'll do this one bit where he'll go on his little quarter pipe in his backyard and skateboard holding fragile things like his Star Wars fucking
great
Star sign and be like, all right, if you donate, I'll try to do a trick while holding this.
He's giving it his all, man. He's really,
I'm like, why would I possibly have more viewers than this guy? Like, this guy's putting in the fucking, there's some elbow grease.
Honestly, the lesson is that work is not all of it, right? Like that's, if it was just effort, right? There's some people out there who would be the kings of the world, but it's not just effort.
And
there's more to it.
Strange is always not going to appeal to. The strange factor is not going to appeal to everybody.
No, it's true.
Yes,
that's
just
more
like my mom would watch FobTac and be like, what the fuck?
But your mom would
You
love
know,
my
Fontek's
channel.
dad is looking at him out the window and
Mom
like,
would
Jesus
watch
fucking
me and
Christ.
be like, oh.
But you know what actually kind of is the thing that is interesting to me about it was like I feel like it's so soul crushing to be at that level of effort and like not seeing the same kind of reward in terms of return that it like that there's like, I'll put it this way. I remember it's like almost like public access, right? Like I don't know if you guys as when you were younger like watch public access television or like it's something like that where it's like because there's not a sense of how many people are watching, it's like you don't feel bad that not a lot of people are watching. You know what I mean? Like there's a certain like if you didn't know and you did it and you liked it, like and you didn't actually know how many people were having to watch you at any given point, there's almost like this purity of like you're insulated from that, you know. And I think the moment that it's like, well, I have one person in here, it's like it's just like it can be soul crushing, you know.
It makes it even more impressive, when I see these people where it's like you're getting 3
still
viewers
going
for months,
hard, and they're going hard on it.
You are driven for what you want, like that is so impressive to me. But
that is
it's like
yes.
That happens with a lot of streamers. Like you fall out of relevancy a little bit. You stare at that ticker and you see your viewership drop. Like that affects a lot of people. They're like, what am I doing
different?
Take
the color away from the arrows. You get on YouTube or Twitch and it's like red arrow down. I'm like, I want the green pointing up. Like just make it a grayscale down arrow, and I'm not gonna cry when I see it. I just want it gray. I just don't like getting on there and seeing all the red.
Take off your viewer tracker, and a lot of people do that, which I totally get.
And I think that like one of the things is like, I think that for my working theory right now is that every platform, like the people who are successful on that platform are the people who play into whatever weird thing that platform does, right? Like, so it's like the people who are like the best at Instagram and doing well on Instagram, like are the people who are the most Instagram vain, right? Like it's whatever it is, right? Because everything has its own flavor to it, right? TikTok has a certain like performative, like, sort of outwardly sociable kind of affect that's everyone seems to kind of like gravitate towards. And
that's what you get from those. That's your takeaway. These are the socially cool people.
No. I'm saying performatively social in a way that's like, I'm saying like performatively social in a way that's like, my point is there's not a TikTok person whose videos go like, hey, it's always going to be like, hey, check out this. There's a certain. Again, I'm not saying it's true for everything, but the ones who are at the very top hit a certain thing.
It's the theater kids.
The theater kids, right? Yeah.
And also, if you're too theater kiddie, you will get viciously mocked on there. TikTok has some of the meanest comment sections I've ever seen. It's incredible. Like it'll be like the most. Like I watch it, I'm like, this is like a Sarah McLachlan commercial. Like this guy is the sad. Like this guy's really going through it, and then the comments are like, "Up yours, idiot!" I'm like, It's the top comment. I'm like, good God, it's like
warms your heart a little bit because the old internet's out there. Old
internet's out there. It's always out there. Yeah. The other thing too is like when I look at these, it always kind of bums me out sometimes to see there's this like thing where it's like they found that like people that get into news from TikTok, and I was like, hey, I just real quick, if someone's on TikTok and they sound smart, they're not smart. You want to know why? Because the people who are smart aren't on TikTok. The people who are actually smart, actually scientists, actually doing those things,
teach.
Those
who can't even teach TikTok.
It's like. But the problem is that you see it and you're like, oh, this seems like a credible person. They sound smart. And it's like the amount of times I've seen where someone was like, I read this article and I was like, I'm gonna read that article and be like, they're wrong. You read that article wrong.
Like I can't read it. It's not my fault. Yeah, I
like objectively you're incorrect. You took the wrong conclusion from this. But then I was like, wow, I can't believe that you're pointing this out. And it's like the problem is I think that like everything's just no context. So it's just like, well, yeah, this person's smart. But I'm like, I think about I had this sobering realization the other day where I was like, every actually smart person that I know in my life who are like, in politics or science or whatever, the actually smart people, not a single one of them uses social media. None of them. And I was like, oh, then the ones that are
present on social media. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Listen, I'm in that. Listen, we're all in the same boat here. But the point is, it's like, yeah, you see those guys and you're just like, yeah, you're not. Because because each one of these platforms has an incentive now, and that incentive is the dopamine fucking heroin hit you get from going viral and getting people to see your stuff. That's the incentive in and of itself, and that's like that immediately disqualifies anybody who's actually smart.
You ever have like that moment where you see something and you go, this is that breaking point where I'm like, I'm just gonna taper off this social media. I'm gonna
do all the time, all the
like,
fucking time.
I was getting so demoralized. Just like you just get little. There, I think it's a subreddit called like Crazy Fucking Videos, and I just saw too many videos of just people minding their own business, and like guy comes in and just starts beating them with a hammer or something, and I'm like, what? Why is this just like out here? Like this shouldn't be in my feed.
Into that part of the internet a lot already. Like
no, you go there when you're braced for impact. I don't want to just be sitting there like, hey, let's check Reddit really quick. Oh God, there's like
you're sub to that. Yeah, you can just unsub to that Reddit.
Well, I did. I unfollowed it. Same thing with
Twitter's almost like unusable for me at this point. I use it. I literally just use it to occasionally
it's bad.
Yeah, it's terrible because again, it's the amount of people who are like, hey, I'm a smart person, and here's a thread on this, and it's like 90% of the time you see it, and you're like, you're a clown. You're a clown. The fact that you're sitting here on Twitter and you're hunting for fucking likes on your shit means that I don't trust anything you say immediately.
You know what the worst one is? I mean, for good, like it's kind of like, oh no shit, but like, have you ever been present on LinkedIn?
Oh my God,
it's
LinkedIn
like the most phony fucking like. It's like
it's just for
it's
networking.
like I know you,
yeah,
bitch. I have class with you. I know you don't care about this cause. You're just like it looks good for a recruiter.
My favorite statistic was because Twitter sometimes feels like, oh, it's the whole world. Tweet, everyone's trending on Twitter. Twitter has less users than fucking Pinterest. And nobody's just around being like, what's going on Pinterest? What's everyone think on Pinterest?
It also like doesn't have like it's growing slower than every other social media platform, and it has like less users. Like every other social media platform is new members. Like,
dude, I think Instagram's on its way out entirely.
Instagram still has more new users.
It's got to have it come up, and soon they're like trying to be like TikTok now, and they have this new update. Like you see the person you follow, and then they have like now like a built-in explore page on your main feed where it's like, now here's 10 dog pages you might like. It's like,
they're trying,
I just want to see my friends' photos.
All just trying to get your attention on the app as much as possible. And I one of the things I'm actually very thankful for is because like, you know, we did this YouTube thing and like we got pretty far along on this. And then now I just feel I feel like I've seen the top of the mountain, and I'm like, I don't like literally. I remember I was like, I'm just like posting like pictures of my pottery on Instagram, and then like I posted like 2 in a row, and someone's like, "Oh yeah, you shouldn't do 2 right away because they." I'm like, I literally don't care.
God, that's so
amazing.
gross.
It's the most incredible feeling in the world to be like, whatever. I'm just gonna post whatever the fuck I want. I don't care that it's not the right, optimized. You're not doing the right hashtag.
Okay, first of all, algorithm for Instagram is like, that's pathetic if you're trying to farm that. That's just like, that's so low down the, like, I could see it because you make money on YouTube or like other
on Instagram.
Is there like
pictures?
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
you can make
okay.
You can make money on it.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. I love Instagram.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
I didn't know I could farm that for money.
Yeah,
it's like
I didn't realize that was a thing.
My Twitter, I feel like, used to just be the most like, just like dumb brain fart thoughts and jokes, and then like when it got more followers, and then like some people I genuinely like respected followed me on Twitter, I'm like, oh fuck, like it just like put a pressure on me of like, I don't know if I can make this dumb fart shit joke anymore. And then like last week I'm like, I just realized I hadn't even been using it. I'm like, what does it matter? Like it's still just for me, for my jokes. So then I put on some like, oh Lois, I'm gonna fucking come, like Family Guy clip, no context, just throw it on there. And now like I'm getting to the point I'm about to do fucking scorched earth. I think I'm gonna shit post on LinkedIn, which I've never seen. Like I think I'm just like, I have all my from my old like corporate
we need
job,
to make
all these really like high up in the company people. I just want to post like a picture of me like, fuck you. But then if I ever
we need to make a LinkedIn.
Like, sorry, what's
We
going
make a LinkedIn for the D&D thing, and then you can say you're working there.
Oh yeah.
That's your official job.
Well, now that I wonder, like,
and our only official social media for the D&D thing will be LinkedIn. Does Dungeons and Daddies have a LinkedIn?
We don't. That's where you can scoop us, bro.
That's where we can prevail. That's where we can be the
we're
biggest
gonna get
D&D.
the corporate crowd.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, have expendable income because they're on LinkedIn. They have jobs. Yeah.
The CEO of a couple Fortune 500 companies watching it. Yeah.
This is the CEO tier. It's like $1,000 a month or something.
Yeah. you get
How many CEOs do you know? I mean, if we can fill up the Patreon with nothing but
Me?
CEOs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking to me? How many CEOs?
Me and Brian have like Brian, you
I know
one CEO.
Sam,
I know
you
one
his,
large
his CEO's like dead.
Could I
or
ask him
something
for a
now,
favor?
so can't really.
You gotta sell them on, like actually, you guys should do this. You guys should just
I'm
lie
down.
about what the podcast is. Be like, hey, we want you to pull you on and talk about like business strategy and like optimization and like organizational structures, 'cause we really think, and get like a full on corporate ass CEO to come on to promote his like fucking like
That'd be
lifestyle, like 8 hours a day. Here's what you do. You drink green tea and you eat watermelon, and then you optimize your life with these time, and bring them on and just turn it into a D&D podcast and just like let them flail.
That's have you seen people that are like send people talk about like whenever you have a wedding or something, like send a shit ton of invites to as many like really rich important people as you can find out of hopes of their secretary just being like, oh, send them like a fucking card or something, like a gift.
I've heard about this.
And it's like we need to start doing that for the podcast. Just we get a new profile picture where it's like I don't know, a big money sign or something. Some professional, like
a briefcase or something.
A briefcase with a money sign on it.
Yeah, like completely, like no joke. If you can ambush people to be like, hey, promote your book on our business podcast. We talk about social media optimization. We talk about SEO and strategies, and like if you can get that and have the person come on and just like hang up on you,
that'd be great. Or if we can string them along for like 30 minutes before they hang up on us.
How long do you think we could string along Dr. Garrett Ryan?
Yeah,
Tolden Stone guy.
2 hours.
Yeah, we could probably invite him to a D&D thing, and then just like we're just role playing as if it's olden times, and like would he catch on? Yeah. Once we start rolling dice, he might be like, okay, what the fuck's going on here? What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, just roll for. Could you just roll for deception?
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
We're talking about Pompeii again. What the hell? Yeah. He was,
roll for insight. Okay, so you're not on to us. Good. So this ruse is still going strong. All right, great.
Fuck, that's good.
I've seen some people that they'll play like Elden Ring, but with a D20 and use it to make all their major choices. I think that's so funny. Or like play certain video games and be like, all right, I'm going to roll insight. And the example he used was, it was like one of those blood stains right next to the edge of a cliff with a little note that said like, try jumping. He's like, I'm going to roll insight. And he got like a 4 and he's like, fuck. So he jumps and dies. And it's like, oh, that's funny. That's like a novel little idea.
We did like kind of a similar thing when we were playing Tarkov with the Magic 8 Ball.
Similar idea.
Yeah. We're like, should we go in there? Don't count on it. And we'd be like, fuck, we know there's good. I can see good shit right there. And we'd turn around and go a different way. Yeah.
We should play D&D with all of us have Magic 8 Balls instead of D20s.
Oh, hell yeah. We keep bringing in
good.
We keep bringing in modern shit into the world. Last episode I got a pair of wingtip shoes, like Jazzman shoes. And I'm like, this is just my character's shoes now. I haven't put them on yet. I don't want them to get scuffed up, So they're just sitting in the backpack waiting for.
Trying to get the full yellow suit from the mask, the full suit, but the DM's like, yeah, that doesn't exist here. I'm like, well, then fucking pull some strings, man. Like, you made this world. Put it in the goddamn.
This is bullshit.
And we keep like, I know, like, I've heard in yours too, like you guys will reference, like your characters will make a reference to modern day, and then you're just like, yeah.
We will reference some of the dumbest, like weirdest shit. Like I think the movie Dante's Peak shows up like multiple times.
Dude.
You know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
Listen, Matt has referenced Army of Two like multiple times. Someone's right. I fucking love that game. Like, every time I hear, I'm like, Army of Two.
No, we've referenced Army of Two so much more than it should be referenced in terms of its cultural impact. Yeah,
being referenced once, it's like hearing someone say like Two Worlds. I'm like, oh my, like let's fucking go. Like this rocks.
I'm trying to think, like Dante's Peak, isn't that with the like 007 guy, James Bond? Was it?
Pierce Brosnan, who's aging like Brosnan, fucking fine wine. Have you seen
Dude, he
pictures
looks-
of Pierce Brosnan? Dude, he just gets hotter the older
He
he
looks
gets.
really good in the Black Adam trailer.
Oh, man.
What does he look like?
Yeah.
He
Dude,
looks
just
like
look at
a
Pierce
fucking
Brosnan now. He looks like a fucking debonair
fox.
silver fox. Is
Yeah.
what he is, man.
His
Like-
beard is like I'm like, what the fuck?
If
Oh,
the
damn.
most interesting man from Dos Equis or whatever was like right next to him, he would make him look like a fucking homeless person because like
Yeah.
he's like so
Dos
refined.
Equis.
Isn't that what that shit's called?
Yeah,
Dos
Dos
Equis?
Equis, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flawless pronunciation there.
Yeah, I'm not like
If the
wherever that's from.
most interesting man in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember everybody was like, wow, he's like a handsome guy and he's so suave and everything. And then I was coincidentally looking at Pierce Brosnan recently. Isn't that his name Pierce Brosnan? Oh, what's his name?
Pierce Brosnan, yeah.
Pierce Brosnan. That's
I'm
such
having
a
you
fucking
second guess
weird
every-
name that, I probably shouldn't have smoked.
You're high and you're
shouldn't have did
scaring
that.
the guest.
Yeah.
You're freaking everyone out.
Fuck.
Yeah, man.
Everybody knows.
We all know you're high.
We all saw it. We all saw
Oh,
you.
hey,
put
the
evidence
thing
in
I
your mouth.
forgot last episode when I described that whole stupid fucking panic attack that happened,
Oh,
which,
yeah.
by the way, Freddie, I took too much of an edible and had a horrible panic attack.
Oh,
At a
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, at a Chick-fil-A, my face like just turned white because I was like freaking out. My wife was like, "What the hell's going on?" I lied to her and I was like, "My tummy's upset," and so we went home. But I forgot we didn't just go home. We still had to get dinner. We sat through the drive-through, and when you're halfway through the drive-through, especially at a Chick-fil-A, you're just bumper to bumper, and I'm like, we can't like leave at any given moment.
no.
And it felt like the inside of that car was just like a fucking weird glass bubble, and the kids were screaming and crying in the back. I was like, ah! I was like, let me out of here. I wanted to just get out and pace the parking lot, but
All the
I knew that.
Chick-fil-A employees look like they're like 12 years old, and they're like,
they
"Oh,
swarm your car. They have the shit on their like
Yeah.
hip, and they're like,
Yeah,
what do
they
you
got the
want?
hip holster with the iPads.
Yeah, they've
you
got
know,
all their
like, we're gonna take your
gadgets.
order now.
their
Yeah.
gizmos."
I don't trust Chick-fil-A. I don't
Yeah.
trust them.
My
Yeah.
Too many
pleasure.
sauces. Too many
My
sauces.
pleasure. My
Too many
pleasure.
sauces. That's always a bad sign. Too many sauces, right? Because it's like, what are you saying about your chicken that you need this many sauces? This much choice.
And all their sauces, there's really not much variation between
No,
them.
and
They're
also-
all
They have
Also-
two that are the same.
And also, real quick, Chick-fil-A's fucking waffle fries are dog shit. Like the most
like 'em.
cardboard ass French fries in the history of
out.
man.
all right.
Terrible.
Let me tell you something.
They're
When
You
they're
want waffle
good,
fries? Carl's Jr. Hardee's Carl's Jr. Better
when
waffle
they're
fries.
good, they're good. But when they're bad, dude, you get a bad batch. It's like, what the fuck? Like, I got nothing but the ass end of a potato, like 8 of them. The
This is
skin's
a
all on
goddamn
it.
Rind. Yeah, it's got a
Yeah.
little fucking that little potato asshole on it.
Yeah.
What the hell is this?
It's like, fuck off,
Yeah.
dude. And half the time, I feel like more often than any other restaurant I've been to, they like forget to salt their fries. That's
Oh,
like
this
your.
stuff has no. It's bland. It's bland.
Yeah.
It's just naturally bland. It's terrible.
They have
Shit,
like
bro.
it's like
Maybe the quality
they
control's gone down. I
revealed
haven't
to
had
me
it in
the
10 years,
secret
so.
of Chick-fil-A sauce once because they're like, yeah, we're out of Chick-fil-A sauce. I'm like, oh man. They're like, yeah, well, you can just get the roasted like honey barbecue. It's the same thing. And I'm like, well, it's not the same thing. And they're
Yeah,
like,
it is.
they're like, okay, just get it. They're like, here you go. And I'm like, this is fucking Chick-fil-A sauce. It's exactly
Yeah.
what it is. It's just a different name for like more pretentious people or something. Like, that tastes good
It
though.
has like one
Yeah.
ingredient extra or something.
Yeah, it's got like a little.
It's got
kiss
1
on it or
milliliter of
something.
water in it.
Little
Chick-fil-A
kiss.
sauce has a little corporate love in it. That's,
Which, by the way, it's okay for like me, Brian, and Poop to shit on Chick-fil-A, but that's white people food, and you can't. I saw the
Culture.
disdain in your voice, and I was like, "Do you have a right to fucking criticize our potato asses and 8 of the same sauce with that much malice in your voice?" It's
fried
just not
chicken
right.
and sweet tea. That's
Polynesian
white
sauce.
people food.
That's white people shit.
I get the Polynesian sauce. They just take one look at me.
No.
Chick-fil-A's the kind of place if they had an Asian sauce, it would be in the chopsticks font. I'm just saying. It's just,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah, it would.
Yeah, no, it really.
Yeah.
it's
You ever got like a
pretty
spicy
shocking.
Szechuan sauce? I'd take one look at that pack, be like, fucking chopsticks font.
It would be about
No.
as spicy as ketchup. It would have no
Yeah.
fucking tang to
Ah,
it. dude.
yeah, yeah.
What are you trying to kill your customers? One drop of sriracha at Chick-fil-A, people will be like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, you get the health department called on them.
Dude,
empty out the
Yeah, their
restaurant.
spicy chicken sandwich, they made a huge to-do about it. It comes out, and I'm like,
It's like black pepper level of
Yeah.
spicy.
yeah.
It's just like 2 cranks of black.
But they like spray paint it red, like the patty's like
Yeah.
red.
It is,
I'm like,
yeah.
what's on it?
I don't like
'Cause
I
it
don't
ain't
like when a
spicy.
spicy chicken sandwich, the chicken itself is the spicy part and it's like red. That grosses me out. But like a good spicy sauce on it, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't like a red chicken meat. It's like, what the hell did you do here? Like, what kind of mad science did you do to make it like this? And the spicy thing, like, you know, it's like I always thought that was like white people's stereotype. It's like, oh, this pepper is spicy. I ran into that very recently of a woman being like, damn, like it sneaks up on you. It's got some kick. I'm like, there's like literally salt and pepper on it. I'm like, what part of this is spicy? Like, it was like Honey Nut Cheerios or so. It was like the most bland. It was like, damn, it sneaks up on you. I'm like,
feeling
Can
your
I-
sinuses.
I have a confession. Can I tell you guys something?
you are exactly like that, aren't you?
Okay, so Omid, right? I always like when I do a stream, I like to promote my friends' streams.
So
And
generous.
Omid did this. Well, I don't stream too often, so
Once a year.
Omid has like this. It's like the world's hottest chip.
It's a
It's just
Pocky
Oh,
One chip
yeah,
challenge
yeah.
or whatever.
Challenge, yeah.
Is that what it's called? Yeah. I don't know where mine went, but I took one and I was like, hey, I saw him eat it and he was having a hard time. He like ate it and then he was like playing Tarkov. He was sitting there sweating and like, ah. And I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? To promote his thing, I was gonna talk about how he ate it, and I was like, I'm gonna one up you. I did like a big mail time stream, and I was like, I'll eat this Pocky or whatever. But what I did beforehand, because I knew I'm not able to handle spicy stuff, I took a X-Acto knife and I cut open the packaging and I
You
peeled it
actually
open.
did it?
Yeah, I did.
You
it.
did this.
And-
I remember you talking about it. But
yeah, and I pulled the chip out, and then I took soap and water, and I scrubbed the inside of the little package, and then I took a regular corn chip. My wife works for me now, so I was like, "Here's your to-do thing. Here's a picture of the chip. You go to the grocery store and find a corn chip that's the same dimensions, which isn't possible,
way.
but because the dimensions it's way too wide. So I got her to get like some really big ones, and then I broke them in a way that the
Oh my
pieces, if
God.
assembled, would be the same shape.
Oh my
Did
god.
you do what we
And-
talked? Did you make multiple of them and we're like, this is
Yeah.
actually pretty good, and pop another?
No, I didn't because it was so
damn it.
labor intensive. I had to take
Yeah.
brown sugar
It's like a surgery.
and syrup and heat it up and then dip the chip in it to give it the same crust on it that the
God,
Pocky
this-
has, right?
Oh my god.
So visually it looks the same. I put it back in the thing and I hot glue or not hot glue. I did a like crazy glue. I got my goddamn fingers together,
For
of
me,
course.
it's about the fact that you soap and watered the packaging.
that's
Yeah,
like
he
you
didn't
weren't
even
taking
want like a
any
particle in his
risks.
mouth.
No, no
Yeah,
risk at all. And so then, and because I thought it'd be hilarious if I go to, if I go to like, hey, Omid, I'm gonna one up you, and I eat it, and I'm like, no effect whatsoever. The fucking packaging still had a little bit.
Oh my god.
A crumb,
No.
and it was on this
Soap. The
sugar
soap was too
covered.
spicy.
Yeah, and I was like, it's still hot. Like it was, my eyes were burning, and it was like
God.
I was choking up, and I was like, what the hell is on that shit? Like
Yeah.
if even like essence of it on foil.
I love that.
It's like
After all
burning
this
my
effort,
mouth.
You still fucking got owned.
I got owned. I even
fucking funny.
admitted to it on stream. I was like, that was pathetic because I surgically removed it and cleaned it, and it still got me.
That's
The
I would have
essence of
taken
it.
that
It's
to my
worse for
fucking
you,
grave
'cause you
probably.
like-
So
Yeah.
I have no
good.
shame. That was even
Dude.
funnier than me
Oh.
not being affected
You
by it at
know,
all.
you know it'll work the exact same. Just
so
like
funny.
when you hold the package, hold a little chip to the back of it. And just, like,
Yeah, I
open
just
up,
feel
grab
like the
the
Yeah.
fucking magic
Yeah.
trick, dude. Just straight
You
up,
didn't have
just
to-
like,
you-
whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought the science behind it because I
man.
even opened it like I wanted there to be no doubt. I opened it sideways and they saw me pull it out. There was no doubt.
You were like, no, really, guys, look, really. And then you ate it, and we're like, Jesus Christ.
Someone watching it, they're just like, yeah, so he
Yeah.
just did the challenge.
just did
So
the
the
challenge.
joke was completely.
I fully
completely
explained
bogus.
why it was pathetic that I was
Oh,
crying.
that's
I was
so
like,
good.
this is way worse than you think it is.
Dude,
Yeah.
I
You don't
can't
even
imagine if you
understand.
had actually eaten the chip.
Oh
Then
my
what would have
God.
I
happened?
have
to your body?
two of them sitting in my closet, and it's like, dude, that's
Eat it.
scary. Just knowing that
Eat
that's in my house. Like
Throw that shit
I'm
out.
terrified.
Man.
Family's in danger. Yeah, this year.
yeah.
Dude, how much to eat it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much would you have to be paid?
One.
I might actually eat
Freddie,
just like
Brian,
a
and
legit
I
one.
can all pull together equally.
I'll eat one when we do our like D&D stream.
If I
to
show
like
up on your
do it.
D&D show, you got to eat one.
I'm gonna eat. I'll eat one tomorrow when we do the stream. Is what I was gonna say.
No,
But yeah, I would
there's
much rather
no
wait
way.
until Freddie decides to.
Well,
Right, too, with
I know he's
chips.
got plenty of free time because right before we started this, he's like, "Hold on, I'm hitting render on a feature-length film I've been working on," and I'm like, "This guy is way more important of a guest than we usually get." Which, by the way, I've always wondered, like, when. Okay, so if I make a video that's 30 minutes long.
Okay.
My computer starts getting pissed off with that file. Like, do they literally render a full-length feature film just as one project?
Using Premiere. Premiere fucking sucks right now for that. But yes,
Okay.
generally. But like also like people, if you're using Avid, which is like the sort of industry standard, like Avid has no problem with long video files.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's a better written program. And also
So like Avatar, they just were like, "That's the movie, render," and then they just
they
rendered it
will-
on.
so they'll sometimes do what's called, they'll sometimes divide it into reels, which is like, obviously it's anachronistic now, but like essentially they'll divide the movie into like 15-minute chunks. So that way they'll be like, cool, reel 1 is done. We don't have to worry about it anymore. We can render that. So things can be worked on at different sort of times in different places. But like, no, generally just it's the full movie. A lot of people are using like DaVinci Resolve now, which also handles feature-length stuff
And
better.
it's free.
It's free. Yeah.
Yeah.
Free.
I have it, and I was like, "Wow, that looks great." And I've just color graded one piece of footage, made it look worse than it originally looked, and then I never used it again.
Mission accomplished. You dust
I
your
was like,
hands off.
this shit
My
looks
work
like-
here is done.
It looks like the Matrix, and it wasn't supposed to. It's got a lot of green in it, and I'm never gonna touch it
Oh,
again.
they've given it a style. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, when you fuck up color grading, it's an aesthetic now. That's the
Yeah.
tone of the movie.
This
Yeah.
now takes place in Mexico. Yeah, completely orange. Oh my god, is this Tucson? Yeah. They
Do you
did.
ever look at old stuff you've done and go like, "That was kind of hacky"? Like, did you ever
Not
do
even
like?
that. Dude, there's so much hacky shit that we not even that. So like in video game high school, when it was on Netflix, there is one shot during one of the car sequences that like we had like slid the clip over to the right and like, you know, zoomed in a little bit to like kind of like reframe it, but we didn't do it right. So there's just like a big black bar, just like 30% of the left side of the frame is just the clip is moved over. And I was like, we were going through like some of our, you know, like just like archiving stuff, and we're like, oh shit, that shot's off. Oh my god, is this shot? And we pulled it up on Netflix, and yes, it was like on Netflix. There's one shot that was just like 1/3 of this shot is just they did not put the place in the right place. I was like, oh my god, this is, how did this get through the quality control? Like, this is so clearly a mistake. Not as good though as, and this is a true fact. If you go find the feature film Black Hat by Michael Mann, there's a section in this movie that is like, it's it's close to the beginning where like a Chinese nuclear plant gets hacked, and they are doing this helicopter shot of this like nuclear plant. And it is straight up. It has the Pond 5 fucking watermark on it still. Like, it's like, how did this get through, guys?
It really is insane when you see like weird, like that's just like egregious. But when you see like continuity errors and major things, you're like, how the hell does that get through? But like a
when Game of Thrones
watermark
had like a fucking Starbucks coffee mug.
Yeah, or like-
But like, I
Yeah.
get the Starbucks one because like that one is like people fucking need like have water and shit and drinks on set all the time. Like, I get it. People just, someone set it down, they forgot to clear it. Like,
and that's
they have
like,
shit happens all the time.
that is like not the focus of the shot. Like I was watching Malcolm in the Middle the other day, and like there's just a shot where the person speaking who you're going to be looking at, like he's in the backseat of a car and he's like, Reese, what's going on? And then it cuts to the front seat, like you see the parents, and he's in the back just looking out the window with his mouth shut, and he's still talking.
Well, so some of those,
like 4 seconds.
so some of those are because they were originally square format, and then when they moved them, they expanded. There's like one really specific example in like in Seinfeld. There was like one where it's like they're looking down at like a pothole or something, and like the square format you see it, but then because they widened it out, you literally don't see what they're looking at anymore.
Wait, so it was originally filmed wider and then they crop?
They usually film it like wider, and then they're like, yes, because like the film will be like 16:9, and then they'll crop it to TV, which is 4:3.
Okay.
Can I show you the most egregious example of this, like of all time, like my favorite one, which was in the Netflix show The Get Down, which was directed by Baz Luhrmann.
Down.
there's a sequence here. Like, I'm just gonna. Can I share my screen with you guys real quick? And I don't know if you can you play it. I won't play the audio if that's fine.
I don't know how.
This is the get down.
Okay.
I'm just gonna kill the audio. So this is like a scene. This guy's like, coming in, checking this. I couldn't believe this when I saw this. It's like, all right, okay, they're hanging out.
Wait, oh, fucking crew.
Above the head of the guy shaking hands. That's just the crew.
Yeah.
Like literally. That's
not
just
even in
that's
what
like
period was this movie supposed to happen too? Those
this
guys
is
are
supposed to
just
be the age, and it's also like so egregious because like they're literally walking towards them.
Yeah.
Like I was like, that's just them. They're just hanging out.
I just don't get how.
And then there was another show. Hold on. And then what was the one that was bad? Was it Unfortunate Events?
series of unfortunate events.
Lemonade.
They did it as a TV show, right?
Yeah.
I just have to this one was one where I was beside myself. Where hold on, but it's hilarious when you see these because just like how the fuck did this?
How does it get past more than one person? They're like, yeah.
This one's incredible, and this one I get because this one is not as visible, but let me just share.
I think you have to share it again, and
Yeah.
then I can drag it in there.
Like I feel like you too is like a filmmaker who notice things a lot quicker, but it's like that last one.
Right.
My grandma would be
you would see because your eyes are right there. Okay, so this is the first episode they're talking about. This one is hilarious, and there's a quick one, so it's not in the center of the screen, so I get why they left this one in. So it's like, all right, look at the audience real quick. It's just here's the camera guy. There's the camera guy just sitting there getting the shot.
I wonder how often this exact same shot has been done, and then they just put a wig on top of the camera. Like that would totally cover it.
You've seen the really, 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 really good one of the Matrix.
I was just going to say that the door handle.
Matrix door handle is one of the best shots.
How does that happen? And then fucking we get to here where it's like it's the biggest fucking camera in the world right there in the audience.
Yeah, I love that stuff. But the one in the Get Down, which I love that show, but it was one where it's not even in the corner. It's literally your eyes are just on this guy as he walks up, and there's just a bunch of guys sitting there pulling focus. Ooh, those are.
You might as well have been like, oh, camera crew.
Yeah.
And then I watch stuff like that club scene from Scarface where there's 58 fucking mirrors that are right in line with the camera, and I'm like, how did they not get seen?
Yeah.
What kind of tomfoolery did they do to not get a reflection of them? Even people have broken it down frame by frame. You can't see them anywhere in that scene. And then there's
I'm literally pulling up.
hi mom, waving middle of the scene.
Okay, I have to just. So I just keep talking. I have to find this shot in Black Hat because it's so insane.
I was just looking at Black Hat and I haven't been able to see it. The Pond 5 thing. What's with the how much of high-end movies would you because Michael Mann, made Heat, right? And he's a big deal. How much of modern movies do they actually source footage from things like Pond 5?
Almost every movie, if you sit around and wait to the credits, almost every movie has some stock footage in it. Really? It's and oftentimes okay, oh my god, okay, are you ready? Are you fucking ready for this? Okay, I just found it.
Oh my god, wait, Ryan was in a green screen?
I had a piece
he's
so
not
bad.
in a
Dude,
AI generated tavern.
A tavern
is gonna explode.
Yeah, you gotta be good. Will pop.
I started. My bladder ran out, so then it started going to my urethra. So I got a boner. I was just I think
pee boner. Those are the worst.
Yeah, the classic.
Okay, here we go.
Don't get this.
All right, you getting this? So here's Black Hat. I just rented it, and so this is montage.
You just rented it for this bit.
I just rented it for this bit. You ready? Are you ready?
Dedication.
Oh my god!
It just says it. I thought you meant there would be a logo somewhere. It's just
stock footage.
Oh my god!
I love that.
Not one person paid attention when they were.
It's there for a good while too. It's not even a flash.
Dude, and it's got, and it's it's such a weird. I guess they might have thought that it was part of this is the BBC, or whatever. But that you can't. That shot just says stock footage on it, bro.
They wouldn't use stock footage for a live event. What the hell's going
It
on?
looks like a CG render, so I think it was just like some helicopter shot. Maybe I don't know why. I don't know. I was like, this feels like such a mistake to me, and it's just bizarre.
Are those like nuclear silos? Are they like
those are CG?
CGI? Yeah, they don't look very real to me.
But the background,
those towers to the
but
left
like, here's
are
an
as
example.
well.
So here's an example where like what I assume is like the background plate here is probably all. Like it is probably like a Pond 5 clip or something, right? That they added some handheld. That's like so it's like stuff like that, where it's like also like almost every movie that's like that nobody's doing helicopter shots of LA or whatever. So it's like any movie that has like the the flyover of a city. Those are probably stock footage.
Damn.
Huh.
Or now it's gonna be AI art backgrounds, but you can like can't really focus on anything. Like Brian's Tavern, like that's in a tavern. I think
like I recognize.
my brain recognizes
like
it's
a
a
tavern
tavern,
in a
but my
dream.
eyes don't see any discernible feature. Some of the ones on that, what is it called, Midjourney, that were like shockingly. If you look at the explore page of what other people are like the most popular ones, it's like that looks like a real person in a fucking tower, like picture perfect. Like
some of mine are just ridiculous.
so it's
No,
like
I was
a
telling
fantasy
Brian-
castle in perfect quality. Like what is happening here?
I was telling Brian, I was like, you have like a weird neural link to this AI thing because you're able to just like boop, get like perfect results every time. I have to sift through it and like change my keywords. But like last night, what inspired the Freddie Wong eating a roach is Pooh was just like Joe Biden eating a roach and just got like
that was
it
a
was
good
like a
one.
photo of Joe Biden eating a roach. Like it was the most insanely
Joe Biden eating a
realistic.
roach with dead eyes.
It inspired me, Pooh.
His eyes are fucking milky.
Yeah.
I did fucking what's his name? Steve Harvey with a stomach ache or a tummy ache. And it's like the funniest looking fucking
the ones
thing.
that Joe Biden like eating a joint and eating cockroaches are so good. And then I have Trump eating dog food, and it looks like a little monster. Like,
Wait, yo, Sam,
I love that
show
shit.
those fucking pictures, dude. It's
Which
like
ones? You
show
sent
the
us?
roach one.
It's in
Or
Sacred
the meat
Grounds.
one.
It's,
No, the one with the dead eyes.
Oh my god.
Wait,
it's like
This is Steve Harvey with
oh
with a
god.
tummy ache.
with a tummy. His little tum tums upset. Yeah. Here you go.
Dude,
Oh, his eyes look so disturbing.
It's like watery. It's
Yeah.
like, it's so good.
Jesus.
I love
That's
that
that's
fucking picture.
agony. That's agony right there.
Yeah.
Wait, dude, Sam.
It's like an Elvis
I feel like you might
Final.
appreciate these. Show these. It's
This turned
genuinely.
into a mid journey.
Genuinely
These are good. Yeah.
insane.
That one's
I
good.
just did Morbius 4 poster because someone requested it, and they're like actually fucking good posters
Yeah, they're
almost.
tight.
On
Yo,
the other
Yeah.
ones are like more movie. Oh wait, hold on. This one also show this one after. This is maybe my favorite one. It just looks like a horror movie poster so perfectly.
Oh, the one with the eye.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's do the.
Where's the
Dude, hey, if there was a more convenient way, you would be so annoyed right now. We have been getting some insane scores on Midjourney. I have a whole goddamn catalog of designs.
wow.
Yeah,
Some
they're
of them are
pretty
crazy.
tight.
do the
The eye, yeah, here's the eye
Joe
one.
Biden
This is the
eating a
horror
roach.
movie one. Wait, this guy makes movies. Don't look at that. Don't.
That's a Saw poster, though, isn't it?
Is it?
what?
Oh, is that what that is?
There's a Saw poster that's like that. I swear to
Let's
God.
see.
I have no idea. I mean, it just looks like horror movie poster. Maybe they literally just.
I feel like hold on.
Where's the goddamn one of Joe Biden eating meat? Or,
Yeah, where's the meat?
cockroach?
The meat picture.
Oh wait, hold on. Let's see if I can find it. I think I have it somewhere.
Yeah.
you save it?
What do you feel like? Are you gonna incorporate AI generated anything into anything you're working on?
I'm doing some weird stuff. It's interesting. Like I think one of the things that I'm trying, this is bizarre, and I'm keeping this. This is gonna be this is just between us here, real quick, and your listening audience. But I want to do.
Oh,
I want to do this. I've been generating AI images of like ceramics because I'm getting really into pottery.
Oh, dude, I want to get into pottery.
So like so what's interesting about it is that it's like it becomes this challenge because this image thing is throwing you an end result without regard to if it's possible or how difficult it is to achieve it. So it's like a really, to me at least, a really interesting exercise to reverse engineer how to do it. So I've been like generating like weird AI pottery and then trying to make them in real life. And then my goal is to start a bizarre like Etsy shop where it's like 21st century ceramics with a human touch. So the idea is that all the computers and machines have taken over and they've created like, oh yeah, we still make hand built ceramics because this is like what the machine's idea of what a beautiful like what a beautiful thing is. So I want to make these and then sell them, but only sell them. Like I only take conductive metals because it's a AI shop that's selling them. So it's like I will only like no cash, no crypto, no credit card. I will only take payment for these objects in like gold or silver. And all I need is just one guy to fall for it.
That'd be sweet.
I can't wait until they have like, they have AIs for images like music. Like, make me a little sea junkie or whatever.
That's one of the funniest things so far is that like, I think the image stuff is incredible and you can see where it's going. I think every single time I've seen a thing where it's like, check out this waltz that this computer made, you're like, this is dog shit. Like it sounds like dog shit. It sounds like I just went to a computer and just went to a keyboard like, it's like, this is not good. Not even close, guys.
But eventually I'll be able to just
what's crazy? Have you seen the thing? Have you seen the thing where someone was like, they were AI generating images of a voice, a spectral image of a voice saying like a phrase,
like a
and
waveform.
Then they would take that waveform with the a spectral, like it has like it shows you the frequencies and how intense those are, and then rerouting those into audio programs to see what it sounded like. That kind of shit's really fascinating to me.
Huh. That's fucking cool.
And it's like it didn't really sound like it at all, but you're like, ooh, there's something really interesting about. Here's the image representation of an audio file. Generate what you think that should look like, and then now I'm gonna try and play that back. It's really cool to me.
And it doesn't even sound like voices.
It's usually pretty staticky, but then it's like sometimes it gets like a weird, freaky sound. And you're like, that's a cool sample or something, or
like Hans Zimmer. Dude, how long have you been doing pottery?
Started this year. And because there's
how slow going or quick going is it?
I don't know. I just I just find projects that I kind of throw myself at, and then I just try doing them. I've gotten pretty good, I think.
You doing with anybody?
Nah, just solo Q, dude.
Oh, nice, dude. I really regret not taking a ceramics class at my college. Like,
we were talking about doing a in-person podcast where we're all just pottery wheeling.
If you do that, I'll fucking come down.
That'd be tight, right?
Then you could fucking show off your skills.
You would just slam dunk on us. Fuck you. You know what I do is I would make mine. I would make mine closed on top, and then I'd be like, I'm gonna put my next 2 years in the kiln, just firebomb it. There was always those kids in middle school that were like, I'm making, and they'd close the top and they'd put it right in the middle, fucking blow up in the kiln every time.
God.
And the teacher would be like, fuck, I thought I got all the bomb ones. They always try to make a bomb one. God damn it.
That's one in those fucking kids.
Yeah, they always do it, man.
If you ever do that, I'm down. I'll come.
Dude,
I'll come to you.
Yeah, we're cooking up little ideas.
Let's go sit somewhere insane that you would have to go to, like Indiana.
I kind of like the starting trend of just going places where like nobody would voluntarily go. We had a hiking trip in Idaho.
Yeah, that was great.
Middle of fucking nowhere.
There's this podcast that I really, really enjoy called Whatever Happened to Pizza at McDonald's. Have you ever heard about this podcast?
No.
It's like an incredible shit post podcast. We're like literally, I think the first like 10 episodes, it starts and it's like, this is Whatever Happened to Pizza at McDonald's, where I investigate what happened to pizza at McDonald's. And like it's just him like cold calling McDonald's and be like, hey, what happened? You guys used to have pizza, what happened? But like he would do like, it would just go and you'd be like, this is a Wondery podcast. And they would like do like the ad and you'd be like, wow, that's kind of weird for Wondery. And then like later on it's just like, no, it wasn't. He was just saying it was. He got a cease and desist being like, hey, you can't say that you're part of the Wondery network, you fucking idiot. Like, it was just so funny.
This earlier.
It's so
doing
funny.
fake, like doing really selling out for a fucking fake ad and having no contact with them.
But he did
like
this thing where he had a
merch. We were gonna do like, I have Zydax shirt, Zydax hat, Zydax fucking banners, brought to you by Zydax, and then like Pooh would get his like PC brand, And he would have like Ironside or
Artesian
something.
Builds is back. I'm
Yeah,
now.
Ryan's Artesian Builds.
He did this Kickstarter to like Nome, Alaska, because he had heard that there was like an abandoned McDonald's there where you could see a pizza oven through the window. So he was like, I need to do a Kickstarter to get a plane ticket over. And then like one of the episodes, straight up, he just went up to this McDonald's. Is like,
Dude,
there's the pizza oven. It's so funny.
That's like that is like my dream of like getting internet to pay for just insane. Like
Insane
I saw
shit. Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
was it Eddie Burbank? Someone just went to like every rainforest cafe.
Ted Nivison.
Yeah. That
Eddie,
one was
like
great.
they went all around America to a bunch of different fucking whatever they're called, rainforest cafes.
Rainforest
like,
cafes, yeah.
Shit like that where it's like the joke itself is not very funny, but the effort you put into it
Yeah.
is like
Committing
that is
to the
so
bit,
funny.
dude.
Yes,
Committing
it
to the
is.
bit.
Okay. Have you seen?
Did you ever see? Well, real quick. Did you ever see what Tim and Eric did for Shrek the Third? This was like one of my favorite examples of essentially this, where they basically just rebrand their entire social media at the time MySpace page to just be like, the way this ogre, and like they just did Shrek hunts, and they just did like 20 videos of just like them be like, the way this ogre, and you can get your Shrek tickets on moviefone.com, and they would just go. It was so fucking funny if you can find it, and like. The amount of people who are like, I can't believe they sold out for Shrek.
Oh my God.
It's like so
Like, let's like if you knew Tim and Eric, you'd be like, of course they didn't fucking fully sell out. But I'm gonna link a video in this dumbass chat. Have you ever seen this video? You guys, YouTube probably already know what it is. It's
lasagna. Yeah. Love
this video.
Incredible.
Put like a fucking thirst for making some sort of bit commitment of this. This is one of my favorite examples of like committing to a bit. They stretch it out for an hour, this 3-panel comic. They're just like, they delve into like, I've watched this. My friends fucking hate me because they play like only one video game on stream, and I broke out of that game. And before I've watched this video 4 times in a row on stream, and they're like, you can just sit around and watch Lasagna Cat and get viewers. But it's like, if you watch this 4 times in a row, you go fucking insane. But also, it is like
you've seen so these are Fatal Farm, and these guys I think are geniuses. Have you seen their RoboCop remix scene?
I don't.
Yeah, where he shoots all the dicks.
That's them.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
That's
there is actually a subreddit about Garfield. It's called like it's like r/like Alzheimer's group, and all they do is every day they post the same Garfield strip, and they go like, "Have you guys seen this latest Garfield strip?"
Dude. Well, okay, so like that video. Well, you've already seen this then too, if you've seen that one. But like the pipe strip is so like fundamental in my Twitch. But it's like and honestly, you can watch it 4 times in a row, and it's like it's still funny. It has like the level they go into it is so hilarious to me. It being one take gold. But this video sex survey results, I watched this on stream once. It's 4 hours and 40 minutes long. And for 4 hours and 30 minutes of it,
yes, that's right. I remember when this first came out.
Over and over, where they
good.
fucking ring the door, and you can see outside the sun slowly go down, and it's just it's like how many people have you had sex? I've had sex with 14 people. And then it does the cycle again. It's like, I've had sex with 10 people. Cycle again. And some of them are like, it's insane because you watch it for 4 hours and someone will be like, I had sex with your mom, and you're like, oh, like, bam, like any change in the formula is like, that was funny. And people in the comments are like, yeah, I think 3 hours, 20 minutes is my favorite answer. Like, it's just a guy, like, a kind of funny reply. And it's, that one is like the closest I've gone to like.
Fatal Farm are geniuses.
I was about to say, like, how difficult of a video would this be to make?
Genuinely is like impressive.
The thing that's crazy about them is that they built this Garfield costume, and then they also do like scale it down so that it's like, whenever John's in frame, it's the right size. It's just so good. I fucking, and then like the last 20 minutes of that video, or like last 10 minutes, are like the most surreal. Like a woman like speaking German gives birth to has a miscarriage in a toilet, and you're like, that's right.
Like it has. I can't watch the ending of it on Twitch because it has like a very gruesome, and then like a fully naked guy on a hill.
Yeah, John like gets old and goes
into the desert. He's like eating worms and shit, and it's like, what the? They just to have the same thing for 4 hours, and then for the last 10 minutes put the most visually insane. It's so
You should have put
good.
it in the middle, so you
No,
have to like watch
no,
it.
Yeah, I'm
Most of
looking
it.
at like a cock right now. There's like full
Yeah,
frontal
yes.
nudity in this
Yes.
Ridiculous.
at the end. Like, yeah, four hours in.
Absolute genius.
It's fucking
Wow.
insane.
Yeah.
It's like I remember like I've seen that pipe strip video probably like 30 times, and every time it's like when I show it to my friends, or like the first time it was shown to me, it's like the rules are you cannot ask how long this video is, and you can't leave once it starts. Like you sit down, you watch this video if you're gonna watch it. And they're like, okay. And then like 20 minutes in, they're like, how fucking like long is this? Like 40 minutes in, they're like, ah. And then by the time by the time the ending happens, they're like, oh my God, I get it. Like I get the fucking joke. It's just, it's
they're-
timeless.
Yeah.
If I can ever make something half as good as that, I'll be like, okay, I've put my mark on the world. I can fucking die.
Yeah.
Like, I have
I'm
one
looking at
YouTube
this
video idea that's
and-
like kind of similar, where it's just like commitment to a bit, Sam. You know it, like where it requires like the most effort I will ever put towards a video, and I'm waiting
But
for it.
there's
It'll be my
only
magnum
one
opus.
person that can do it, and it's you.
Me.
Yeah,
and
you
it's
have
like
to,
a battle against myself. Yeah, I need a
Yeah.
keytar first. I do need a keytar.
I don't think a keytar is necessary for this bit, but
For some of the
you know,
ideas I
if
have,
you're gonna come up with your own mental roadblocks, go for it. But I don't. I'm just gonna say, as an
do you not
outside
like,
source,
literally half of the joke is like me making my own songs for like 30
that's
minutes. Like
true.
I need at least an instrument if I'm going to be making songs.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Why don't
Let
you,
them be. Let them be.
I thought it was gonna be like karaoke style, like
No, it's gonna like I
like
want to.
instrumentals.
That's why it's like I'm
Gotta
scared to
homegrown
start
for-
making it
he's gotta
because
make a
I
whole
want
album
it to
for
be
this.
like literally an insane amount of effort put into it just for it to probably get like 8,000 views.
Yeah.
But
That to me is worth it though.
it's like I don't want to start my peak right now. I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait a year or two, then I'll make my magnum opus. I'll make my mark on this earth, and then I'll die. Then my body will
Shortly
fade
after.
to the earth. Yeah. As soon as I hit fucking upload, my body will turn to dust. My guitar will turn into stardust and go into the sky and form a
Make
new
little
constellation.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then
Uh,
John Arbuckle will be up there smiling down on me. It's
this
like,
is-
sorry, I could gush over the pipe strip for a fucking hour. Like the music, the sound design's so good.
I'm literally.
graphics.
I've made a stamp because I want to do because everyone had those mugs from those Garfield mugs that were like poisonous.
yeah.
You remember that? So I was like, I had a friend of mine that was a Garfield mug. He's like, it's like my favorite mug. I'm like, so I'm gonna make him a mug that's a Garfield mug, and then it's the pipe smoking Garfield as like a stamped into it. I was like,
Dude, make 2 of those.
give me your address. I'll send you one.
I'll pay top dollar for one of those.
Give me
Look
your
at my-
address when we're done with this. I'll send you one when I get it done.
Fuck it, dude. Look at my Twitter
oh,
banner.
you're hand making
sometime.
it.
Hand
That's
making
bad.
it, dude.
That's badass.
My
Dang.
Twitter banner is someone like from my chat just knew I fucking loved that, and they put me into the pipe strip, and it's like my most prized. Like it's when I was going through a phase where I was wearing this blonde wig. That's why it's kind of like doesn't
Holy
look like
shit!
me,
Wow, look at that.
but it's oh my god, like it makes me smile, makes me happy.
Yeah, I love this shit, man. Love it.
It's
Love
such
it.
a fucking the pipe strip. I'm sitting there just looking at it, and I'm not a Garfield guy by any means. This is not my shit.
Dude,
And
I'm
just
not.
like,
I was never a Garfield guy. I just watched this video and understood how much they put into the guy doing a fucking one take reading.
no,
the
no, not
script.
that. I'm just like
Oh.
actually looking at the pipe strip
Oh,
for the
like-
first time. And I'm just like, what
And
the
you're not
fuck?
cracking up.
I
When
mean,
you see the part,
this,
dude,
if you're gonna make an hour long something about, it has to be so nothing that it's funny, and this is the perfect thing to make an entire hour long
the
thing about.
graphic where it wraps around his head and his rotates. I'm like, how did they like? They are like really good fucking editors too. Like with great.
Oh yeah, they're incredible. They're very, very good.
Oh, God. That's what I'm like. I can't hold a fucking candle to this shit. Like, oh.
Do you think that's profitable for them? Like the amount of work to.
No, and that's what it makes. It's
That's
like,
why they fucking rule.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really, it's truly inspirational to me. Like every time I watch it, I get like a second wind. I get like a new fucking lease on life. I'm like, oh my God.
They're also they're commercial directors too.
Oh yeah.
So like they did the
cool.
coffin flop skit from I Think You Should Leave.
Oh, really?
Oh, these guys are my fucking heroes, dude.
Yeah.
Just bare naked bodies hitting the dirt.
Yeah, so that was yeah. So they've done they're good. What can I say? They're good.
That's awesome. Huh. I'm about to fucking pass out, dude. I've been
I'm
up
about to
since like
fucking salute these guys.
Again.
yeah.
Freddie, I'll DM you my address. I'll wait
Yeah, do it.
up to 7 months before I
Before you start
check in.
angrily.
before I potentially will just not be living here anymore, and I'll have to come back and check the fucking mailbox.
Don't worry, I'll get done
shit.
before then. I'll get done before that. It's my next project. Is
Okay.
getting some mugs from my boys.
Jesus
That's awesome.
Christ. That's
All
like
right.
the most generous thing anyone's ever offered me. So thank you.
Well, I mean, if you love Pipe Garfield as much as I do, then I gotta.
Dude,
you know what I'm saying?
When I get that, I'll take this mug. I'll take that one and fucking break this one.
You've seen the Twitter account that's all just Pipe Garfield, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty
Love
sure I follow it. It's
Yeah. It's just the guy just puts Pipe Garfield as a punchline for just random Garfield comics and it works every time.
It's because it's timeless. Yeah,
It's timeless humor.
I genuinely consider like there are a few things I consider a YouTube masterpiece. That is one of like that is
100%.
an authentic masterpiece.
100%.
Sam
I
is
think
fucking gone.
less of you. Both. For
Well,
your
you've never watched it all the way.
no, I've never watched it.
Yeah,
I've watched.
You've recommended it so many
I've
times.
been telling them about this for years.
And I'm
They
like,
won't
yeah.
watch it.
It's an hour.
No,
It's an hour.
I've watched like
long.
9 minutes, and I'm like, nah.
No, that's what I'm. Did I not walk you through
Who?
what
I'm
my
telling
friends
you.
go
Walked
through?
me through it. I don't care enough.
that
There's
just
no
means
joke
I
that is
have-
that funny.
I feel like
You should have had the video on your.
there's an art
trip.
installation called The Clock by Christian Marquand, and it's essentially what he's done is he and his team has taken like every time in a movie or TV show someone either mentions the time or says what time it is, he's strung these clips together across a 24-hour art installation piece so that the whole time. So it's like so it's just all these different movies, and it's real time. So when you step into this room that's usually just an art gallery, it'll play all the way through, and it'll be like 3:42, and they'll be like, yep, that's because it's keeping time. It's real time across 24 hours. And like they'll do one of the rules if a museum shows it is that they have to play it all the way through and allow people to watch it all the way through. And I've been wanting to go to one of these screenings for this fucking art movie for like, I saw it once briefly in London when I was there, and like I feel like that's your shit too, man. Like I feel like you'd be so down.
Yes, it's bit commitment to its highest form, to a form of true art.
You've always
Yeah,
had
I
that
feel
in
like
you,
the
though,
people
Boo.
that make those
Yeah.
things are geniuses, and I respect them for it. The people that consume those things,
Christian Marquand.
you do not value your time enough, my friends. You do not. I saw that shit was an hour long.
You can sit there and play a fucking League of Legends match for 10 hours. You know, play
League of
20 them.
Legends is a huge. That's the foundation of my life. You're talking about.
Okay, well, you can watch 1 hour of fucking beauty,
Maybe in the
poetry,
background or
emotion.
something.
No, that's
have
another
your full
rule. You can't be like
attention
checking your phone. Yeah, like you have to
You
watch.
should have
it.
brought it on the camping trip. We would have watched
Dude,
it.
no, you wouldn't have. I'm not.
No,
actually have to, like,
there's
tie you
nothing else
down
to
at
do.
some point.
If there's
It
just
hurt to
that's the
watch
only
Double
thing
Down. It hurt to watch that Neil Breen movie.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
love
fair.
that movie. It was
Yeah.
it's so good.
That was
There's
neat.
some
Bizzle
good
brought that
quotables
shit
in
on
there.
his phone. Yeah, he was
He
ready.
did. He fucking held us at gunpoint and was like, "You watched this
That movie's a
Neil Breen
classic.
movie."
What do you mean?
Yeah. I love that guy has so much fucking ego, though. That's hilarious. to me.
Yeah, he just.
When someone's got that much unabashed love for themselves, you're like, that's sort of endearing in a way that.
I've been staring at my address that I'm trying to DM you for like 5 minutes. Like this is like the one time I just bought like $3,000 in PC parts. I'm like, sure, that looks fine. Didn't even check the address it's shipping to. This is the time where I'm like, is everything right? Is everything good? Do I
God, make
That's
sure
big,
it's all
dude.
in there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh man.
I'm committing. This is where I live. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Oh fuck, that's not my house. Oh god. Oh, whew.
You know what's fucked up about that, though, is like something like that I wouldn't use. Like if it's it's a handmade mug.
No, I know, but it's like
a shelf mug.
No, my roommates are like horrible. They like won't, if they're doing the dishes, they won't touch this. They're like,
Yeah.
like
break it.
they don't even want to.
freaky?
Yeah, they're like, no,
Too
they're like,
scary?
I'm scared we're gonna break it. Like you seem to really like that mug, so I'm like, yeah, fuck it. If
Drink
they
a little
broke
water
that
in
one,
it.
I'd probably use the broken pieces to slit their throat.
Yeah, to kill them. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, when me and Abby were on our honeymoon, we got on a reservation. We got a like this guy did pottery.
Indian
and-
reservation.
Yeah,
Oh.
and it's like this beautiful
Native American.
green mug that has like all these designs on it and everything. And I'm like, oh, that's our honeymoon mug. And now like every time we go on a family vacation, we get like a, I guess like handmade mug, right?
Yeah.
She fucking uses that thing every morning, and I'm like, you're going to shatter it on something. There's no way. Like, it's now been like 5 years straight where every morning there she is walking with. I'm like, dude, you're gonna shatter it. It's gonna break on something. Like, could you just shelve it for like a couple months?
But getting 5 years of use out of it's also like,
Yeah, man. Listen,
better
But
than
when it
objects are
shatters, I'm
meant
like,
to
there
be
goes
used.
the marriage. Like, there goes like one of the first
God.
things we. The vessel of our love is shattered on the floor, and I'll
breaks,
run
like,
out the
you
house,
see
never
the
to be
spirit
seen
of your
again.
love
Yeah,
fucking fly up.
gone.
Or maybe you'll get like a genie out of it that grants
Or
some
maybe it'll
wishes.
break and like the spirit of our love's supposed to come out, and instead it just fizzles and moths come out.
It's been dead.
Yeah.
it's like when you open a wallet and you got no money and the little fly falls out. I'm like, that's never happened to me before.
You know, I was gonna mention this when we were talking about Canadian money in the like not even the 90s, but early 2000s when everybody still had a lot of like just cash on them. I remember having like my wallet and you would open it and the smell of money was so nostalgic. Now I realize that that's just like finger oil
That's
on
finger
linen.
oil and cocaine,
it's like
dude.
gross.
Yeah.
The fact that you can smell our money is vile. Just opening it's like ugh, it's like sweat, gross shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I please, for the love of God,
Yeah.
turn this fucking thing off?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna-
This is
I'm
a
gonna fall
fucking damn near 4-hour podcast.
Yeah, those patrons were pissed off last month. We gave them an extra episode. We did all this shit, and they were bitching the whole time. This time oh my God,
we
look,
really
moved-
showed it
we
to him by
kidnapped
giving
Freddie.
him even more. Yeah.
We brought him to this
Put him in
weird
the basement.
concrete place.
Yeah.
Let me out. Let me
I'm thirsty.
We were like, you better sound enthusiastic. You better be fucking. And he's
You
been
don't
enthusiastic the whole time.
giggle, I swear to God.
Yeah.
You won't laugh at our fucking jokes.
I'll break your minifig. Okay, we got your fucking.
Yeah, but you've been good. Thanks for coming on. And
Thanks for having me once again.
yeah,
That was-
go, guys,
before this-
go check
because
out
when this-
Dungeons and Daddies, but don't check out their Patreon.
Don't
because
check it
there's
out that
another
hard
D&D
either, because there's
Patreon.
another one that's happening soon,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
DOL. Die of laughter. Yeah.
Yeah.